Welcome back to the Crash Space. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It is the 19th of July. It's a Sunday morning. We return once again. Trust you're well. It's a hot day, and that's why we have a cool matchup to play through. This is Iceman Day. It's been a minute since we played Iceman, and one of my favorite heroes, and this is an interesting build. In fact, there's a chance. Whoa, what? There's a chance we might play a card that isn't out yet to see how it is. Again, we'll poll the audience to see if this is a faux pas or not. I haven't done this before, but there's some cool leadership cards we could try out. Puns entirely intended today. You're allowed to get away with the shitty puns. Hey, happy Sunday, Joey. Perfect time I got back from a weekend away. Hopefully the weekend away was good. Welcome back to the reality that is whatever normal is. I'm so sorry, but it should be okay. I hope it's all right. We're 1 week away, just 5 days away, so hopefully, from the release of Fear No Evil, the new deluxe box that comes with 6 villains in it. Whoa, that's kind of wild. And 2 upcoming heroes, Daredevil and Echo. One of the most expected and most hoped for heroes in all of the history of Marvel Champions. And then also Echo, who looks like really cool. I don't mean to like poop on Echo, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I hope we get it on time. It looks like some stores in Canada already have it. I called a couple stores. They don't seem to have received it yet, but Asthma Day has a thing in Montreal, like just outside of Montreal. So they sometimes deliver kind of late, like close to the 24th release date, which is Friday. If we get the box, we will show up here on Friday as early as we can, holding the product, and we will open it and we'll do an unboxing and we'll spend a long time on Friday playing through it. Now, we don't have all the card scans, so it's going to be kind of rough, but we have a bunch of them because they've spoiled a lot of cards. So some of it will be card scans, some of it will be us clumsily holding things up to the camera where it gets surprisingly dark up there. Good morning, Iceman. If so, cool. Iceman is so... I mean, Andy, you're allowed to do that all today. We have all the chill puns and all the freeze puns. The amount of time it took me to settle on which title for this stream, it's like, man, the font is unending of cool puns. Hopefully you will, Andy. Anyways, if we get the box, we'll show up on Friday and we'll play through it as much as possible. If we don't get the box, we'll still show up on Friday, kind of dejected, and play something else and pretend that it's not real, that the box isn't out yet. Worst case scenario, probably we'll get it on Sunday, because there is a store that sometimes gets them a bit sooner or a bit more consistently, but then it takes them like a day to ship it to the more local store. So no matter what, we'll make it make sense. But this Friday, hopefully, or this Sunday at least, we'll be back playing Fear No Evil, which is super, super exciting. Speaking of exciting, let's talk about what we're doing today. This is Iceman Leadership, and if you've been following the channel for a while, I played Iceman a fair many times on this channel, and I'll be honest, it hasn't always been successful. I'm not 100% sure why that is, but Iceman has been a bit of a mess here, despite that he's one of my favorite characters in this game. I just think his design is like so charming. There's so many moving parts. He has some of the coolest cards in the whole game. Again, puns entirely intended. And he also has tokens, and let me tell you, I think tokens are just like the coolest thing in card games. I wish Netrunner had more token cards. These are Frostbites, which you attach to things and they stay there for a bit and they do a bit of stuff. They're not amazing. They're not cards you'd put in your deck willingly, but when they're cards you produce at instant speed, when your ability happens, you're like, wait, that's kind of sick, and sick it is. So this is Bobby. It's Iceman. We have a 1-2-2 stat line, which is not great. Generally, you have 6 hit points, or 6, sorry, stat points, kind of divided between those 3 things. But freeze effect says when Iceman makes a basic attack or defense against an enemy, makes a defense is such a strange sentence. Attach a set aside copy of Frostbite to that enemy, and that means that our stats are actually technically bigger than they kind of look. And that's because Frostbites do something. So attacking for 2 is attacking for 2+, and defending for 2 is defending for 3 largely, which is pretty dang cool. These are what Frostbites say. Oops, 1 second. Just make sure everything's up. Frostbites are all the same. They're permanent. Whatever they get attached to, it has to be an enemy. They get -1 and -1 to scheme and attack. However, after the attached enemy activates or leaves play, you set this card aside. So you have 6 of them, so you can attach 6 to the villain. I don't have any written evidence of this. Maybe it came in the rules insert. But say Unus attacks us for 2, but he has like 5 Frostbites attached to him. His attack stat is -3. And then if he gets a boost icon and say the boost is a 2, his attack stat is still -1. I don't think it like cuts off. I don't think it like gets delimited at the 0. So they can go negative. However, if you're attacked for negative or thwarted for negative, it's not like you heal or a remove threat, but you can still get those numbers to be negative. So you do all the math, I'm pretty sure. So again, 2 - 5 + 2 is still sub-0. So you just take 0. That was a good sub-0 pun. Makes a basic attack or defense would probably make more sense. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Makes a basic defend. He's so inconsistent at times. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that, because like, I have really, really, really fond memories of playing Iceman, as much as he's been, again, a bit inconsistent on this channel. A big reason why is I think his deck is actually a bit expensive. He has no 1-cost cards. Everything costs 2 or 3. Yeah, I think there's literally no cards that cost 1 or 0. And he doesn't inherently, oh no, that's not true. He has 1 resource generator, which is why a lot of times his decks have so many resource generators in them. But yeah, your cost curve is like really, really relatively high. There's nothing that's cheap in the deck, so everything needs to be made cheaper, and you end up with a deck that has like 6 or 7 resource generators. So your first cycle while you're setting up is like a bit weird, because a lot of times you're doing low tempo turns and just putting down like, you know, upgrades and supports. But once you get to your second cycle, it's like, okay, wait, you can play 3 cards a hand, no problem. It's nice to be here this Sunday morning. Layla, thank you for embracing the mood of this stream. That's cool. Again, pun not intended on that one. Frostbites are good. A really big thing with Iceman is Iceman over most or over a bunch of heroes has a huge benefit for readying, because this is not once per turn the freeze effect. It's whenever you take a basic. So if I can attack for 2, ready, attack for 2, ready, attack for 2, not only is that 6 damage, but it's 3 Frostbites, and Frostbites do scale well. They do scale. You don't only want 1 Frostbite on everything. 3 Frostbites on the villain is actually a really good spot to be in. And so this deck has a bunch of readying, and for leadership or playing allies, it's really easy to get some nice readies, which is why we're playing leadership today. He has 2 resource generators. Doesn't he only have 1? Doesn't he only have the belt? I don't think he has 2. I think he just has the belt. Like, you could say this is a resource generator because it draws a card, but maybe. But I think just like strictly the belt is the only resource generator. But if you're talking about the good card, the cool card, yeah, you're not wrong, right? Like, it is a value card, it draws a card. So sure, yeah, I can get behind that. This is Bobby Drake. Mutant, of course. 4 recovery is nice. Bobby Drake begins the game with 6 Frostbites set aside. And then he has one of the most interesting, I think, alter ego abilities. It says after you change to this form, you can shuffle 1 ice card from your discard pile to your deck for each copy of Frostbite in play. The designers have been a lot better over the time to make alter egos that care about you going to alter ego. Not only just of care about you getting there, but care about you doing it at the right time. Like some of the earlier designs, there was no reason to go to alter ego. It's like, are you Hawkeye? Why go to alter ego? Are you Thor? Why go to alter ego? And the response is like, did you lose your bow? Did you lose your hammer? And that was it. Right. And then later designs got so much better to being like, oh, if you go to alter ego at the right time, you can have some control over the future, the fate, whether it's recursion, whether it's grabbing the right card at the right time. It gives you consistency. And it's just like so fun. And specifically, Bobby Drake's is not only fun to do it later in the deck, where your deck is only like 6 cards. So shuffling an ice card is like very likely you'll draw it next turn. But you can set things up where you have like 3 or 4 Frostbites. And the cool thing about Frostbites is they're uniquely one of the few ways in this game that you can jump down without having to rely on a confuse in solo play, because the thing that's going to scheme against you might have -2 scheme. And so not only can you jump down when there's 4 Frostbites, you can now really have an impact on the future of your deck. On top of that, there's a card that really cares about how many ice cards you have in your deck, and we'll talk about that in a second because it's one of my favorite cards in the whole game, if not my favorite upgrade in the whole game. And so just like having a high consistency of Frostbite cards in your deck is so important. So this is like so cool. It's so tactical. You have so much control of when you can do it, because if you have more Frostbites, this ability is better, and if you have more Frostbites, jumping down to alter ego is more tenable. It's perfect. I'm such a big fan of this alter ego ability, and I really always hope that whenever we see a new hero, they have a cool alter ego design that encourages you to interact with their kit. And this interacts with so many parts of the kit. Speaking of ice cards, in terms of our hero cards, we have 15 cards. I believe 13 of them are ice. Maybe it's somewhere between 12 and 14, but it's just the majority of them are ice cards. So that's just like good text for sure. Okay, let's go through the hero kit. Some of it's like relatively straightforward. We have 3 copies of Chill Out, which is nice. I sometimes think you have 2, but it's actually like a lot of kits have more damage events than they have thwart events. This one's technically backwards, but it's not like Iceman has not enough damage in his kit, because he actually has 2 allies that hit really relatively consistently hard. So Chill Out is a 2 cost, and notably the traits on these cards are really easy to interact with positively with research generators, because it's ice traded. That's good for us. That's good for us for many reasons. It's superpower traded. That's really good for depth focus, and it's a thwart. That's, I guess, fine. Hero action, thwart. Remove 3 threat from a scheme and attach a set-aside copy of Frostbite to any enemy. Doesn't have to be the villain, but it usually is. This is not amazing. Like, it's a 2 for 3. Generally, 2 for 3 thwarting needs to be doing a bit more than this, but 2 for 3 in solo is okay. It can clear some side schemes, but also you get the Frostbite, which means it's -1 attack. I think actually that's a really big part why I like the idea of leadership Iceman. And we were talking about this on stream just on Friday, is I wish that you could play leadership without having to chump block with allies all the time. And the thing is, like, if you have a lot of allies, you might as well throw them in front of the bus every once in a while to like dodge an activation. But you kind of wish it wasn't that way. And Iceman uniquely can, and actually is really has big benefits from playing a lot of allies. But because you can just stack Frostbites on the villain, you don't actually have to be blocking. Like, you don't have to be blocking with your minions, because usually the villain's only attacking you for like one or 2. And that you can even defend if you want, which technically fires your text as much as attacking kind of sometimes feels better. But like, this is a deck uniquely where we could decide to never block with allies, even though we can play like 11 allies. And just having incidental Frostbites is a really big reason why like leadership Iceman makes sense, on top of a couple other cards I think we'll see. But we have 3 copies of Chill Out. It's not incredible. Generally, if you play this with 1 at the research generator, that's when it starts to get good. But paying 2 for this on the first cycle feels a bit rough, because it is a bit expensive. Similarly, this Arctic Attack, this one's a bit more flexible, which is cool. So either it's a 2 cost, again, ice and superpower traded. Attack goes first because it's alphabetical. Either this does 4 damage to an enemy and attaches a set-aside copy of Frostbite, which is okay. But otherwise, it can do 6 damage if the attached enemy already has a Frostbite. And that technically is 3 resources for 6 damage, which is like the golden standard in this game. 1 resource, 2 damage, or 2 thwart is perfect. So this card is quite good. It actually is really quite nice. And so the idea is you can do a basic activation. You can put on the thing, you can put on the Frostbite, and then you can attack for 6, attack for 6. Like, that does get through the game. I do want to say with Iceman, in case we haven't said him, this interrupt says when Iceman makes a basic attack or a defense. So when you defend against, say, the villain, or technically even, what's it called, a minion, the Frostbite gets attached, and that Frostbite will interact with that attack and then immediately discard itself. So as long as you're defending with Iceman, it's kind of as if you have 3 defense, which is why also he has like an offset of stats where he's 1, 2, 2. Because as long as you're defending, he's functionally 1, 2, 3. Because every basic defense, as long as you're doing a basic defense and not just playing a defense traded card, this Frostbite will show up and it'll immediately fire and immediately discard itself, which is good. It's really good. He has 2 allies. Are you running side by side? No, I'm not. I don't think you need to. There's not actually a big reason to play side by side in this deck, because your allies uniquely don't get healed from this. I guess you could do the bottom part where you could ready your sidekick. Both characters get +1 thwart, +1 attack. I don't think they're allowed to thwart. I think they have a dash, not a 0. I mean, I guess you could do it, but I don't think it's super necessary. There's a lot of easier, I think, ways to ready, and his allies are good, but they're not his best allies in the deck, I don't think. I was playing a leadership angel deck through Next Evolution this week. I was building and realized team building exercise, you can technically have 3 in play at the same time. So cool. Yeah, you can. That's not something I actually entirely noticed. And there was a deck I was looking at that had 2 copies of this. But this is not unique. The only thing is that they can't stack on the same card because it exhausts this to play a card as opposed to exhaust this and your next card is cheaper. So yeah, I guess you could play 2 of these. And there's a reason to play 2 of these. Now this makes a bit more sense. So that's a good shout out for sure. You can't sidekick the clones? Oh, you can't because they're not unique, right? Attached to identity specific ally you control attached. No, why not? Wait, why not? Oh, because they can't have attachments. Yeah, sorry. Specifically, they say they cannot have upgrades attached. Yeah, so this whole thing doesn't actually work out. You can't sidekick them. Yeah, the clones, because they functionally take no consequential, the game didn't want you to Voltron them because they're very, very good when you Voltron them. Oh, very good catch there, Andy. I don't think I would realize that right away. Arctic Attack seems so much nicer than Teleport Drop and Nightcrawler despite being templated very similar. Oh, well, so like, these are both, what are they called? Like, token characters, kind of. I'm also a huge Nightcrawler fan, as much as Nightcrawler's tokens are cards in his deck, so you have to find them and manage them. The big difference with like, what's it called, Teleport Drop, is that it is like the most damage on a single card. Like 8 damage and stun is huge. Now you have to discard a copy of Bamf, so you lose that. But again, if the thing is Bamfed anyways, I think thematically the idea that you are Bamfing them and dropping them is why it makes sense. But obviously, yeah, like Arctic Attack just doing 6 is like way easier and you keep the you know, the Frostbite, but I think there's still a world for Teleport Drop. It's like one of the coolest cards in his kit. It's very, very neat. Hey, Metaphor, stream shared, can't stay today, lost my cat, Noctis yesterday. Oh no, don't be downer. I'm sorry, Metaphor. Hopefully everything's okay. I'm really sorry, hoping for the best for y'all, and I am oh man, bummer, man. Hopefully things are okay. That's rough. All right, 1 second. I'm just gonna have some coffee, I think. Huge bummer. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we have a couple other cards. One of them or 2 of them is Ice Blast. This one is super power traded. It is not an attack, which is good because it beats guard. This is his AoE card. It says choose a player, attach a set aside copy of Frostbite to the villain and each minion engage with that player, and then deal 3 damage to each enemy with a copy of Frostbite attached. So this will do at least 3 damage. If you have 2 things on the table, it can do 6 damage. It doesn't say per Frostbite. It says deal 3 damage to each enemy with a copy of Frostbite. But this is nice to clear in the table if things kind of get out of hand. It is also nice if you have a bunch of minions on you that have low threat. Like you can strap a bunch of these onto a bunch of things, and if you don't defeat them, you can jump down and then shuffle a lot of things with cool off. But this is probably a lot better in multiplayer, where it's more likely to be more minions because you don't have to play this on yourself. You can choose any player. So yeah. Cheers, everyone. Smacks and baddies. Thank you, Metaphor. Hopefully the weekend is not as bad as it sounds like it is. Frozen Solid. This one is not bad. It's condition, it's ice. It's not super power traded, which sucks. But this is a good effect. It just is kind of expensive to play this when you're setting up because it is most of your hand. This is a force interrupt. You can attach it only in hero form to an enemy. And when an attached enemy would activate, you discard this instead. And then after that, you attach a set aside copy of Frostbite to that enemy. So not only do you get like a stunner confused that beats Stalwart, which is cool, but you also get -1 to their next activation, which is like definitely worth something. This is really cool in certain heroes that are hard to interact with, like against Master Mold or against, again, like Strife, anybody who has Stalwart. It is though a bit expensive, but it's kind of like Webbed Up, except Webbed Up costs even more. It kind of denies 2 activations. This denies 3, 1 activation, and then makes the next one a bit worse. Ice Slide. These are the cards that I don't often play, and I probably should play them a bit more. Ice Slide says Iceman gets +1 thwart, attack and defense, but gets the aerial trait as well, which is not something his kit inherently uses. You have to like build into that. But force responds after you change to alter ego, you have to shuffle this into your deck, not discard it. Oh, I don't think I realized that. So generally with like, I love playing where you jump up and down consistently, whether I'm playing protection. We have, again, the chill out ability, so we do want to be jumping down. Like our alter ego ability is so good. That being said, when you jump down, this shuffles into your deck, so it's not like you're going to lose it, and then also keeps the density of ice cards in your smaller deck a bit higher. But I don't often play this because his cards are really expensive, and he does want to ready a lot, so you do get more from the stat bonuses, but it's just never a card I've been excited about, unfortunately. I'm still kind of irked that Iceman's Frostbite don't count towards 15 card kit and Nightcrawler's Bamps do. I think Nightcrawler's clunkiness would be mitigated if Bamps being out of the kit would let be mitigated if Bamps being out of the kit would let him have an extra ally port and punch. I really appreciate that the 2 characters play so differently. Like a big thing for playing Nightcrawler well, and we have a whole series where we played like an expert solo campaign, is that you have to manage where your bamps are. And I think that actually is fun. At least I find it fun to be like, okay, we only have 3 bamps. You can always pull one in alter ego, but making sure you have one in your discard pile, or sorry, in your hand or on the table right before you deck out, so your discard pile is not empty. I think that is neat. It does feel strange because like the Frostbites are just attached to him icing things, and he can always do that. But in theory, Nightcrawler should always be able to bamf. Like that's also his thing. So like I hear you, but I think it makes them feel different and play different. And I like the ability to try and like that you have to manage your resources being these upgrades. But I could see where you're coming from. Maybe yeah, having 3 more cards in the kit would be cool because his cards are there's not too many of them, and some of them do feel similar. It's like a bunch of setup upgrades and then a couple events. I could see it. I swear they were on fire when they made the X-Men X-Force waves. Hopefully the creativity shines through in the new box. It was missed in the last one. I think Tigra in the last wave was actually killer. I think their hero designs have been like kind of bangers for the last 3 years, maybe 2 years. But I do think my favorite part, it was like not so much the X-Men wave, but the next evolution, Age of Apocalypse, and then the hero designs on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and hero designs on Civil War have all been some of my favorite heroes. And at this point, they understand how to make interesting hero kits. They have a lot of moving parts. Some of them are more complicated, which at this point in the history of the game, I think that's fine. So I hear you, but I honestly think like we've had some really, really good waves after X-Men X-Force. But like Age of Apocalypse, Next Evolution have had some of my favorite heroes for sure. All right, Ace Wall. This is a card that you play, I would say maybe not as less as Ice Slide, but it's probably your least played card. Technically, the way that this card is written, it doesn't work. I have contacted the designers years ago, and they've said, yeah, that actually is a mistake in terms of the timing. It should actually work. We will errata it. And unfortunately, that errata hasn't hit the last 2 FAQs. So whatever. We have they say that this is how it should work. This is what the card says. It's a 4 cost iced card. It's not a superpower, which means you can't make it cheaper, but you can make ice cards cheaper. It says when an identity would take any amount of damage from an enemy attack, and this is any an identity, so it can be anyone at the table, you place that damage here instead. Then if there's at least 8 damage here, which means you can be on 7 damage and then you can take 100 damage and they'll still be fine. But once there's at least 8 damage here, you discard this card and then you attach a side copy of Frostbite to the enemy that just attacked. So this is nice. It basically is like a better version, you could say, of like, what's it called? The Frozen Solid, because it could technically negate multiple activations. It's also nice because Frostbites work with it because it mitigates the damage incoming, and the less damage you take, the longer the Ice Wall holds. It's also the name of a Netrunner card, which is, there's a lot of cards that overlap with the name of Netrunner cards, and Ice Wall is like a quintessential Netrunner card, which makes me pretty happy. The only problem with this is the last sentence. It says, after this attack, discard this card and attach a set-aside copy of Frostbite. Unfortunately, if the villain attacked you, the Frostbite gets discarded immediately because it says response after attached enemy activates, which the timing on this just doesn't work. That last sentence does not work at all because if they attack, you attach a Frostbite, and then after the attack ends, you discard the Frostbite. So you should play it like it's not that. The templating on Frozen Solid is similar, but it actually does work because the activation is canceled. This doesn't cancel the activation. So anyways, just get the Frostbite, play it the way that it makes sense. Otherwise the way it's written doesn't make sense. All right. And then we have 2 really good upgrades. We have Power Belt. This gives you +3 hit points, which I forget every once in a while, but it's nice to put your belt on and get like significantly beefier. And as a hero resource, you can exhaust this to generate a wild resource for an ice card. And most of our cards are ice cards. The only ones that are not are, I think, the belt itself and the next card. And speaking of the next card, I was on a Villain Theory video talking about our favorite upgrades. And I guess to spoil that video, this was both of our favorite upgrades in the game. In theory, the video is meant to be about like upgrades that help you set up, like very important upgrades. And yeah, this was both of ours. It says 2-cost superpower. It says after you resolve your freeze ability, so after you do a basic attack or defense and you ice something up, you can choose to exhaust this to draw a card. And if the card has the ice trait, you ready Iceman. And this is so good in like 6 different ways, it turns out. It's just a really good card. Like after you activate, draw a card is like a fine upgrade. That's not a bad upgrade at all. It's superpower traded. You can make it cheaper. But then you also can ready yourself sometimes. And readying yourself is really good because your basic activation is better than it looks. Not only can you make your stats higher with your like 1 setup card, but then the next time you activate, you can put another Frostbites. And Frostbites do scale well with multiple Frostbites. Only once you've added 4 to the villain do they start not mattering. But adding 5 or 6, like some villains that matters. It also matters if you want to jump down. But then my favorite part about this is like kind of the luck aspect or the card counting aspect or something in between if you want to play that way, where we know how many ice cards we have in our deck. We have like 13. I need to double check. I think it's 13. So you know the chance of this hitting or whiffing. On top of that, when you jump down to Alter Ego, you can now really impact the odds. Because if you jump down to Alter Ego while your deck is like 12 cards near the end of the deck out, and you shuffle in 4 ice cards, now your chance of hitting on the ice thing is so high. Like that is now very, very, very way more consistent. It's also just kind of exciting. Like there's this thing in game design about input randomness and output randomness. Sometimes one of them is a bit more frustrating than others. This one's technically not the good one, the one that a lot of people like, but it's a cool piece that allows you to, like, it requires you to plan your turn around this succeeding and around this failing. And sometimes having that gray space makes it so it's less obvious what the best turn can possibly be. Because generally you want to activate sooner on the turn, because the sooner you activate, the more you'll know whether you'll be ready, and then you can know how to use your allies. So very, very interesting card for so many reasons, and it's just a ton of fun. The art and the color on it are incredible, and it's like our favorite card to get down as soon as possible. Now, redding is really good. Like redding in our deck is really good. Of course it is, because whenever ready, we can activate again. That means more freezes. That works in a bunch of different reasons, which is why allies and leadership makes so much sense with Iceman. So Utopia is phenomenal. If you're only playing X-Men, you have one more ally limit, which that's pretty good. But after an X-Men enters, you can exhaust Utopia to ready an X-Men character. Now that can be an ally. It can also be us. Usually it will be us because our activations are a bit sharper with the Frostbite. But this is a really good reason why you want to be playing leadership, because then you can play a whole bunch of allies. And I guess lastly, we'll talk about our 2 unique allies. We have 2 of them. They're the same. They cost only 2, but you can make them cost 1 because they're ice traded. You can even make them free sometimes. They cannot have upgrades attached. All they do is an attack, and they take -1 consequential damage if the attacked enemy has a Frostbite. And they usually should, because usually you're going to do a basic activation, which is a basic attack, and then the snow clones will come in. And this is how you have so much damage in the deck, because you have a 2-cost ally that attacks for 2 infinitely is obviously really, really, really good. And now we can use most of our like kit and our events to thwart, and then these will just like slowly chip the villain down. You do have to watch out though, because these, while they can take 1 consequential, they're a bit softer to retaliate. Retaliate's a bit more of a concern. But the big thing with these cards is that it kind of disincentivizes you from defending, because if you defend, the Frostbite off of the villain will come off after that activation, and then the villain won't have a Frostbite on it unless you can figure out how to ready yourself, which with Cryokinetic, you can get lucky. With Utopia, you can make it more consistent. But ideally, you want to start the hero phase ready so you can attack to get the Frostbites so the snow clones don't slowly fall apart. Are these things sentient? You could say he's got an icy demeanor. Like, do they have hopes and dreams and fears? Or are they just literally snow that looks like a person? I don't know. They're gonna die. Like, they're gonna get messed up. So we should probably sort out how evil we are here. I was more referring to the leaders. Tigra is super unique, doesn't line up with my playstyle, but it's easy to see why she's beloved. Yeah, the leaders, it's not exactly for me, but I'm glad that they shot their shot. But yeah, the leaders is like, it's an interesting design experiment. But yeah, it's I want campaigns and I want non-PvP stuff. Hey Jonathan, good morning. How you doing? All right. We are playing Uncanny X-Men. This is our team up, and it's such an absurdly good team up. It's really, really, really quite good. We are not getting a team card, it seems, for the defenders, because, and mind you, Tony's talked about this at length, that the defenders are less, team based, and it's more about their interpersonal relationships, about like team ups as opposed to team cards. So don't expect to see a team card in the next wave, but you can play under anyone's control. Each of your X-Men allies get +1 hit point, which is both good and bad. But if all our characters are X-Men, you reduce the cost to play each X-Men by 1. And we have a lot of cheap X-Men in the deck. Snow Clone coming in for 1 and readying ourselves with Utopia with 3 health is nonsense. Again, I don't like leadership ally spam for blocking. The good thing about this deck is we don't have to rely on our allies to block. In fact, we're encouraged not to if we want to play a certain card. But yeah, that's very, very good with us. We want to play a lot of allies, because the more allies we play, the more we can be ready with Utopia and the more we can activate. This is also one of the uniquely cool cards that we only largely can work with consistently with our friend here, Iceman, and that's Mirage. Mirage is really cool. So she costs 3 or maybe 2, depending on whether we have our team up. But after Mirage enters play, choose an enemy whose scheme is less than Mirage's thwart and stun that enemy. Now that only usually works if you're playing standard against some villains who are not that sharp, or against minions. But the big thing about our Frostbites is they lower the enemy's scheme. So you can actually scheme down some of the most like thinky villains and then play Mirage. And that is uniquely such a cool thing you can do in only leadership Iceman. So this is what we want to do, because we lower their scheme and then we can stun them with Mirage. Admittedly, if they stun, that means they're not going to activate. So the Frostbites continue to pile up. So recurring Mirage gets a bit better. Jumping down to Alter Ego now can cycle back more and more cards. But it's like such a fun loop and a real big reason to consider, again, leadership here in Iceman. We have Pixie. I guess this is just all our allies. Pixie's not bad. She's a 2-cost card. Her, her consequential numbers get a bit better when she has 1 health, because then she can attack for 4. But after you play her and only from your hand, you can add an X-Men ally from your discard pile to your hand. So you can bring back Mirage, let alone all the other X-Men we have. We have Angel. I haven't played a lot of Angel, but he's obviously good. Angel costs 2 if you're the X-Men or mutant traded, so either side. But he'll only cost 1 if we have done our team up, which is nonsense. A 1-cost ally that attacks for like 2-4 times. This is again why the proposition of blocking with allies, it's so much better for us to use them, but Angel's incredibly cheap. Triage. Chris, I believe. Chris keeps us alive. Really good. 1 cost, heal 2. From any X-Men, I mean, really, really good. Shadowcat's a bit of a burst here to get some thwarting. I wanted to play allies that can also like kind of come and go, particularly allies that haven't entered the board effect, because we're playing To Me My X-Men. So like you could play Gambit in the slot, or like I guess White Queen, I think as well. But I like Shadowcat because when you have Shadowcat, when she enters play, you can blank one of those 4 icons for this round, and sometimes she'll bounce in and out. She thwarts for a lot, and she comes in for 2 or 3, which is great. Beak is incredible, absurd for 1 cost. Again, any 1-cost ally is nonsense, but when Beak comes in, we remove a lot of threat. We have Professor X. Professor X, you know how it works. Professor X usually confuses, sometimes stuns. And then we can do some weirder stuff here, which we have interaction points that are kind of fun. Children of the Atom came out later in the wave, which I think is like one of my favorite card games, cards. Like the story behind this, and this being like the final card in one of the final packs of Magneto that ties together 3 waves of work, is like just such a cool cornerstone, or like a little like capstone, I guess. Like, hey, we've had X-Men waves, we have a bit of X-Force waves, we have X-Factor cards, I guess, and we've been playing those for years. And as the final card in Magneto, we're going to bring them all together. This basically just says every character that has any of these traits, X-Factor, X-Force, or X-Men, has all of those traits. Notably, it says characters you control. When I read that, I think that means characters on the table, but actually you control your deck, you control your hand. So if you have anything that says search your deck for an X-Men, and that in fact is an X-Factor character, as long as Children of the Atom's on the table, that counts for those traits. So this card is a setup card. It doesn't do anything, but it allows for other stuff. And that's because Domino is good. Domino is an X-Force, so we can make her an X-Men, and we have to make her an X-Men if we want our team up to be good. But she has really cool techs. After you use one of Domino's basic powers, you can swap a card from your hand with the top of your deck. And the big thing here is we no longer have to get lucky with cryokinetic perception, because we can just put an ice card on top of our deck guaranteed after we use Domino, and ensure that we're going to have a ready and a card draw that we're excited to draw. So like really, really cool techs that these work together. For this, because if you just want to play straight X-Men, it's a bit harder. So making her an X-Men off of the X-Force trait, I think is worth it because our team up is so good. And finally, we have Marrow. Marrow, she's also really good. She enters, she does 2 damage. She's only X-Force, so we want to make her an X-Men, but she's really cheap. And if she is an X-Men in our hand, she will only cost 1, which is fantastic. I got a proxy Uncanny X-Men. I think Storm is going for 175 to 250 right now. Get out. That's absurd. I'm so sorry. The clones are mindless golems, so you can let them die with no kill. Thank you, Toy Wonder. The story of the golem, like the story from... I think from Jewish legend. I don't know if they were meant to be mindless. Am I meant to feel bad? It's no worries, even if they're sentient. In the comics, when they made him Omega level, there's a future version of Iceman that looked like Ice Gandalf, where every molecule of water and ice he controls has whole consciousness. Whoa. I don't even know what that means. So Omega level mutant is a type of mutant that's the most powerful. And apparently Iceman is one of those, either eventually or always, and it wasn't like, I don't know, witnessed. I don't know what to say about that. I've been caught up via the power of X2 speed. I can say I'm excited to see you play with Fear No Evil, but slightly less excited about the fact that we're going to get it at the end of August here in Italy. I mean, Mel, I'm hoping for the best that we get it, next week, but that is how it is. The distribution has been internationally a bit slow. I mean, it's hard in, the year of 2026, our Lord. I find White Queen plays so well in practice. I don't mind White Queen. So White Queen is also like a similar kind of card. She is more attack stat traded than thwart stat. Nope, that's not right. She's thwart stat traded. You can only play it if you were X-Force or X-Men, so you can't play her in Alter Ego, which is the same as Shadowcat. But after she enters play, you discard a status card. So there's certain villains like in Sabah Nur today that can get toughness consistently. So that actually might be worth something. I haven't played too much Emma Frost, but there's a lot of like basic allies that kind of fall in the same camp with X-Men synergy stuff, like Gambit and White Queen and Shadowcat. And yeah, at least like Shadowcat is, it feels, the thing with her response is not forced, so you don't have to untough yourself, which would be awkward, but we'll get there. Did you see the Braille cards? They're giving out Gen Con, super cool. Hey, Canan Underwood. Yeah, I have. So I'm not going to be able to pull them up quickly today, but the Gen Con promos, I believe, are an Energy, Genius, and Strength with Daredevil, and they actually have the raised Braille confirmed, so you can read the card if you read Braille, which is incredible. It's really really cool. I don't think those are cards I'd sleeve and put in my deck for obvious reasons, but they're really cool pieces. I think the color on them looked really strange too. I don't know if that was done for some intentional reason about like color blindness or something like that, but like I know that some of the icons are not the colors you'd expect them to be. They look really cool, but I don't know. A lot of times I try not to get excited about promos because Marvel Champions promos have been so inaccessible in Canada that it's just like getting excited for something I'll never see in my life. It's like it's a weird feel. That's where the power belt came from. He went through a period where his powers were growing beyond his control and the belt was like a regulator. Oh, cool. Kind of like Cyclops' glasses, I guess, or visor. Okay, so to me, my X-Men, this is another card I find just so charmingly fun. We have, I think, 11 X-Men allies in our deck. Technically, we have fewer, but if we can make all of them X-Men, they're X-Men. Otherwise, we only have 9. This is a one-cost event that says search the top 5 cards of your deck for an X-Men ally and put it into play. Almost all the allies we're playing have a when enters play trigger that can fire off this. The only one that can't is Pixie because she's very specifically says from hand, but almost all our allies by design will enter play and do something. So this is really nice. Now, if that ally is still in play at the end of the phase, not round phase, they return to your hand, and this happens after you drop to your hand size. So this will put you up at 6 hand size. So it's kind of like an assess the situation where you spend a card today to get a better card or better hand size tomorrow, and merely assess the situation costs 0, and this card costs 1, and there's no way to make it cheaper because it's not traded in any meaningful way. But it's just really good. It's really fun. You can set this up with Domino to make sure there's an ally on top of your deck when you're set up, but it's just like a really fun card to rip it, and you can look at the odds of whether it will succeed or not. It also does fire Utopia because Utopia is when it enters play. So just really good, really smooth. Build support, and then I think we're playing also the other one, superpower training. These are 2 side schemes that, mind you, side schemes they came out around this time, so they were pretty hot and pretty fresh. I think the other card I've considered playing this deck, and I don't know if I should or not, is Forge. Forge is really nice at getting your setup cards like your Utopia, your X-Jet, and all that other stuff. Forge also is really cheap, but Forge doesn't have the best stats, so you generally end up chump blocking with Forge, and we kind of want to avoid doing that. Regardless, build support allows us to get a support, and we have the X-Jet, and then superpower training allows us to get an upgrade. And I like these that are a bit more, they have wider kind of usability, because you definitely want to use superpower training to quickly go get your cryokinetic perception. But the cool thing is you can also get your power belt, but also in the late game, if you're totally set up, you can just go get your ice slide, and then you'll have your ice slide for that, like the deck cycle or whatever you want to do if you don't want to jump down to alter ego, which is kind of nice. So very flexible, very cool. And then for better for worse, the bottom of our deck is so many resources and resource generators on the basis that like you kind of need it because your cards are really expensive and you don't have the best economy in this deck. So we have the X-Jet, which is so expensive. Ideally, you cheat this in with what's it called? Build support. We have team building exercise, which you could play multiple of these. And team building exercise is really nice because we hit a bunch of traits that are super relevant. We hit the ice trait, we hit the X-Men trait. Good enough. So we have a lot of different traits that this works off of. Death Focus, almost all our hero cards are superpowers, barring 1 or 2. We're playing the version that came out later with X-Men art. This one says it's a protection card. It's not. We have Weapon X, which might not be perfect for this deck, but I really like having an ice cards in hand, especially for the Domino setup. This says that we have to take a damage when we're in alter ego to discard cards until we find a card that is a part of our kit. I mean, it's not bad. I'll trade a damage for a card draw most turns, so if we jump down, it's okay. This is a slot that I don't think is super necessary is X-Gene. X-Gene is only good, kind of like Weapon X, the more you can go down to alter ego, because X-Gene you can only play in alter ego. But once it's there, it's a research generator for all your events. And admittedly, our deck only has 5 events, so I don't think it's perfect. So we're probably not going to play this, but I have to ask your permission, because outside of the energy, genius, and strength, I think this is the card that I want to try out as much as it doesn't exist yet. This is Righteous Purpose, which I'm realizing now isn't in the thing. Bummer. This is a card that came out in Luke Cage, or is coming out in Luke Cage, and it is a 2-cost Maxim support. You can play it under any player's control, maximum per player. Each character you control that has exactly 1 hit point gets +2 thwart and +2 attack. I think I like this idea here. Now, the problem is our X-Jet, or not our X-Jet, our Uncanny X-Men gives them +1 health. So they won't be on 1 health for a while. So you're going to delay the value off of this for a bit. That sometimes is an issue, but it's a card we could try out. I generally don't play with unreleased cards. And while Fear No Evil is coming out in just 5 days, this won't be out for like a month or so. So I don't feel terrible about it. But I think there's a chance with how many allies we have that are really cheap to hit the table, we can get good value from this if we want to. Huge shout out to my partner who proxied this and printed this out just a while ago. But yeah, this is just on top of a command team. Whenever you mention control, also means your deck. I had to look because that's really cool. However, I don't think Children of the Atom will work because of the last bullet in Rules 1.7. Motoboy, let me double check that. That's actually interesting. Big clones, yes. If you get your clones down to 1 health, the righteous purpose works for the clones really dang well. I was thinking about this exact card for your deck. Seems good with the clones. Yeah, the clones, you have to figure out how to get them hurt, which is not that hard. What's the last rules on 1.7? Okay, one thing I do want to say really quickly. Actually, I should have said this at the beginning. Oh, that didn't work. Hold on. Is that we always share our deck lists. This is the cool Clique list. When I was building this list, I always, after I built like my first version, I do some checks online to see if there's other decks that are similar, to see if there's any interaction points I missed. And this deck is like 85 to 90% a deck that Nelson posted 2 years ago. This is Iceman, Ice to meet you all. Link to this is in the description. And like, we're very, very similar to this deck. In fact, like the allies have a huge overlap as well. We're playing in here instead, Make the Call. I'm playing To Me, My X-Men. Make the Call is way better for a deterministic recursion. And again, if all their things have entered play abilities, particularly like Mirage spamming, Make the Call makes a fair bit more sense. I just think To Me, My X-Men might be a bit more fun. This is playing the 2 team building exercises, which like, yeah, I saw this and it's like, wait, I don't get it. But the idea is that this card is not unique. You can use 2 in a single turn. It's also playing Moira, which maybe with the X-Jet, or not the X-Jet, Weapon X in this, it makes more sense. But I don't really like Moira unless you're jumping down every other turn, which I don't think we are in this deck. This is a lot better multiplayer, but playing 2 cost support to draw like 2 cards throughout the game, it depends how much you jump down. But this deck is like such a strong overlap. Our allies are slightly different because we have some newer allies. Like we're also doing the X Factor stuff. So we're playing Children of the Atom. We're playing what's it called, Domino and other stuff. But like it's so similar, which is kind of fun. The last bullet mentions if a card says you control, it only means cards in play you control. No shot. 1.7 Marvel Champions RG. I was meant to print this out. I never got to doing it. Okay, hold on. A Children of the Atom and To Me, My X-Men Marvel Champions. There you go. Confirmation on interaction. Assume all X-Force and X-Factor allies get the hit points, but not the discount because they don't have the X-Men trait until you control them. Oh, that's bad. Okay, that's exactly what we thought wouldn't happen. Someone says yes. Now, not that Reddit's always correct, but doesn't seem like there's any dissenting opinions. So apparently you don't control them until they enter play. Huh. That does seem to line up. Does Atom work with Utopia? I could be wrong, but I think it will work like Nowhere for Star-Lord, where the trait is being given by constant effect, which takes effect immediately upon entering play, and the response can fire right after it. Yes, it works. This should work. But the problem is that the cards we control in our hand don't get the trait. Oh, this is like the thing with that you don't get the aerial trait while she's in her hand. What's her face? Hope Summers, right? Because that was an issue, that Hope Summers doesn't count as an aerial card while she's in your hand because her text is not active until you play it. It's the last bullet point in 1.7. The last bullet in rules 1.7. Oh, under control, I take it? Or just in the whole document? Control. See ownership and control. Ownership and control is on page 30. If a game step or card ability references a card that you control or a player controls, the game step or card ability only refers to cards in play currently under that player's control. I think that's fine. I don't think that matters. If a game step or card ability references a card that you control or a player controls, a game step only refers to cards in play currently. Because it's basically saying like you can't use what's that card called that forces you to discard a card from standard? I can't believe I don't remember the names of these cards. We've seen them thousands and thousands of times. What's the name that says like discard a card you control? I think that's a response to that, saying like you can't discard a card that you control because your hand is not in control. The game step or card ability only refers to cards in play. How big of a problem is this? So the idea is Children of the Atom. Better with Honorary X-Men, with Uncanny X-Men, keeping the benefits of discounted hit points. Honorary X-Men can work on yourself if you go down to Alter Ego. That's like maybe something that's worth doing. But this says each X-Force, X-Factor, and X-Men character you control. So cards, a game step or card ability that references you control or player controls, that game step or card ability only refers to cards in play currently under that player's control. Yeah, yeah, in Alter Ego, and like this is really frustrating if you want to play this sort of deck and you play into what's it called? Into I did a test run into Mutant Genesis because in Mutant Genesis you get control of the Senator, and the Senator is not an X-Men and you cannot attach cards. And then eventually you get Magneto from the campaign and he's not an X-Men. So like you're also doubly incentivized to go grab what's it called? To go grab honorary X-Men. I think I would definitely consider it because if you have Magneto on underplay, it like bricks your whole deck. Yeah, I see what you say here. A game step or card ability references a card you control. That game step, the card ability only refers to cards currently in play. So I think actually a lot of this won't work with Children of the Atom because it says X-Men, X-Factor, and X-Men characters you control. And you don't control cards in your hand. I mean, that's so annoying because the first thing here is a card's owner is the player. Okay, identity cards are owned and control. Cards enter play under their owner's control. A player controls the cards in their own out of play area, such as hand, deck, and the discard pile. Which, like that bullet point there, you know, insinuates that this will work. A player controls the cards in their out of play area. However, this just says each character you control gains X factor. Apparently, that there's a difference between control and you control. I mean, okay, sure. So a lot of the interactions won't exactly work. Bummer. Good to shout that out though, for sure. But yeah, okay, frustrating. Browser out. I wonder what else that hits in the deck. I don't think it's too bad. It just means to me my X-Men is way less consistent, which should put us like closer to the make the call looping thing. Yeah, they contradict each other. Yeah, it's strange. It says like you control your deck, but you control is only cards in play. So it's like there's a difference between control and you control, which I mean, make that make sense. About those 3 X-Men to call, yeah, I know. I mean, like, I don't want to. To me, my X-Men is so much more fun. For what it's worth, it doesn't like hugely impact the deck because we only have 2 strict X-Force characters. The thing will still work on our Utopia. I think that's the only interaction that won't work is to me, my X-Men, and it has 2 whiffs. If it shows up, it shows up, but I don't think it's worth like restructuring the whole deck. The greatest MC enemy, the dreaded you. Not like that. Yeah, you gets used in a lot of clumsy ways. That is not the way that I've ever had problems with you, but yeah, it looks like that is the case. Okay. All right. Wait, where's our guy? Where's our friend? Where's Bobby? Is he in here? Yeah, he's in here. Regardless, we'll have an okay time. I played through a whole bunch of Mutant Genesis with this, getting the U control rule wrong. I don't know if it mattered, but this deck seemed really fun. I think Unus is going to be an interesting matchup because Unus really doesn't want you to block with allies. Unus doesn't attack for that much, so it's easy to frostbite him down, but this should be kind of fun. Today, I think we're going to plan to play through Unus, Dark Beast, and then go straight to Sabah Nur. So that we don't have time today to play the whole campaign. We played a whole campaign, mind you, on Friday. It does take a while, but I do want to play her against Dark Beast because he's kind of fine. But then Sabah Nur is going to be like a good boss battle for sure. Our setup is kind of ugly. Like a lot of the fishbolt openings are hard to play. And that's because a lot of your research generators cost 2. And if you play two research generators, you usually can't play any other cards. You just play 2 research generators and pass, which like feels pretty crummy. I don't think this deck is in a spot that it should be going out to play like more power up leaderships and stuff like that. Because once we're set up with Uncanny X-Men, none of our allies really cost that much. So it doesn't actually have that many hits. In fact, I don't think we're playing that many expensive leadership cards in the first place. All right, let's talk about the villain. So this is Unus. I like Unus a lot. We're playing stock standard today to keep it simpler. I think the deck is harder to play, so we're going to try and focus on playing that well. We are playing on standard 3, which that might be a problem because Nemesis set Iceman. Did this work? No. Hold on. That was from Friday. Because our Nemesis has Quick Strike. And having Quick Strike while playing Standard 3 is an issue, because if your Nemesis shows up during the villain activation during Step 2, it'll double activate against you. Now, the only good thing we can say is that our Nemesis has indirect damage as its attack, so you can mitigate a fair bit of that damage to your allies without defeating them, especially like your snow clones. But yeah, having Quick Strike and playing Standard 3 is not something I'd recommend. So when I was practicing for this, I was playing Standard. We'll see how much worse it gets. It'd be so awesome if Children of the Atom worked that way, could just house rule it. I mean, yeah, we could, but I don't think we really need to. And then if you house roll that, it does actually cause some balance issues with some other cards. I remember this coming up because yeah, I don't know, because I thought the problem with Hope Summers was like Hope Summers' text is just not active when she's in your hand. Because the idea is like Hope Summer says she gains each trait from your identity. The problem is that text is only active if she's in play. So she won't get the aerial trait for like Cannonball and stuff like that. But that's technically a different issue. That's nothing to do with you control. So I'm not sure what I'm misremembering here. We'll see. If it's a real big issue, we can house rule it. But it's only the 2 cards that could interact together. So I'm not too stressed. All right, Unus 2 and 3, we're playing with infinites and standard. So Unus is real quite fun. These infinite hunters just mess you up because it's an enemy that knocks out one of your allies and adds 3 threat to the sides game. That's not great. Infinites has this permanent, and there's 5 soldiers. Those soldiers are a big reason why you want to keep the threat down inherently. And Dystopian Nightmare is just kind of a middle of the road encounter set. It does have a bit of stun and confuse, but also does encourage you to jump down to alter ego every once in a while. So the gene pool will be revealed. It's permanent. It's not going to go anywhere. An expert player will do each player face down encounter card. And this deck is like relatively lean. Yeah, I think some of the last scenarios we've been playing and some older campaigns like Green Goblin or whatever, the deck is like twice as big as this. So we get 1 card and that's it. All right, only 1 main scheme. 11 is pretty big. That's not too bad. The only text says when this gets 1 threat at the beginning of the villain phase, Gene Pool also gets 1 threat at the beginning of the villain phase. So that's not inherent. That only happens in Unus. And Gene Pool, you really want to make sure your allies are not being defeated outside of consequential, which is fine. That's what our deck should be doing. But after an ally is defeated outside of consequential, you have to put 3 threat here. Threat on here doesn't technically matter besides all the cards. So we have Unus. Unus is a 2/2 with toughness. And based off the amount of threat on Gene Pool, Unus will have 3, it gives a retaliate, 6 will give stalwart, and 9 will give an amplify icon. The infinite soldiers are maybe the bigger problem. As much as Axel Unus, a bunch of his encounter cards, like a bunch of his cards that says Unus activates, they have worse text the more counters on their gene pool. But the infinite soldiers, I think they're called, they have really big breakpoints that matter. On 3, they get Quick Strike. On 6, they get Surge. And on 9, they have +3 hit points. Notably, none of this text is when revealed. It's just when this enters play. So you can't get around that besides being an alter ego. But on 3, Quick Strike is okay. 6 is really bad because having this thing Surge after Quick Strike is, you really want to keep the sub 6 as much as you can. Hey, Nolan, I love Iceman. I want to try him out in Justice again once while we have the starting Justice card. Oh, interesting. Ah, really? I find Justice to be so weird for Iceman. Because inherently your ability does not interact with thwarting. So is the starting Justice card to give him +1 thwart? I mean, like, I don't know why I want to do that. I want to frost people up, right? All right, with that, we'll start. I haven't thought too much about the upcoming starting cards. They're probably going to be important, but I don't actually know how important they are. It might be better in multiplayer. Uncanny X-Men, I mean, that's an incredible opening. This card, now that we get it down on turn 1, if we get down on turn 1, all our allies are cheaper, as long as they're X-Men, which means we probably should keep this. The issue is we're only drawing 6 cards, and so if we play this, we might not be able to play anything else, so hopefully we mulligan aggressively into a double, which means we can play a 3-coster and a 2-coster. Like this, Snow Clone. In fact, actually, this kind of works, because Snow Clone only will cost 1 now, and so we play Uncanny X-Men for 4 of our cards, we can play Snow Clone for the last 2, so this is pretty good to have a 2-cost ally, which becomes a 1-cost ally. Again, Uncanny X-Men gives everybody +1 health if we're all X-Men, but on top of that, we get 1 cheaper to play, which is really quite good. I mean, fantastic. Okay, I don't think we want 2 of them, but already really good. Chill Out. This is the thwarting one, which if we can play it, and we can do the math, we'll play it, because there is threat to remove on the table. And then our 6th card is Pixie, who only cost 1. So we already a pretty good mulligan opening. Usually the openings are a bit ugly, where you just draw a bunch of upgrades that cost 2. But if we want to do the math here, right? If we do like 1, 2, 3 into X-Men, we do Pixie for 1, Pixie returns Snow Clone, we can't play Snow Clone. The other options we do 1, 2, 3 for Uncanny X-Men, use that to play Snow Clone for 1, but then we float a card. Which means ultimately we can mulligan aggressively with these 2 cards. And if we hit another double, I think that opens up something for us. Because no matter we have to do 1, 2, 3 into Uncanny X-Men, and then we'll probably just play Snow Clone. The thing with the Snow Clone, it's good to get the Snow Clone as soon as possible because it's on the table, but it doesn't really progress the board state here because it means that we have to attack Unus. Gene Pool will go to 5. I don't mean, we have Retaliate here. Like in theory, playing the Snow Clone's maybe not actually as good. Wait, if we play Pixie, it's cheaper, right? If we do 1, 2, 3, we play Pixie, Pixie adds this back, we can play both of them. Yeah, wait, this is better. 1, 2, 3, we play Pixie for 1, Pixie returns this. We play Snow Clone. So we can play 2 allies on turn 1, which is kind of absurd. That is kind of absurd, isn't it? Yeah, like Pixie is technically 1 card play because she costs us only 1. She costs 2 cards and she gets 1 back. So it's 1, 2, 3. Then we play Pixie. Pixie returns this card. This card. Yeah, I think we just full keep this hand. The thing about like mulliganing deeper is it would be good, but if we draw one of our important upgrades, we have to commit to playing it. And I think this hand is like quite playable. It means that we can thwart one off of this. She will have reasonable stats. Like she can attack pretty hard, but we want to thwart this down to 2. So we might actually just thwart this with our face as well. Because unfortunately the snow clones can't thwart. But I think we totally keep this. Stirring Justice card is so strong on Cable was the first one I wanted to try, and it played amazingly. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Like getting your thwart up as soon as possible with Cable is like one of the real big reasons. Yeah, this is like surprisingly good, Tony. Keep forgetting the trigger on his ready only happens on attacks and thwarts. It's only attacks and defense. Yeah, the thwarting doesn't actually matter, so Justice might be a bit hard. Hey, good morning, board game time. Love Iceman. He's in my top 5 heroes. I have to do the tier list. I think at some point we promised to do it, but he's definitely in the top 10. He might be in the top 5. All right, nothing to do here. We'll flip up. So again, when we do a basic activation that's not thwart, we can ice something up. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3 to play Uncanny X-Men, and getting this opening is so good for us because now our X-Men allies have +1 hit point. And on top of that, we'll get a 1 cost reduction if we have only X-Men allies, which if we have none, technically they're only X-Men, right? Wait, what if you have no allies? Does this work? If each of your characters has the X-Men trait. Oh, each of your characters. Yeah. Okay. So Iceman is our only character and Iceman has the X-Men trait. So this works. Then we'll pitch 1 for Pixie. So Pixie comes into play. She's cheap because she's X-Men. Not a huge fan of this art. Comes in with 3 health, which is a lot better. And we can use her text to return a snow clone from a discard pile. Then we'll play 1 for snow clone. Snow clone also has a bit more health. And I mean, Uncanny X-Men is just an absurd card. It's a sort of card, like usually I don't put 2 of one of supports, but this is one of the cards that I could consider playing 2 of because finding it is actually that important. Okay, if we attack into retaliate, it's bad. So in theory, we want to get this down to sub 3, and then we can attack with a snow clone, and the snow clone will only take 1 damage instead of taking 1 damage. That's the weird thing, because the snow clone won't take damage, but we're not going to put a frostbite. I mean, the first attack to the face from Unus we can definitely take. So I think we're going to do thwart 1, thwart 1. We're probably going to use Pixie for thwarting just to keep a float of Gene Pool in the main scheme. And now Snow Clone could attack Unus. Technically, the Snow Clone will take 1 damage, which, I mean, in theory, we want to get the Snow Clone down to low health because we're playing that new card from Luke Cage. So we'll attack for 2 and take 1 into the toughness. Never a fan of being reminded of Gregland, the way he draws people and especially women. Yeah, not my favorite at all. We'll pass. Draw 5 first. Ice Wall. Okay. Not a card I like. It's a bit expensive. We still haven't found any proper resource generators, but I mean, Uncanny X-Men goes hard. Death Focus, a resource generator. We have a lot of superpowers. Beak is a 1 cost remove 3 threat. Like Beak is absurd here. To me, my X-Men, which we're hoping not to hit an X Factor. We only have 3 ally slots though, so it can be a bit ugly until we find our Utopia. And we found our Power Belt, which is not a superpower. It's also not ice traded. So this is one of our few cards that does not work well with a bunch of other stuff, but you do want to get it down because 3 health and a resource generator for 2 cost is kind of nonsense. Also tech traded, which I guess you could interact with. This goes to 1. This goes to 1. Unus gets the retaliate. This feels really far away, but I don't think it is that far away. Unus is now going to activate against us for 2 and a card, and we're drawing 2 encounter cards. First attack, we're totally fine taking to the face. We have no healing in the deck, but we have a power belt. But I don't want to defend this. Yeah, we're definitely not going to defend with an ally for many reasons. So 1, 2. Oh, nice. Nowhere safe. So not bad. So places 1 counter, and we just take 2 damage. Once this thing hits 4 counters, we have to draw our nemesis, and that can be bad at the wrong time. Does the team card reduce the cost of the purpose of make the call? That's a good question. Let me check. Make the call says play the printed cost. No. Yeah, printed cost. So you cannot affect the cost reduction on make the call. You have to print whatever's printed on the card. You have to pay whatever's printed on the card. Genetic experiments, I'm pretty sure the surges. So attached to an infinite minion, otherwise this card surges. Hunted, okay, so now going down to alter ego is interesting. This just has a hazard icon. The only way to get rid of it is discarding a card. And we're getting attacked again, Sinister Strike. So we get 1 counter on Pursued by the Past. It's halfway there already. And then Unus is going to attack us for 2 and a card. Okay, so now we have all the information besides this boost card could like goof us up. But we kind of want to jump down to alter ego and discard a card, which means we want to put on as many Frostbites as we can when we jump down, just to shuffle this chill out back, I think is all we want here. It's probably probable that we just try and play like Beak. Like Beak cost 1. We can play Death Focus for 1, not play our Power Belt. It's not an ice card, so we can't shuffle it back in, and we just discard this to Hunted, which means our basic activation, all our basic activation here is doing is putting a Frostbite, which means Snow Clone can, I mean, we heal more than we defend, so yeah, this is silly. We're just going to take it. 1, 2. You were stunned. Bummer. Not good. So we only take 2 damage, but that's a lot of the dystopian set. That makes To Me My X-Men arguably more synergistic because you end up playing an ally from hand. To Me My X-Men doesn't play it from hand immediately, but it'll play it from hand next turn. And then you get the cost reducer from that point forward. But when you search the top 5, you play it from your deck and then you play from the hand. And that is good. Like, it's good to replay your allies, which like Make the Call does slightly less, but you're right. The synergy with Uncanny X-Men is cool. Okay. So, problem is we're stunned. Because we're stunned, we can't easily go get, wait, what is this card? It's called Stun It? Oh, Stun Net. It's like, what's a student? I thought I spelled stunned wrong. We're stunned, so if we do a basic attack, it cancels the attack, so we can't even frost up Unus. I mean, that's a bit annoying, but it's not the end of the world. I think here we're probably just going to do like a setup turn. We'll probably play Death Focus. We could hold on to Power Belt, but we need to get rid of Hunted, and we'll play 1 Resource Generator. I mean, our setups are a bit slow, but we'll get there. We can thwart a bit. Snow Clone can attack to get down to low health, but with the Retaliate, I mean, I guess we won't have Retaliate. We can do 2 damage. So I think that's probably what we do. We won't have any Frostbites because we just can't do it because we got stunned. So I think we'll probably recover for 3 here because we're going to be throwing out our Power Belt. The other option is to hold on to the Power Belt or like not play Beak. Like we could do this and then play Death Focus, but then we don't get rid of Hunted. So I think we have to do this. So we're going to start by paying only 1 resource for Beak. Again, a lot of times a good thing about this card is like its activations aren't that good. It's nice that it can come in, do its text, then you can block with it. But against Unus, obviously you don't want to do that. So but having +1 health on Beak is not actually that good. So when Beak enters play, remove 1 threat for each X-Men ally you control. We control all 3, so we clear that up. We lose Retaliate. Snow Clone will attack for 2, taking Consequential. Villain takes 2. Beak will thwart for 1. We don't have to use Pixie now. We could, but we don't have to because it's just doing 2 damage, so we can hold for a turn. We'll just go ahead and play Death Focus to set up. We haven't seen too many of our superpowers, and I think Cryokinetics is also a superpower, so that will help for the setup. We're just going to jump down. We can't do our alter ego text because of the stun, otherwise that's what we plan to do. We will recover for 4, which puts us at full health. We'll discard this card to discard Hunted, and that's it. So Unus is not, you know, frosted or confused. So this could go bad for us, but for this to go bad, we have to draw like a really big boost on a really big thwart card, saying that like he thwarts again. So we'll be fine. Weapon X. Okay, that's good that we have this in alter ego because we could play it and use it. I'm okay trading a damage for a card. Chill Out is the thwart card. Nice. To me, it's the second one. Okay, that's every Chill Out in the deck so far. The X Jet's a bit expensive. And then we have an Ice Blast, which is good if we draw some minions, especially because all the minions, or most of the minions in this deck have 3 health. So we go to 1 and 1. All right, Unus is scheming. Hope for the best. 1, 2. Boost attaches to a minion, so wow, pretty low boost, just 3. 1 encounter card. Prelate Armor, I mean, this is not a real encounter card, is it? So attached to Unus, after Unus schemes, give him a tough status card. These cards I imagine are way worse in multiplayer where people consistently jump down on part of the table. So this text fires, but like we have so much control whether we want to let Unus scheme or not. So yeah, that's not too bad for us. After you make a basic attack against Unus, spend these resources. And unfortunately we're stunned. So like our Frostbites, I don't think we're going to attach 1 Frostbite in the first 3 turns, which is really goofy. Okay, so our allies, we are full up on ally slots. So we want to get rid of our allies. Pixie, we can just attack for 2 to get rid of her. That seems totally fine. Chill Out, we can get a Frostbite. We want to play a superpower return. So this is like, this is for that. We could play Weapon X and then draw a card that leaves us with this hand. The thing is like a 3-card hand. How playable is a 3-card hand? If it's a double, we can play X-Jet. If it's not, we can play To Me My X-Men. Hope for the best. I mean, Weapon X is not that good. Like there's a chance we could also just do like 3 for Weapon X. Weapon X. Oh no, we have to be in hero mode. So yeah, we can't use X-Jet and alter ego if we want to play Weapon X. I mean, playing the X-Jet's really good here because we really like having a wild resource. The thing is like Weapon X is not as good as X-Jet. It's just a lot cheaper. So maybe that's what we do. Like maybe we just do X-Jet. I mean, then we waste a resource. If we do X-Jet like this, we have 2 resource generators. We can spend 2 on chill out and just throw out or like hold on to meet my X-Men. I mean, that's kind of a good. You've drawn the blue half of the deck, not the ice half. Seems to be working. Yeah, it's not bad. Like it's okay that we've drawn like this because we're not frosting a lot. But I think like still setting up on your first 3 turns is totally fine for the deck that like really has economy issues. So like setting up the X-Jet is probably pretty good. So I think we'll just do X-Jet. We'll probably do this 1, 2, 3. We'll play a chill out with these 2 and we'll hold on to this, or we'll probably just discard it because I think we still have a lot of allies. And this card is only better. Oh, actually, no, it doesn't work. But with our Children of the Atom, this is more consistent, but we've learned it doesn't work. So we'll spend 3 on the X-Jet. I mean, is To Me My X-Men better? Like, it's a good card because it gives you +1 hand size the following turn, which is worth something. We'll flip up. We'll just get rid of the stun. We'll now go and use a superpower and a wild for a chill out. And again, this is my favorite thing is that this attaches Frostbites at like tempo, which at tempo means we don't have to defend as much and we don't have to block with our allies. So chill out removes 3 threats. So we'll clean all of that up and we put a Frostbite on Unus. That means Snow Clone can come in. And so far the Snow Clone has done 6 damage already, which is really quite good. Did that go through? Yeah, from 13 to 11. Beak might as well just thwart for 1. We have no reason to do anything with Pixie. She's probably better set up to deal with a 3 health minion, and we'll pass. The question is whether we hold on to this thing or not. My guess is we've set up okay, but we still have a fair few ice cards we want to draw through. If you have a card spare, you can drop the Weapon X. I mean, yeah, we can, but you'd need 2 cards, right? If we play this for Weapon X draws a card. Wait, did I just do it wrong? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we do this for Weapon X draws a card. We spend 3 on the X-Jet. And yeah, wait, you're right. We could just do that. Why didn't we do that? Yeah, I did it wrong. Because with 6 cards, we can do Weapon X. Weapon X always draws a card. That card goes back to our hand. Then we spend 3 on the X-Jet, 2 on chill out, and then we don't waste anything. I mean, I guess we're doing that. The only problem is that this turn can get a bit more messy because we can draw into like a really good ice card that we want to play. But yeah, we're going to rewind that because I don't know how I missed that. We're going to start with Weapon X in Alter Ego, and then we're going to use it. So we're going to take a damage. We're going to discard until we find an ice card. Children's gone. Team building's gone. Uh-oh, this is a bad idea. Oh no, this is a terrible idea. We draw Arctic Attack. So we basically just do the same turn from this point forward, where we play 3 for X-Jet, and then X-Jet and Def Focus plays the chill out. So same outcome, but we have 1 more card on the table. It did actually hurt, though. We didn't discard any of our good ice cards, but we lost Utopia, we lost Prof, we lost the Righteous Purpose, the new card we want to play, and the team building. So it kind of did suck. I don't honestly think I want this card in the deck, because I'm not going to jump down to Alter Ego that much. But yeah, should have been obvious. All right, draw 5. Arctic Attack, our last copy. Ice Blast. Cryokinetic, that's perfect. Not only is there superpower, I think our deck probably only has like 6 ice cards, maybe a fewer. Ice Slide, we're drawing all the ice cards. And the superpower training, which allows us to go grab an upgrade, which might just be the Ice Belt if we clear it. I think at this point we've seen all our thwart for 3 cards. Chill out, and chill out. So thwarting 3 off of the side scheme on tempo is a bit harder. Also because we've seen Beak. All right, 1 and 1. So Unus is attacking for 1 because of the Frostbite. Like, I just don't care to block him at all. So we'll take it. Oh, so it's 3 damage. We're down to 7. The Frostbite gets discarded. 1 encounter card. I mean, I was going to say it's about time someone gets shot. And this like hurts in so many different ways. It's really hard to play around this. So when revealed, deal 3 damage to an ally control. So our weakest ally here is probably Beak. So Beak gets destroyed and then something was knocked out. So we put 3 threat here. So it's on 4. So we have Retaliate. That is a really rough interaction for sure. Okay. All right. So ice cards in the deck. I should check the discard pile, but I don't think we have a lot. We have 1, 2, just 2 cards in this deck. So we shouldn't count on Cryokinetic Perception. It's just not very, very consistent here. It's 2 and like 12. So that being said, we can deal with the Infinite Hunter by attacking with Iceman and Snow Clone, or we can also attack with Pixie. We did unfortunately lose our setup Utopia, so the Weapon X didn't feel amazing, but we have 2 research generators, so it should be easy to do a bit of everything. We also might be able to play an Ice Blast here, because the Ice Blast lines up okay. It means that we can do Unus for 3, Frost Unus, we can knock out the Hunter with the Snow Clone. This we definitely want to get down to 1 if we can. I assume we're going to be jumping down sooner than later. We also can Arctic Attack, but Arctic Attack is only like, this is only good if you're getting part of the text. So if you're just doing 4 damage, you lose the Frostbite. So it feels like you're just paying 2 for 4, which is not the worst, but it's not incredible. If we do X-Jet, Death Focus, we can play Ice Blast. And then we can just spend 2 on Cryokinetic. Mind you, when we activate Cryokinetic, it will give us a card, which is good. Yeah, I don't think there's a way to get through the Retaliate, though. This is fun. So we'll spend 2 on Cryokinetic. And now we're off. So now when we do our freeze text, which is when we defend or attack, basic, we can draw a top card of our deck. And if it's an ice card, we can ready ourselves. Very unlikely, but it would be cool if we can. So we want to draw a card, so we never want to thwart anymore. I mean, I don't think there's a way around this. So Pixie will thwart for 1. She could have thwarted for 1 on a different turn if we had threat, because her last attack for 2 won't matter if she's defeated to consequential. So it's nice that she has 1 more health because you have way more flexibility how you can use her. And then we will attack for 2 into Unus. We'll take Retaliate 1, but Unus will take 2. We'll freeze Unus, and we'll do Cryokinetic and see what happens. That's a Mirage. Okay, Mirage is in her hand. She only costs 2. When Mirage enters play, she will actually stun Unus, because we have the whole setup with Mirage. The problem, though, is like we left our Death Focus and our X-Jet ready, and that's not good because then we're wasting at least the Death Focus. So the other options, yeah, I mean, like maybe we just hold on to Mirage, but Mirage here is like not bad. Stunning Unus is like okay. But it's a 2-cost Mirage. Yeah, I think we'll just hold on to her for next turn because she's really quite good. So I'm going to do Death Focus on X-Jet to generate 2 resources, plus the Arctic Attack, and we have a reasonable Ice Blast here. We could even consider jumping down and shuffling 3 cards into our deck, because we have a lot of ice counters. This will be knocked out, and Unus will be scheming at 1, and he'll get a tough status, which is fine. So choose a player or choose ourselves. Attach a set-sided cop of Frostbite to the villain and each minion. So 1, 2, 3. We can also get another card with Weapon X here, which we know exactly what the card will be. Deal 3 damage to each enemy with a Frostbite attached. So Infinite Hunter goes down to 1, and Unus goes down to 3. And this is not an attack, so we don't take Retaliate. Snow Clone will just knock out the Hunter. You could jump down to play Arctic Attack and Mirage with a weapon. I don't think we can play Arctic Attack, but if we jump down, we'll be short a resource for Mirage. Oh, hold on. Let's not do the attack with Snow Clone first. That's actually really important. Good thing about allies is you can control your allies, and we can activate our allies in Alter Ego. So if we jump down here, we can do our thing. Also, notably, if we jump down with Uncanny X-Men, we actually lose the text. So there's a reason that maybe we should be playing Honorary X-Men, because if we jump down to Alter Ego, we're not an X-Men, which means the cost reduction falls out of play. So if you jump down, you cannot play Mirage for 2. Yeah. Yeah, that's a tricky thing. The only way to get around that is to make yourself an Honorary X-Men, which feels so weird, but you can force your mutant self to be an X-Men as well. Okay, so I'm going to hop down here. When we hop down our Alter Ego, there's 3 Frostbites, so we can set this up, and this is always the most fun. So we can shuffle 3 ice cards into our deck. So I want the Thwart card. I want the second Thwart card. I don't think we need another ally. Notably, our belt is not, unfortunately, the thing we want. And I think we could just do damage, or we can just do another Thwart card. I mean, 3 Thwart cards is good. Your allies lose the extra hit point? I don't think they do. I think that part's fine. If each of your X-Men allies gets +1 hit point, no, that part's fine. Yeah. They definitely didn't want to make it where you jumped out to Alter Ego and your allies just like get knocked out. It's only the cost reduction that's attached to it. I think I'd just do 3 chill outs. Maybe that's a bit much. Arctic Attack is not bad. So we're going to shuffle these 3 in our deck, which means our deck now has 5. We could do Weapon X first, but I'm not going to do Weapon X because I actually want to keep the density of X-Men cards in here. We'll probably do it, I don't know, maybe next turn. I've shuffled before. I think we lost the Children of the Atom too on their first deck cycle, which also feels pretty bad because we wanted to set up the domino and that good stuff. I'll hold on to Mirage because she's good, and now Snow Clone will knock out the Hunter. So that just gave us another shuffle back. We'll pass. So we're going to be drawing 5 more cards. And this is why, again, Iceman's so fun. Being able to jump down and not be scared of scheming in solo is like such a treat. Build support, chill out. 1 we shuffled back for sure. A double, which is good with Mirage. Another double. And then the 6th card is chill out. So the good thing is with these doubles is when we fire Weapon X, it's Very likely to draw the thing that just freezes Unus, Frozen Solid, because we have 2 of them in the deck, and with Death Focus, they cost 3. This goes to 2, this goes to 4, still has Retaliate. Unus schemes for 1 here. However, Prelate Armor will fire. So Prelate Armor says, after Unus schemes, give him a tough. I'm just going to do this now so I don't forget. So scheming for 1, 2, 3. That's our obligation. Our obligation is pretty bad, actually. 1 encounter card. Infinite Soldier. Okay, we dodged the Quick Strike by being in Alter Ego, which is nice. So this would have been okay to have the AoE card, but Infinite Soldier has Quick Strike. We're in Alter Ego, so we got a lot of value from this. Cool. We're going to just start with Weapon X. I think we're okay if we whip through our deck. So we're going to take a damage. And then we're going to, mind you, we're ready. We're going to just draw. Yeah, perfect. So Frozen Solid is what we're expecting. That did make the Cryokinetic less good, but I think we can Frozen Solid Unus and just keep the Frostbites there. Oh, sorry, they are discarded. Okay, we're getting a bit beat up. We're at 5 health. So recovering now is kind of rough because we don't use Cryokinetic. That seems kind of bad. Like jumping down to Alter Ego and recovering is good, but you can't because Cryokinetic can't fire. But that's the big reason why we want to get Utopia down, because with Utopia, we're guaranteed to be able to ready. So we can recover, jump up, ready, and then activate twice more still with Cryokinetic. Unfortunately, Utopia got lost. So I do think there's a chance that one of our allies probably should just be Forged. I mean, Forge is just still really a good card. Okay, nothing to do here unless we're recovering, but I don't think we're recovering because we want to fire Cryokinetic. And also our Snow Clone will die. So we're going to flip up. At this point, we probably have to start defending a wee bit. Oh, we're not going to deck out just yet. Okay, Frozen Solid and Mirage is a bit much, but I mean, that's okay. That's okay. So how are we planning this? How are we going to do 3 damage to Infinite Soldier? I think we'll just start here. We'll spend a double on Mirage. She only costs 1 less. She costs 1 less. So after she enters play, choose an enemy whose scheme is less than Mirage's Thwart. Okay, wait. This is a 3 scheme. So we have to actually attack it with a Frostbolt a couple times. So let's instead do Death Focus and the X-Jet to get rid of the toughness. So we'll do Chill Out. Not the toughness, sorry, the Retaliate. So we'll remove 3 threat, which means we lose Retaliate. And we get 1 Frostbite. So he's down to 2 Thwart. This actually upgrade hurts for different reasons, funny enough. We could do another Chill Out here, which seems fine. I just need to plan out the rest of the turn. So these are exhausted. We get to draw a card when we attack for 2. We could attack the Soldier if we wanted to, but we want to stun Unus. So we'll attack for 2 into the Soldier. The Soldier now is only going to tickle us for 1, and we Frostbite it. We can do Cryokinetic here, so we can draw a card. If it's ice, we get to ready ourselves. It's to me my X-Men. I think that actually has a chance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have a lot of allies in our deck. Unfortunately, 2 of them are X-Force, but this is very likely to fire to me my X-Men. If it hits a Triage, we'd be very happy to heal 4 before we deck out, because hitting Triage on the deck cycle is 4 more healing. Yeah, it'd be hilariously bad. Yeah, imagine you jumped out and they all just like faint. All right, so Soldier's only attacking for 1, which is good. So I think we still want to do 1 more Chill Out here. We can do Chill Out, Mirage, and then I don't think we have to do the Frozen Solid. I think we just do 2 my X-Men and maybe like float an ugly card here. So I'll Chill Out again. I think we want to get access to all the thwarting we can. So we'll do this down to 2. And now we have 3 Frostbites. So now Unus only has 1 scheme. Our allies are full, but I think we're going to knock out Pixie here in a moment. We'll do 1, 2 for Mirage. She is cheaper. So Mirage says after she enters play, choose an enemy whose scheme is less than her thwart. So her thwart is 2. Unus's scheme is only 1. So we go ahead and stun Unus, which is like pretty cool. She has 3 health and she thwarts for a lot. No matter what, it's slightly awkward here because we need to get through the toughness, and this hand doesn't get through the toughness, so someone's going to lose some value. So whatever, Mirage will just knock out the Soldier. We could leave the Soldier, technically. It only hits us for 1. Pixie will take 2 consequential, knocking out the toughness. Snow Clone always attacks for 2 into the villain. The villain takes 2. And then, to me, my X-Men, I think this is for support. The support is not bad. Frozen Solid is also not going to be necessary for a while. We have another one coming up, so I'll play to me my X-Men. So I don't think there's mathematically this can whiff at this point because our bottom of our deck has so many allies. So search the top 5 for an X-Men ally. Domino's an X-Force. Angel is an X-Men. I really want Triage. Arctic Attack. Marrow is an X-Force. So we found 2 of our X-Forces. Children of the Atom apparently doesn't fix this. And then Triage 1 time. Hey, let's go. So we found Triage, and Triage's text does work here, which is really good because it's nice to be able to get healing here. So Triage enters play. Chris heals us for 2. We're going to take the healing. You can heal any of your X-Men characters. And at the end of the round, Chris will bounce back to our hand. So recovers for 2. In theory, there's an order that we could use Chris for the piercing, but the toughness, but we were over ally slots until we find our Utopia. And then triage might as well just thwart for 1 to keep us down. Okay, will I hold on to this? Are we going to deck out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We won't deck out. I'd rather deck out. I want to find Utopia. Actually, this finds Utopia. Yeah, we'll hold on to that. And we'll pass. So we do 1, 2. It's Angel, no surprise. Marrow, a bunch of our X factors. They do full cost because we don't have our children. Arctic attack, and we have a frozen solid, and then triage returns to our hand. Okay. This goes to 2 and 2. Unus is stunned. This is our first deck cycle, and like the amount of weird control we have, all our allies are really good and really cheap. Like the numbers on the allies just got a bit bonkers with Uncanny X-Men, but like you use the Frostbites to really good value. Our deck has 2 cards as Domino and no ice cards as Shadowcat, so Cryokinetic is not very likely unless we jump down and set it up. Regardless, 1 encounter card. Infinite Soldier has no text. Nice. Just 3 health. Okay, cool. So no quick strike. Does have guard though. Oh, it has guard. I don't think we messed that up. I don't think we messed up the guard thing. Okay, so the thing we could do on this turn is we could try and clear build support. And we could use build support to go get Utopia. Utopia would give us another ally slot, but it would also give us a ready this turn because it should be easy for us to play triage for 1 resource healing too. Like triage is so absurdly good. We can't really get Mirage back into the deck. That's kind of the downside of them having more health is that they just stick around for longer. But yeah, we don't have ways to grab her from the bin, which is one of the upsides to do like make the call versus To Me My X-Men. We definitely want to play a superpower this turn. The only superpower is Arctic Attack, which can just knock out Unus. This does 4 damage. It could also knock out the Soldier, which 3 is a pretty okay breakpoint to just hit the Soldier and not have text. We're going to draw a card for sure. This thwarts for 2. We could play Angel for 1 resource to thwart for 1. I mean, I guess we play Triage to thwart for 1, and we clear build support. Then we'll have 3 allies. Build support will get us Utopia. Then we can play another ally. Yeah, I mean, this seems good. This seems good. So we'll start by just doing Death Focus and X-Jet. And I think we're just going to do an Arctic attack to the Infinite Soldier. Arctic. So it just knocks out the Soldier. No text. Okay. Then we'll spend Marrow to play build support. When we cleared build support, we can go get a support that costs 3 or less and put it into play. So we'll thwart it for 2 with Mirage. Then we'll go ahead and throw out the Frozen Solid for Triage. We're all we're Aj based. This is our Aj typal deck. Triage will give us 2 more health, so we're up at a healthy 9. And then Triage with his 3 health will thwart 1 off of this, clearing build support. We can now just use this to go get Utopia, and we should have 1 card to play the card we get off the Utopia. So we should be able to add 4 more Frost tokens, which honestly jumping down here might be reasonable. Because if we jump down here, yeah, jumping down might be okay. We're drawing 2 encounter cards, but Unus will be at minus thwart. So Utopia's in play. If all your allies have the X-Men trait, which currently they do, we have 1 more ally slot, so that's good. And after an X-Men ally enters play, and it doesn't matter from where, we can ready ourselves, and of course, readying ourselves means more Frostbites. Speaking of, we'll attack for 2 into Unus. The villain takes 2. We get a 3rd Frostbite. That means we can cryo to draw a card. It's a 50-50. It's hard to shuffle 2 cards, so I'll just roll a die. Even is top card, odd is second. It's odd, so we draw. Domino. We don't want to play her just yet until we can make her an X-Men because she gets a lot cheaper. Not that one, but this one. And then she can set up her stuff. So then we want to play 1 cost for Angel. Angel only costs 1, which is super goofy because his text is reduced by 1, reduced by 1. Comes in with 4 health. Attacks for 2. Utopia readies us. In theory, we could ready Mirage and then throw Mirage back into the deck cycle. And that might be better because I don't think the 3rd Frostbite here is super impactful. So I'm actually going to ready Mirage. Snow Clone will attack for 2, which advances Unus, which I think is totally acceptable. So Snow Clone attacks. And we get new Unus. Unus, same text, toughness, that's it. We'll use Mirage to thwart 2 off of this because this will get bad. And then she will be knocked out to Consequential, which means she hits the deck cycle, which is good for us. Angel can attack for 2. I mean, 4 health is nonsense. I think we'll just take the toughness off of the attack for 2. I mean, we don't have to be very precious about our health on our characters. And we'll pass. First deck cycle, really good. We got the Utopia and we got 2 research generators. Like, we cannot complain. We're going to be drawing 2 encounter cards, so maybe a bit worse. We draw Shadowcat, so she's good for the bounce back. We'll get an encounter card and shuffle this. Pretty good. Pretty good setup. And again, leadership and not having to chump block. We haven't blocked with an ally once. And obviously that's like good in some ways, I guess, because, well, in some ways that's bad because we get attacked by Unus more. But the good thing is we get to use all our allies, and the allies have really good numbers on them. Like, these will just keep attacking for 2 for such a long time. We have so much damage on the table. And that's, again, it's cool to have leadership. And hopefully Luke Cage does something like this, where it's like, it's leadership, but you don't have to block with them, which means you actually can invest in your allies. It's good that we have 4 ally slots. I believe in Nelson's version of the deck, he played Triskelion, so he has a 5th ally slot on top of Utopia. I didn't think that was super necessary, but it kind of looks a bit necessary here, if we're particularly not chump blocking, because it does take us like 4 turns to empty Angel, and then we'll have a slots issue before then. Okay, so I want to draw the Righteous Purpose card, because it means Snow Clone attacks for 4, which is really good. We go 1, 2, Ice Blast, AoE damage. We have a Genius. We have our superpower for the turn, not that Ice Blast wasn't. And then we have a Frozen Solid, which, like, at this point doesn't seem super necessary. The villain's kind of going to be chilled. In theory, as we want to draw as few ice cards as possible, just because the more ice cards in the deck, the more consistent we are at readying ourselves. Goes to 3, goes to 1. Unus is attacking us for 0. Straight 0. We do not block against 0. We take no damage. Very cool to have non-toughness, non-stun based defense. 2 encounter cards. Mind you, we're very close to getting our Nemesis. And that's a cool thing is we draw Dark Designs or the Assault equivalent. We won't get our Nemesis. It'll just, we won't get attacked or schemed. We'll get our Nemesis. Endless Ranks, when defeated, place 3 threat on the gene pool. So 4 threats, an annoying breakpoint. Infinite Prelates. Okay, this is the one that says he activates again. Infinite Prelate. So when revealed, Unus activates, and based off of the counters, which we haven't worried about, he does things. So he's attacking us for 3. The most this could be is 6 damage. It could summon, if we're lucky, our Nemesis minion, which will quick strike us. We don't mind finding our Nemesis here because we have an Ice Blast, which is pretty good. We could defend, but then Snow Clone is in a bad spot. Oh, because we're not guaranteed to ready. But with Utopia in our hand and Shadowcat, we are guaranteed to ready, and we actually can blank this. So Shadowcat for 2 will ready us, which means we can choose to defend here just to keep ourselves healthy. So I think we will. Yeah, I think we will. We'll defend for 2, which puts a Frostbite. So Unus is attacking for 2. That's what we wanted. Evil Alliance cannot script it better. So Evil Alliance says after the activation resolves, place 1 pursuit counter. So we take no damage. The Frostbite comes off. This hits 4. And we get our Nemesis. So we have a lot to do this turn. This thing will quick strike us before anything else. So our Nemesis is Pyro. Pyro is quick strike, attacking for 3. We can't defend into this, which we kind of wanted to. But this does indirect damage, which means for the health we have on Angel and Triage, it doesn't really matter. And we want to get our allies, out of the way. So we're going to take 3 indirect. We're going to do 1, 2, and we'll take 1 to our face. Then we have to put in our side scheme, which when you clear it, it hurts you. Playing with fire. There's so many characters that have AoE damage. There's not a lot of characters that have AoE thwarting. 3 threat, acceleration, and when defeated, you discard 3 cards from your deck, take 1 indirect damage for each resource discarded this way. And then we're going to be shuffling 2 burns and Pyro's flamethrower into the deck. I think a couple of them just say like Pyro attacks you, or sorry, I think 2 of them say discard top 2 cards of your deck, take indirect. So we just want to stay healthy. There's 1 card that I think attaches to Pyro, and it might whiff if he's not there. All right, at least we got our foil. In the world of heroes, ice is a heroic traded thing. Fire is never heroic traded. Are there any characters that are heroes that use fire? And is it just because fire is such a liability you cannot attach it to a heroic trait? Okay, so Shadowcat isn't Vivian, right? She just blanks the icon. She doesn't blank the text. Use a side scheme. That scheme loses the icon until the end of the round. Okay, so it will still have the text if we clear it. But this turn got a bit harder. Oh, mind you, we're meant to cryokinetic off of the basic activation off of Unus. So we'll draw a card, and we actually readied ourselves. And not only that, it was such a good card. So we could have defended against Pyro. I don't think we would have, but we forgot the cryokinetic. Oh, Human Torch. Yeah, okay. I think Human Torch is rare as being one of the few fire characters. Zuko, but only after being redeemed. Zuko from Greece? Danny Zuko from Grease Lightning? I don't know who Zuko is. Firestar, Sunfire. Actually, wait, there's a lot. Okay, never mind. I'm not. I don't think there's any A-listers outside of Human Torch. I don't know who Firestar is. Should I? It's not in the database, so I don't know. Temper? I don't know who these characters are. Magma, Sunfire, Sunspot. Sunspot 2. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Oh, Zuko's from Avatar. Okay, got it. All right. Okay. So I'm not totally right about that. All right, we have a lot we can do on this turn. Ice Blast is not bad. Triage can finish out Pyro. We can blank this one, and we can thwart this one with Chill Out. So we have a lot going on this turn, and we are ready, so we can add 2 more Frostbites on whoever we attack, which is cool. I think we're just going to start with the double. So we always need to play an ally. We always want to play a superpower. So I think Ice Blast is really good here. So we're going to do Death Focus and a double for Ice Blast. And I think we're just going to vibe the rest of the turn. So we Frostbite 2 things. 1, 2. And then we do 3 damage to each of them. So 1, villain takes 3. We actually should check if we just have like straight lethal this turn. I don't think we do. You see, our hand is already expensive. Like I want to play a 2-class Shadowcat, but I think that's all we can play this turn. We even drew a card and it's like a struggle to play 2 cards. Okay. We could jump down this turn as well, which is kind of funny. We could easily jump down this turn. The thing is like shuffling ice cards into a deck this size doesn't feel super impactful. We'll just use Triage to clear. Actually, we won't do that yet because if we jump down, we want to keep the Frostbite on the table. So Shadowcat costs 2, which means Chill Out cannot be played. We have 1 resource generator and we've already drawn our 1 card a turn. Shadowcat's really worth playing. So I think, yeah, we're 1 resource short. Firestar is from Spider-Man and has amazing friends along with Iceman. She's also in the comics. Oh, I have no idea. It is a lot more rare. It feels a lot more rare. And I feel like Sunfire and Sunspot are like plasma, like they're space themed. That's probably not right. I've always seen Sunspot flying in space. Okay, so we want to play Shadowcat for 2. She can blank one of the accelerations, which is good. But that leaves us with 1 card in hand. If we jump down to Alter Ego, we could get another card with Weapon X, but the problem is like the cheapness, the cost reducer on Uncanny X-Men falls apart. So you get a card, but you lose a card. I think playing Uncanny X-Men would probably make sense in this deck. We can clear the table. Shadowcat is really good because she's a ready, which is a Frostbite. I think we won't jump down this turn. I think we're just going to play and then hold on to the Chill Out for next turn. So we'll play 2 for Shadowcat. There's a chance we should just be pushing for damage, and having a 6 damage attack is better than a 3 thwart. But when Shadowcat enters play, we'll blank the Crisis on Endless ranks, so it doesn't actually activate. She's on 4 health. She's an X-Men. We can ready ourselves. Oh, sorry. We can ready ourselves. We'll attack for 2 into Unus first, and then we'll ready ourselves. 2nd Frostbite. Okay. We definitely knock out Pyro. I don't think we're going to be jumping down, so Triage can just do that. All right, so that was a pretty big, like 3 encounter cards. We actually drew like functionally 4 encounter cards that round, but we're still doing okay. We are 1 resource short of playing the Chill Out, which I wish we could, but we can't. Again, we have way more resource generators in the deck. We haven't found them yet. Snow Clone just does its thing. Snow Clone don't think. Snow Clone just attack. Villain takes 2. Angel and Shadowcat can clear playing with fire, which I think they will. So we're going to do thwart 1, 2, 3. Playing with fire says we discard the top 3 cards of the deck. We have to take 1 damage, 2, 3, ouch, 4 indirect. That hurts. Take 4 indirect. We'll do 1 on Shadowcat. We can take 2 to her face. Sorry, 3 to her face. Not using the X yet sucks. We had no 1-cost cards, so we didn't lose much. Losing the Beak sucks because Beak would be really, really, really good on this board, especially to clear endless ranks. So again, that's maybe why you play Make No Call. And then we'll just attack for 2 into Unus again, putting the 3rd Frostbite, which means we probably don't have to block. If we get double activated, worst case, we'll put an ally in the way. And we'll pass. I think there's a chance we should have held damage instead of the Chill Out. So let me just think about that. In theory, we learned some information, but we could have used the X-Jet. Because we have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. Yeah, we definitely should have kept this instead, because I think we can just win next turn. So let's hold on to the Arctic attack. To me, my X-Men. Chill Out. Okay, good. Children of the Atom. Snow Clone. All right. This goes to 2. We ignored this with Shadowcat's text. This goes to 4. Unus is attacking us for 0. So we won't take damage, maybe. So 3 minus 3. Plus 3. Ouch. We take 3 damage. Actually kind of scary. We could get knocked out to some like I think there's the card that says discard 2, take indirect if it's one of our nemesis cards. Okay, that's fine. So we should have lethal here. Targeted for not extermination, elimination. So this just comes in with 3 in a crisis, and when defeated, you get confused. That's it. I mean, it should be pretty straightforward. We'll attack for 2 into the villain. We'll frost it up. We cryokinetic. It's an ice card. Wow. So we ready. So we just got a way more damage on this turn. We have so much damage on this turn. We'll attack for 2 more into the villain. The villain goes down to 7. We frost them. Snow Clone will attack for 2 into the villain. Angel will attack for 2 into the villain. Is knocked out. Like, we have an absurd amount of damage on this turn. We'll play Snow Clone for only 1 because it's an X-Men. That readies us. Snow Clone has 3 health. Snow Clone and us attack for 4 into the villain. The villain is defeated. Shadowcat can attack for 1, just so we're on the same page of what we can do here. My Utopia is exhausted. We can do 1, 2 for Arctic attack. That does 6 more damage to the villain. 4th Frostbite. Again, their activations don't really matter. Here, we can just do two me, my X-Men, and see what happens. We have another X-Men slot. So we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, bummer. We get Pixie. Unfortunately, Pixie's text, oh, that doesn't get discarded, uniquely does not fire and when she enters play outside of your hand. So Pixie would just do 2 more damage to the villain. This would ready us for Utopia if we didn't have another ally, which is good. But that's it. I mean, that was a deck cycle. 1 deck cycle and like 1 hand. The deck is good. And like, leadership is so good with Frostbites. Because again, you can use these to protect your face. Obviously, we're a bit banged up. We have a 3 health upgrade coming up, and we could jump down this turn if we wanted to, because Unus is going to be scheming at -4. Like, it's not an issue whatsoever. Charizard. There's a great custom Sunfire hero that uses fire cards just like Iceman's Frost. They do 1 damage instead of reducing stats. That's sick. Yeah, I think I would definitely be quick to want to design the fire antithesis to Iceman, where these attach and they do some burn damage. Where like you only remove 1 a turn and they do damage of how many are attached, something like that. And then your cards are way better when you're attacking something that's already on fire. Very, very cool. Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good. It's arguably quite good. Maybe inarguably, but it's, yeah, I think like Iceman, you have to set up well. And that was a game where we opened with Uncanny X-Men and 2 playable allies on turn 1, which is not super consistent. But once you're set up, like, you're flying. Every activation does 2 damage plus minus to the villain. And it's hard to calculate how good that is. It turns out it's pretty good. Like, I do think all of the Frostbites we played this turn, we minus, like, how much stats did we remove from Unus? It's probably like worth looking at the VOD, but my guess is we removed about 9 or 10 stats. Like, we got 10 free healing and or thwart and no costs. Like, that's wild. Like, that's good. That's genuinely cool. And it's fun. Like, we have all the cool moving pieces. So yeah, huge Iceman fan. And this deck, I think the one things we could do with this deck is knowing how the changes work with like To Me My X-Men and Children of the Atom. Not that it showed up. You could cut some of the greedier cards. Like, you don't need, especially if it doesn't work with To Me My X-Men, like, you don't need to be playing. Where is she? Where's Sarah? Marrow? Marrow is like the one that's like very cute, but it's not super necessary. So you could definitely cut that. Oh, at some point I had the 3-cost card that says return an X-Men and an X-Force character and then replay them, which is another big reason why all our cards have enters play text, because they can fire. Hey, where is Sarah? But yeah, you can consider cutting that. And I think playing an honorary X-Men so you can jump down. Where'd she go? Wait, does anyone see Marrow? Oh, wait. She's at the top. That's why I can't find her. Be cool to keep a counter of Frostbite reductions. Yeah, I think we'll keep it, Joey, for the next game. Good luck with the rest. A way to see Odyssey. Heard it's like finding Nemo, so looking forward to it. Because there's a lot of fish in it. Enjoy. Hopefully you're seeing an IMAX or something like that. Do you have Kid Omega? So I don't. Tony, how's it going? Kid Omega's okay. After Kid Omega enters play, you can spend resources. The problem is our cost curve is like very high, so we don't often have the extra cash to play for Kid Omega. It's not bad though. I do think spending 1 resource to do like 1 damage or 1 threat, it's a bit board dependent, because if you spend 1 mental to do 2 threat, like, that's when it starts to get good. But I think as cheap as Kid Omega is and as good as Kid Omega, I mean, let's be honest, a functional 2-cost ally with 2 health that thwarts for 2 and has a kicker is almost definitely worth playing. But we're not. I don't know if we need to. I think there's a better allies. Like, I think I would want to play Forge sooner than that. The stats are not as good, but like, we have a lot of very important supports. But I think I'd play Forge sooner. And I think I'd play honorary X-Men sooner, just so we can jump down a bit more aggressively. All right, we're off against Dark Beast, I think. Let me just get out the standard cards and our Nemesis set. I don't think you need the infinites. No, not again today. And I don't think we need Dystopian. Does actually no, maybe Dark Beast uses Dystopian. It feels like it's been a minute. What am I doing? This. Cool. Everyone dislikes Quentin as he is a prick, so it's thematic we snub him. That's the character. That's Omega. Kid Omega. M is also good with Uncanny X-Men because her HP is higher when she's played and she can kill bigger minions. Oh, neat. Yeah, she is expensive though. Is she just M leadership? Wow, that's hard to search. Yeah, she's not bad. She costs 3, but she'll have 5 health. After she enters plays, defeat a minion with remaining hit points. I mean, that's good. The problem is like functionally playing a 3 cost, even a 4 cost card in this deck is like kind of hard. But I could see that being good. Especially because, yeah, exactly. Her hit points go up. We're missing 1 Dystopian Nightmare card. That's not good. That's our deck. Sorry about this. Iceman is expensive. Ice is also as close as we'll get to Emma's diamonds, so Coscard is absurd. Kid Omega's reformed and has been a hero for a long time. He's an abrasive, arrogant asshole. M is Monet Saint Croix. I feel like either Kid Omega or M are related to Magneto, right? And maybe the name should have made it obvious. Infinites. What is the last dystopian card? Oh, targeted. Yeah, right. It was on the table. I play M as often as I can. Love that character. Yeah, I don't know this character. There's a bunch of like X-Men that came out later on in the waves that I know nothing about. So that doesn't help. But all right, hoping not to play against dinosaurs for the 17th time. Cool. Polaris is his daughter. I know that, but I thought they also were. I think calling yourself just M feels like a Magneto reference. It's not, huh? And it would be cool if you play her in Danger Room and attach Danger Room training along with Uncanny X-Men. Man, I don't mess enough with like Danger Room training, and I don't like Voltroning allies too much. I don't know why. It just never like appeals to me. Voltroning allies is like, it's fine. I mean, it's good. It makes these upgrades that are not very consistent, super consistent. I should like it abstractly. I don't know why it's never spoken to me. It's because I don't like allies being the center of the game. I think that's the biggest issue. It's like I like our hero being the center of the game. And usually when you Voltron allies, they become the hero. Okay. Villain name Mr. Beast. Dark Beast's Bogus Journey. So we're going to be playing with Dystopian and we're going to be playing stock standard. So one of these modulars will get rolled in. So we can do the Savage Land, which boo the Savage Land, boo. I've played against Savage Land like 3-1 compared to the other ones just off random rolls. In fact, I don't even know what all the cards in Genosha and Blue Moon do, but I could tell you every card from Savage Land. So yeah, it is what it is. There's a couple cards here that are interesting. Dark Beast. Specifically, there's a couple cards that say Dark Beast activates with an additional boost card. So having allies in a pinch to block with it really does help with that a lot. Blue Moon 5 minions, they care about fighting one-on-one, I think. Again, I haven't played this one enough somehow. Genosha is about like hunting down mutants, so you get kind of like targeted for elimination kind of equivalent, which is good. And Savage Land says discard the top 3 cards of your deck and Retaliate 1, which like Retaliate 1 is good against allies, but I just have played against that one so often that doesn't make me happy. All right, so set the Blue Moon aside. In expert mode, we have some high-tech goggles. Cool. There's only one main scheme. It has 10, I think. Yeah. And 1 threat. If this is completed, we lose. Dark Beast, I really wish it got more encounter sets the way that we got for Thunderbolts, because there's so much ground to explore here. The villain is Dark Beast, comes in with 18 health. Schemes for 2, attacks for 2, but when Dark Beast attacks you, you do the special ability. We'll find out what that is, because reveal a random set-aside environment and shuffle the rest of the encounter set into encounter deck, deal each player an encounter card. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hoping for the best. Hey, Dan, Domino's a fun ally. That's why I do have Domino in the deck, which the only problem is she's not an X-Men, so she breaks up the team up. So you have to play Children of the Atom, which now I've learned doesn't work with To Me My X-Men, which is a bit upsetting. But we haven't seen her yet, but she's really good. The fact that you can make Cryokinetic a bit more consistent. Neither M nor Kid Omega are related to Magneto. They both came in his pack, so maybe that's what you're thinking. Yeah. But like, they seem like they should. I don't know. It's a strong M named character. Magneto's relatively famous are Wanda, Green Wanda, and Wretched Boy. What? Incidentally, Quicksilver and M are an item, so there's a connection. Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not 1, 2. Nice. We're going to the moon. We'll add one more eventually. We're going to the blue area of the moon. I think I've seen this one the least. So this says each minion gains guard. Easy to forget. So I'll just put this on the villain to remind me. But the special says deal 1 damage to your identity. So no matter what, we're going to take some damage. That's okay. We can deal with that. That's it. We're going to shuffle in this set, which has some pretty big guys like Gladiator and Manta and Warstar and Earthquake, and we'll see how it goes. I think at this point, Motoboy, yeah, they're no longer, the mutants are no longer Magneto's kids. I think that has been retconned. From my understanding, the timeline in which I read comics, they're no longer his children. In fact, behind me, I have like their early X-Men omnibus where they do show up and they're clearly his kids. But I don't think that's a thing anymore. Okay, Dark Beast. There's nothing really you have to do. You just want to make sure you don't get blown out by the draw card attacks of two boost cards. But like, Dark Beast isn't my favorite in the box. Probably my least favorite. I know for some he's the most favorite because there's some like modularity to it. But you're not required to do anything particularly special against Dark Beast. You just play like kind of generic good Marvel champions. Hey, Self-Destruct, love me some Iceman leadership. How are you? Hope you're enjoying it. I'm enjoying it pretty good. I do often play like aggression or protection with Iceman because all the upgrade cards matter and defending is really fun when you take no damage. But like leadership might be his best aspect because not having to defend and not using your allies to chump block is just like absolute treat with the Frostbites. How you doing? You excited for Friday? All right, let's just shuffle this. We should be off. Again, we had such a good setup, and that is the one thing I will say about this deck. This deck is incredibly expensive, and our early openings are sometimes a bit ugly, where it's like, hey, you play a 2-cost card, you play a 2-cost research generator, you pass. We were so fortunate to have a team up, or sorry, not a team up, our team card, and then 2 allies on turn 1. Like, we had such a good opening. Currently not blood related. He does treat them as his kids still, but he's not a great dad. Will most definitely be retconned back for MCU purposes. First instance of good MCU synergy, calling it now. Ah, neat. Okay. We're off. Alter Ego, not real text. 4 recovery is nice. 5 hand size, or sorry, 6 hand size. First, Power Belt. I mean, this is what I mean. It's a good card, but it's very likely we play Power Belt and another 2-cost card, and that's it. At least this is a good setup. It gives us more health. And for what it's worth, we want more health. Like Blue Area of the Moon just says, hopefully you have health, because if you get attacked this many times, you will just die. So Power Belt is probably a pretty good keep here. Genius for Power Belt. Just going to slide that into the must keep category. Shadowcat, probably not it. Very expensive. Doesn't have text, so probably the no keep. I should explain this. Usually when we mulligan, the top is like, we're definitely going to keep. This is the considerations. This is that we're not going to consider it at all. That's how I set up my mulligans. Utopia, also really important. Good thing about Utopia is if we have an ally, if we draw a cheap ally, we can get ready from it. But this is one of our most important setup cards. So this is what I mean. You usually play like 2-cost cards and do nothing else. But I think there's a chance that we can draw a cheap ice card and still play it like this. I mean, it's not that good. I'd rather actually have the attack one here because Chill Out is doing 1 threat. But so it's a maybe keep. It'll come down to what the rest of the hand is because we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Snow Clone is a bit better because Snow Clone actually is a uniquely. We've had good mulligans. Snow Clone is an ice card that can fire Utopia. Like, what is going on here? Our mulligans are so good. So we have 2 more cards to play Utopia. Genius plays Power Belt. Oh no, we're a resource short. I mean, I'll still hold on to it because it can get there. But we're gonna need a double. Because if we play Power Belt needs 1 for Snow Clone. I mean, there's 2 more doubles if we draw them, so be it. Real text on AE. I really like his AE ability. Oh no, his AE ability is one of my favorite in the game. I just mean on turn 1, it doesn't matter. His alter ego ability, just to be clear, to get this on tape, is one of the coolest alter ego abilities in the whole game. I love abilities that really incentivize you to go down to alter ego on certain turns that you've set up for certain reasons, and this is one of the, like, I wish more of the game was like this card here. It's so good. Hey Walrus, would love you to play Lord of the Rings LCG. I picked it up and replayed through the core set just like last week. I don't think I had the best time with it. That game is very much shows its age in terms of like you draw 1 card a turn. Hopefully that's enough to deal with it. But I do have a full collection. I have not played most of it. It's at some point something that probably will happen. He has the coolest AE abilities. I mean, we've been here all day. All right, build support, Chill Out. Okay, so not perfect. So this might be one of those turns where we play 2/2 cost cards and maybe play a build support and just like hang out, because I don't think we're gonna get value from all of these, but these are really important. So there's nothing else we can do here. So we can play Power Belt, waste its text, feels bad. We can play Utopia and then just like throw out a card. This happens on your startings way more than you think it does, which feels bad. The other options we can play instead, we can use Power Belt this turn. So we could do 1/2 for Power Belt. We could use Power Belt and a card to play Snow Clone. But then we're left with 2 cards, which is equally bad. We could throw out one of the cards to play Build Support. Ultimately, Build Support could get us Utopia, which is good. But ideally, we play Utopia while readying ourselves, right? But if I'm not missing something, there's no way to do this. Too late already clipped the previous comment. Hey, Villain Theory, who needs the mulligan when your opening hand is always fire? We had such a good mulligan in our first game. It was like Pixie, Snow Clone, and Uncanny X-Men, which I've never seen that good of an opening for Iceman. It was absurd. It was so good. Hopefully you're doing well. Oh, I should shout this out now because I can actually. Hold on 1 second. I think D20 kind of tweeted about it, or sorry, YouTubed it wrong because it didn't come out tonight. But regardless, I mentioned this on Friday and now the thing is up. You can see it right there, but this will come out on the 22nd. It's premiered at 1 p.m. But it's new reveals from Luke and Jessica Hero Pack, which Villain Theory invited 4 content creators. All their names are in there and they're linked to the accounts, including myself and D20. And I don't think I know exactly who the other 2 people are, but we'll find out at the same time. But yeah, there was some cards that were revealed that Villain Theory is like, I think these people might like these cards. And yeah, definitely the card that was shown to me, I like a heck of a lot. So that's coming up this Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So not too far away. Again, those are cards not from Fear No Evil, but from Jessica and Luke. So it's not like cards you're going to find out on Friday. Okay, I think that's the best we have. It's a shame not to use the Power Belt. At least it technically has text. It's a shame not to use Utopia, but like, hey, beggars can't be choosers. The high-tech goggles, it might be okay just to get rid of these. I think you just have to exhaust yourself. Exhaust your hero and take 1 damage to discard this. I'd rather do a Frostbite. Exhausting yourself is a bit expensive on this turn. Like a Frostbite is worth 1 extra damage. It's like worth 3 because we're not going to block and we attack for 2. So if we do this, we take 1 anyways. Yeah, maybe next turn, but I don't think we're going to do that anytime soon. So I think we're just going to play the Power Belt. So Power Belt comes in, gives us 3 health, which is good. We're pretty big at 14. Like we're, you know, Hulk classed heroes or She-Hulk classed heroes, I think. So this generates, it's going to get a red 3. Then I think we just play our next most important card, which is Utopia. So we'll play 2 for Utopia. Also has really good text on it. It says when we play an X-Men ally, our limit also goes up by 1, but we can ready ourselves. So we might just hold on to the Snow Clone. We won't have that much thwarting to do, but I mean, our deck has so many allies. The thing is, like, this is an ice ally that readies us. So like the synergy point on this is worth keeping. We'll flip up. I think the ally we looked at is in my top 2 of the 4 featured in the video of Wednesday. Yes, I can see that. It's really good. This Friday's gonna be so much fun. FNE weekend. Yes, I'm really hoping we get it in that time. Villain Theory, I heard that you posted that might not be that easy to get with your pre-order. Hopefully it's okay. Hey, HFT, how's it going? All right, we're gonna attack for 2 into the villain. Frost them up. So -1 on the attack. If you're not familiar, whenever we do a basic, we can do a freeze, a basic attack, or a defend. And so now Dark Beast is going to be attacking only for 1. And we'll hold on to Snow Clone, which is not the favorite preferred setup card, but it is guaranteed to be good next turn, so we will. 2, Ice Wall. Nope. 3, Arctic Attack. Probably not. Yeah. Yeah. Triage is going to be really important. I would love to have got Triage off of a To Me My X-Men so we can play him twice per deck cycle, because we're just going to take a bunch of incidental damage from Blue Area of the Moon. All right, goes to 2. Dark Beast is attacking with 1 with a Frost, but when Dark Beast attacks as an interrupt, we have to do the special on Blue Area of the Moon, which is just take a damage. So we're just going to get hurt slowly. So that means Dark Beast is attacking for 1 in a card. We don't care about that. Manta, 1 boost. Okay, we'll take 2. Unfrosted. 1 counter card. Time Travel Shenanigans. So this one, I think, gets you a card from the set, which is okay. It's usually minions. When defeated, the player who defeated the scheme discards cards from the top of the counter deck until they discard a card from the same setting and reveals the just discarded card. Do you think there's ever a conversation if they want to use the word thusly and they don't? They're like, we can't use the word thusly. We're going to look pretentious. So they use just discarded. Okay, so our allies still cost full cost because we don't have our team up. Triage technically hits all of his text. Otherwise, Snow Clone is a bit cheaper because of Power Belt and it can ready us. So maybe we would do 2 for Cryokinetic. Cryokinetic draws a card. We can see what that card is. But probably Triage is going to be held in our hand for another turn, which is slightly ugly. But I don't think we're going to play this. We're definitely not going to play this. And so we're going to play our Cryokinetic. All right, here we can get lucky. I think the odds are not really in our favor just yet because we've seen a fair few ice cards. I think more than on average. But if we can discard and get another ready, that'd be good. But we've already seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ice cards. So not great odds. I think it's like 7 and 20. Regardless, we're always going to attack for 2 into the villain to do our text. So we do this, and now Cryokinetic, we just hope. Ooh, good card, though. Unfortunate. We can't play it this turn. The thing is we had to play this first for its text. So I think now we're just going to set up with Snow Clone to ready ourselves and hold on to Uncanny for next turn. If we draw something that says Dark Beast Schemes, we might be in a bad spot, but maybe to like, I don't know. Attacking is so good because of the Frostbites. I don't want to ever get rid of the goggles, I'll be honest. So we're going to do 1 and Power Belt for a nice card to play Snow Clone. Snow Clone is an X-Men, so Utopia can ready any X-Men character. Comes in with 2 health. Notably, if we play Uncanny next turn, Snow Clone just gains a health, which is cute. A Snow Clone is going to do the thing Snow Clones are known to do, so attack the villain for 2. We have a Frostbite, so we're totally good there. And then either we can take a damage to discard high-tech goggles, or we can just do 2 damage and get a Frostbite. I'm just going to get a Frostbite, because that mitigates damage. Villain takes 2. We're exhausted. We'll hold on to this, because it's one of our important setup cards, and we still have a fair few allies in our deck. But once we get this down, it should pay for itself relatively quickly, let alone with Utopia. We have a really good setup. We found 3 of our most important setup cards. This is the 4th. Not in that order. 2, 3, Angel. Nice. Angel for 1 it will be great. 4, 5, Ice Blast. Unfortunately, not a lot of thwarting in this hand, but at least we found an ally, which is like the thing we want to make sure. We didn't draw into an ice card that we want to play, so maybe we'll play Arctic Attack off of Power Belt. If we draw a minion, maybe. But not great. This goes to 4. Darkbeaks attacks us, which means we take 1 damage from the blue area, but is attacking for 0, so we won't do anything. 0? 1 damage. Feels good. We have a panic blocker if we ever get double activated on, especially with the double encounter card. That's a lot of side schemes. Trial by combat. I don't even know this card. I don't think I've seen enough of the blue area of the moon set. So hinder 1, amplify. When defeated, shuffle each Imperial Guard minion in the counter discard pile into the deck, which is just Manta. So acceleration is usually a bit worse than amplify, but we don't have the threat work to deal with this. Doing very well. My local retailers would certainly not break Street Day, so I definitely did not spend yesterday playing Fear No Evil and loving it. That's a shame they didn't do any of that stuff. Damn. I think the thing that I'm so excited to open is like at the back with the comic, it usually teases the next box or wave or something like that. I don't think I want someone to spoil it for me, but I guess we'll find out on Friday. I'm so excited for a new box of the campaign. And the campaign looks good. It looks good. I really love the theme. Like, I think Daredevil's going to be something else. Okay, this board state's getting away from us, unfortunately. In terms of our thwarting cards, we've lost 2 chill outs. So that's not great. Not great, but we've done a fair bit of damage. We've done like 8 damage in 2 turns. So while setting up like this, which is good. I think no matter what we do at attack to see what happens with Cryokinetic, I don't think the order that we play things matters here. So we're just going to attack for 2 into the villain. And we want to do this in this order. So when Cryokinetic fires, we can go get a card and plan around that. So not likely to be a nice card. Oh, children. I mean, if we have 1 extra resource, we still haven't seen any of our X-Forces. So this might be good, but we did learn it doesn't actually work with too many of my X-Men, unfortunately. So villain's down to 2 and is slightly frosty. Snow Clone does its thing. No, actually, not necessarily. Because if we clear travel shenanigans, we might get a minion, and then we could do Ice Blast. So we should plan the turn out a bit better than this. Okay, Uncanny X-Men probably has to hit the table. Our least necessary cards are these 3. That means we can play Angel for 1, and then we waste Power Belt 1 more time. I mean, we're still setting up. I don't feel awful about it. But all of this is starting to get a bit much. We still have Beak coming up, and Beak wants us to have a lot of minions, or a lot of allies, excuse me. But paying 3 for Uncanny and then just playing Angel is probably the turn. Yeah. So spend 3 for Uncanny. This card's so good. I don't think we've seen a team up this good in a long time. So every character gets +1 health because they're X-Men. And if we only have X-Men, we have 1, they cost 1 fewer to play. So that means Angel, who normally costs 2 for X-Men, now only costs 1, which is just nonsense. Good numbers. So 4 health, 1 resource is just absurd. And we can now start thwarting for 1 or attacking for 2. Snow Clone does Snow Clone's thing, attacks for 2. And notably, of course, we had an ally interplay, an X-Men, so we can ready ourselves, or technically the Snow Clone, but ourselves is a bit better. we're just going to keep doing the thing where we're going to just keep hitting Dark Beast for 2 and frostbiting it. I mean, like, we're just going to get through this, I think. If Angel thwarts for 1, it doesn't hit a breakpoint on any of our cards besides like a 2 thwart ally. I think for safety's sake, maybe we want to do this, because if Dark Beast schemes, he schemes for 4 on a card, which is a lot, and we're adding 2 a turn. So I could see us losing to threat if we draw in advance. That's it. We'll pass. So we have to get a bit lucky here. Mirage, nice. We could use Mirage for a stun, which is good. If it doesn't activate, Dark Beast doesn't do his text, which is good. Prof, okay, that's really good. I forgot we have Prof in our deck. 2-cost Prof is absurd. Frozen Solid's not bad. Marrow is an X-Force, and Pixie can grab anybody from our bin who's an X-Men. And the fact that Pixie only costs 1 and then returns a card is goofy. And we can replay Triage. We could replay Beak if we had Beak. Like, a lot of good options there. This goes to 5. All right, the villain's attacking. We take 1 always, but Dark Beast is attacking for 1 with the Amplify. So we won't block against 1. So 1, 2, 3. That's another card that will be shuffled back. We take 3 if we clear Trial by Combat. Hunted. Okay, so now we want to consider jumping down to Alter Ego. I can't wait for Fear No Evil. I need to start getting decks ready. How do people interact with that? Like, I usually play the pre-cons first. Like, I haven't done any prepping for like building decks. Come Friday, we'll definitely play like the pre-cons through standard at a minimum, and then we'll try and do some deck building. Probably do like a pre-con, like 3 in 3 out kind of thing. Shout out to oh man, what's the name of the nice guy who does the 3 in 3 out stuff? But like, we're gonna do like simple modifications to the pre-con, and then from that point, we'll probably do some more ambitious stuff. Someone should know the 3 in 3 out person. I like their content a fair bit. Okay, so we want to go down to Alter Ego to get rid of that, but we have a lot of thwarting problems. But uniquely this turn, we have a Professor X. I think we can consider recovering, but no matter what, we're gonna get a ready. I think we just start with Iceman. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to attack for 2 into the villain. I think when Dark Beast advances, we probably have to get an encounter card, and then we'll fire Cryokinetic. We have to do this in Heroes. It's not like we can shuffle a card back. We get a 2-Meme X-Men, which I think has good targets still. We have Snow Clone. Domino doesn't work. Beak is really good off of this. No, so actually not very likely. Masked Hero. Thank you, Andy. Yeah, so it's not very likely to fire 2-Meme X-Men here. We have 2 allies and like 14 cards, and one of them doesn't work. Sorry, I think it's 3 allies and one of them doesn't work. I think it's Beak, Domino, and I forget who the last one was. Maybe it's not. I think we can just ignore side schemes here. Okay. Unfortunately, Power Belt is gonna wilt for a couple turns. Dark Beast currently is on 1-2 scheme, which means Mirage won't work. We could ready ourselves and thwart again to get a stun and a confuse, but this hand might not support it. Marrow cost full cost, which again, maybe Children of Adam is a bit ambitious. Pixie's good. Professor always gets played. And Frozen Solid could get play off the Power Belt if we have 2 resources left over, but it'd be pretty surprising if that's the case. So I think we'll do Professor X for 2, and we'll do 1-2. We're going to do the boring Prof X thing. We're just going to go for the confuse. Technically, also Professor X is a bit better with Iceman because reading Iceman is worth a bit more than usual. So we'll confuse Dark Beast, which is good for the jump down turn. Has 4 health, which sucks that we can't use it, but we haven't chump blocked with an ally at all today. And then we'll thwart for 3, and I think it'll be off of this, just to keep this in check. Because if we jump down, he activates, we're in a bad spot, and he has like 4 activate again cards, maybe 5, and we haven't seen any of them. Okay, we need to keep a card for Hunted. We probably can play Pixie. Snow Clone just does... Oh, wait, what happens when we advance Dark Beast? Because that's what the Snow Clone wants to do. I think we get an encounter card. Reveal a random set-aside environment. Put the encounter card into play. One of the environments just says put 1 threat on the main scheme, but Dark Beast only triggers that text when Dark Beast attacks, not when Dark Beast thwarts. I mean, this is a bit risky, but I mean, we're flying. Snow Clone will attack for 2 into the villain, and we'll advance. So Dark Beast 3. Force Interrupt. Special, only on the attack. Scheme's harder, though, which is maybe a bit scary. We have to do a 50-50 to reveal either the Savage Land or Genosha. So odd, Savage Land, even Genosha. I'm hoping for Genosha. Even it's Genosha. Actually, maybe we shouldn't have. That's the threat one. So reveal a random set-aside environment and shuffle the rest of its counter deck. Deal each player an encounter card. So welcome to Genosha. There can only be 1 in play. So Genosha says that villain gains steady. Oh, we've made a huge mistake. So that was a bad 50-50. So not only does his scheme go up, not only does this have bad text, but he gains steady, which means this confuse is now going to convert. Whatever. We'll be okay. These all get shuffled into the deck. And we get an encounter card. Man, I forgot this had steady on it. The other one has retaliate 1, which, I mean, that's fine. Okay, we probably still jump down though. 22 damage is not bad. We could hold Pixie for next turn to replay Professor X, which actually might be good. We could also just Frozen Solid Dark Beast to say like, okay, we can beat the Confuse. That might be better because we can use the Power Belt. I actually like that a bit. Team building seems a lot better than Power Belt, so you probably want 2, honestly. I'd very strongly consider 3. Yeah, I saw that like the version of this deck from 2 years ago that that Nelson put out had 2 Power Belts in it. Sorry, 2 team buildings, and I didn't get it, and now I understand. Like Power Belt you want anyways because +3 health matters, but like we have 1 team building. I could see us wanting to play 2. I think I'd play another team building over the Weapon X, because that is just a way more consistent card for sure. Okay, the issue is if we play Frozen Solid, we can't get rid of Hunted, so I think we don't. Mirage costs 2. I think we just play Pixie, and then Pixie thwarts for a bit, and then that's it. I don't think we do anything else clever. I think we just have to get rid of as much threat as we can. Okay, kind of awkward. Yeah, that was not great. Angel will thwart for 1. We'll spend 1 resource on Mirage. Oh, mind you, we can ready ourselves with Utopia. We'll play 1 resource for Mirage. When Mirage enters play, her text is not... Oh, we can make her text relevant. Still has steady, though. But if we want to attack again, we can put Dark Beast down to... Oh, now he'll be 2 threat. Yeah, so she just doesn't have text. So gonna come in with 3 health. She at least thwarts really good. Oh, she thwarts really good, too. So Angel, we probably won't use like that, because we can hit a breakpoint off of this. So she comes in, she'll thwart for 2 off the main. She has 2 more health. We have 3 ally slots. Or sorry, 4 ally slots. We have Pixie, which we can hold to play Prothex next turn. I usually run 2 team building 2, but sometimes just 1. So good here. Also loving the showdown between original X-Men. Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't get Hank as a hero, but maybe it's just a matter of time. I always play 2 team building for Iceman. Such a great card. Yeah, I don't think I realized that 2 is actually worth something. Oh, wait, no, we're discarding her to Hunted. Okay. So we can recover for 4. We can get rid of the high-tech goggles, which if he activates again is worth a fair bit. We have to place 1 threat on the main scheme to remove this, though, so it's kind of a wash. I think we just Frostbite him 1 more time. So we're just going to do 2 for Frostbite. And then Angel probably should just do 2 damage because clearing none of these actually like hits a breakpoint. So we'll hit 1 more to the villain, or 2 more to the villain. Maybe it's a matter of time, the time travel scenario. We'll jump down with Bobby. So we got to do our alter ego text with 2 ice. So we're going to put back in, I think, our thwarting cards. There's a chance with drawing... Oh, mind you, we should have another encounter card. There's a chance with multiple encounter cards, we could go for the AoE card. We shuffled in a whole lot of minions into the deck. No matter what, we're definitely going to put 1 chill out. I think it's likely we put 2 chill outs, just because dealing with the table would be kind of nice. And then we'll discard Pixie to deal with Hunted. All right, so we could lose this turn. I mean, there's nothing to it. We could just lose. I thought that's confused would work, but unfortunately, we rolled a bad 50-50. Our board state's good. We can't block with Professor. It's a shame that you can't, but we haven't blocked with a single ally today, and I'm hoping to not change that. The cool thing now is we can recover for 4, jump up, and then still fire Cryokinetic as long as we play an ally. So we really need to draw into an ally here. Otherwise, recovering is very expensive when you can't fire Cryokinetic and put a Frostbite. The chill out, I mean, we did shuffle these. 3, 4. Okay, perfect. Let alone amazing because we play this for free with the Power Belt. Ice Slide might actually be playable here. I don't often play it. And to me, my X-Men has, I think, only still 1 target in the deck. Actually, probably none. Because Domino doesn't work. Oh, Beak. It would have hit Beak there. But Beak is a really good target here because we have all our ally slots full. Yeah, so this should be good as long as we don't lose here. Okay, so this goes to 2. Dark Beast schemes for 2 with the goggles and then -2. So 1, 2. 3, good to get this. This is one of the bad cards. So it goes to 5 of 10. We could easily lose here. If Dark Beast schemes again, we're probably cooked. Which maybe that was on us. Again, it's like the scenario doesn't do that much. This was just like we drew too many side schemes and we didn't thwart it all. But it's not like, I don't know. Okay, Magistrate, that's good. Patrol is a bit hard. But Magistrate says when defeated, the defeated player finds escaped mutants and attaches it to identity. Patrol means we can't touch the main scheme, I think. The troll says, while a minion with the patrol engaged, that player cannot use their cards to thwart the main scheme. Okay, so a bit scary, but not the worst. And then we have whatever this is, Imperial Guardsman. Attach the minion. Okay. Attached minion gets +4 hit points. Jesus. Okay, that's a lot. When the attached minion is defeated, we put 1 threat on the main scheme. Okay. Not the end of the world, but not great. 7 health magistrate. So this is Blue Moon interacting with Genosha, which is cool to see that happen. All right, that's us. Prof X is not defeated, discarded. Temporary. Okay, so we got issues. We definitely have issues. We can recover, but I think there's a big chance we just have to hit the magistrate a lot of times. Luckily, we have good damage. Like we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the magistrate, that doesn't hit 7, but it gets there. I don't mind putting the things in so we can clear this, but we probably have to clear that. We have the double for the chill out. We have the snow clone for free, so that readies us, which is good. I think also there's a chance we just play Ice Slide here because getting our stats up is pretty good. That means we'll attack for 3, then we can do 4, 5, 6, 7, then we can ready ourselves. So I do think we actually recover for 4, then we hop up and we can play almost all of this hand. I think we can play perfectly this hand because this plays that readies us. This gives us up to 3 stats. Chill out is pretty good here, but I don't think we have to deal with everything. We just want to bring this down. So should be good. So we're going to recover for 4, which is nice to have a 4 recovery. Then nothing to do in Alter Ego. We'll flip up. Oh, and we're going to draw 1 more card. I forgot about that. So maybe this hand changes. We're going to do the Power Belt for sure to play a 2nd copy of Snow Clone. And it's an X-Men. So the Snow Clone costs only 1. And when the Snow Clone enters play, we'll ready ourselves with Utopia, which means we can draw a card here and sequence the turn a bit better. 3 health Snow Clones are so goofy. Okay. We probably need to attack the Magistrate. So that means we should likely do and play our first Ice Slide of probably 2026. So Ice Slide gives us +1 to everything. But if we jump down to Alter Ego, we don't discard it. We shuffle it into our deck. Hey, love. Oh, is he there? Yeah, please. Thanks, love. My brother-in-law is at a board game store. He's like, there's a thing that you want. I don't know if you all played Compile, but Ox 1, which was like the first, like, I guess it's a small expansion. It's like 18 cards, I think, maybe slightly more. It's finally in stock, and he knows. So he asked, do I want to pick it up? The answer is yes. If you haven't played Compile, it's pretty sick. But I think it's more of a Netrunner overlap than a Marvel Champions overlap. Okay, we'll attack for 3. Cutting this down to 4 and frosting it, which we're going to waste the frost. Like, we're attacking this. I do think it hits a breakpoint because now the Snow Clones clear it. But in theory, the Snow Clones taking 1 consequential is like totally fine. We can do our cryokinetic though. So we're going to discard. We would love to ready. We don't. We drew this, which I don't know if it's worth playing. Our people have too much health. This is the one proxy we're playing from the future. Shout out to my lovely partner who printed this. But it says that we can have +2 thwart and +2 attack to our 1 health allies. For this, like, it's really good with the Snow Clones, and maybe it's actually we want to go to the way to get the Snow Clones down to 1 health. But I don't think we need it for the setup. We have nobody at 1 health this turn. That means we waste a card though. We play 2 Mima X-Men, we strand 2 cards. Yeah, not great. Oh, we're not ready, mind you. Yeah, okay, so we'll do 2/2. We'll clear the Magistrate, which puts 1 threat here. Okay, so Dark Beast has a big attack this turn. We definitely want to chill out something. I don't think holding on to me X-Men makes sense because the deck only has Beak in it. If we draw 5 cards here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like nearly guaranteed to find Beak next turn though, and 2 Beaks in a row is good. So I'm going to hold on to it. If we draw Beak, it's unplayably bad, but it's a 50% chance we don't draw into Beak. So I think we might want to hold on to it. I mean, maybe we should just play Righteous Purpose because of the new card. It will matter next turn. I'll hold on to this. I think it's going to be more fun to see what it does. So play a chill out. We're going to remove 3 threat. I mean, we could clear this. And I don't think the text really matters, but if Dark Beast schemes once, we lose. So this is really good because it's functionally forced for thwart. Sorry, it functionally thwarts for 4 because we remove 3 from this. And then if Dark Beast schemes, he gets 1 less. All right, Mirage will thwart for 2. Just get that ready. I think Angel will just push damage here. We get thwart 1 to clear all of this. I mean, that's also fine. Yeah, that's fine. And we'll pass. We'll hold on to Righteous Purpose, which I thought I had the card scan. I don't yet, so my apologies. And we'll pass. We also defend really well. So 2, Death Focus, nice. Double for Righteous Purpose is perfect. We want an ally. We do have an ally, but it's not an X-Men. So it won't ready us because we don't have our children. But Domino's really nice with Ice Slide, or sorry, with Cryokinetic. So if we draw an ice card, we can set it up, and we do. So it probably is worth playing. But the issue is if all our allies are not X-Men, we lose the resource generation for the future. So she's very expensive to play unless you commit to the children, which we did not play the children in the Atom when we found it. Because all your X-Men allies get +1 health, but if all your characters are X-Men, the allies cost 1 fewer to play. So as soon as we play her, she makes everything else more expensive. That means that Beak was very nearly guaranteed, and Beak probably was better to hold on to Righteous Purpose, but at least Mirage will thwart for 4, Angel will attack for 4 this turn. Goes to 2. Villain's attacking us. We're on 9 health, is attacking for 2, considering the Amplify and the Frostbite. We could defend for 3. Cryokinetic is not likely to succeed. No, it's a 1 in 3 chance of succeeding. So I'm not sure if we want to defend here. The defense might over-defend. We're at the point where putting a lot of Frostbite and jumping down is actually like a pretty good play because we can shuffle all the best cards in our bottom of the deck. And then also we won't deck out this turn. So I think we're just going to take it. We should be ready. So we're getting attacked for, again, 1, 2, -1, +1. So for 2, 3, another Evil Genius is really fortunate because that card is horrible. It's one of Dark Beast's worst card. Oh, mind you, we put a threat here because of Genosha. War Weary. We're stunned and we take a damage, I think. You're stunned? Oh, if you're already stunned, take it 2 damage. Okay, so we just are stunned, which hurts. Being stunned actually is like pretty expensive for Iceman because we can no longer fire our card draw and we can no longer do our stuff. It's actually really, really expensive to be stunned, which means we definitely want to play an X-Men. The problem is we can't play an X-Men, so we should have not kept on to this. We should have, at least result-oriented, held on to Me My X-Men because it was guaranteed to, I don't know. It like made sure if we kept on to Me My X-Men, if we didn't draw into our Beak and we held onto that, like no matter what, we'd fire Utopia. Because the problem is this turn we can't fire Utopia, and Utopia is really good. So I think holding on to Righteous Purpose was probably like not right. I mean, there's a 1 in 6 chance that we whiff on To Me My X-Men. Oh, it's actually more than that. It's a 2 in 7. So I don't know. I think we still should have held on to it. Okay, so I think this hand is like play Righteous Purpose. These things thwart harder. The Snow Clones, we actually want them to get hurt, which is funny. Righteous Purpose just says all the characters with exactly 1 health have +2 thwart and +2 attack. It doesn't mean the Snow Clones can attack, but it means we don't mind if they attack. And on this turn, it's actually hard for us to get a Frostbite down. We can then play Death Focus and then play Chill Out for free with our Power Belt and Death Focus. That will remove 3 threat, which could be a good turn to clear this. And then actually we could get a Frostbite. She thwarts for 4. We could get a minion play by clearing this, but I think we just do... Angel could... we're not decking out this turn. So I don't know if we actually have to use Angel here for tempo. I think just keeping this down is the most important thing. We will attack to get rid of this. We don't want that. We'll then use Domino, play Death Focus. Once per turn. We can exhaust this. Reduce the next cost of our superpower by 1. Notably, all our cards are only played during the hero phase, so that should work. We'll play Righteous Purpose to see what this does. Again, I can't pull this up. I thought this was in there, but this is a card that's going to come out in Luke Cage in about a month or so. So now Angel has +2 attack. Mirage has +2 attack. We're just going to send the Snow Clones into the face, and they will take a consequential, so we can get them closer to being righteous Snow Clones. So the villain will take 4. This can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more damage, which is not lethal, but we're getting there for sure. And this is before our first deck out. We'll do 1, 2 for Chill Out. So we'll definitely freeze Dark Beast. Then we'll move 3 threat. We'll just clear this. We don't need to use these guys now because they're not going to deck out. But I could see us wanting to use Mirage to clear Trial by Combat. Oh, if that's the case, we'll just use Angel, I guess. So Angel will clear Trial by Combat. And so we have to shuffle all Imperial Guards back. I think we're more likely to lose to the Amplify than the other thing. But Imperial Guards go back. I think it's just like Magistrate and Warstar. Yeah. Or sorry, Manta and Warstar. All right, Dark Beast is only attacking us for 1, which is pretty good. We won't use Mirage. Next turn we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage. And maybe we can ready ourselves. But not very likely. At least when the deck is only 3 cards, we'll have better ideas on the odds. Yeah, not using Utopia really hurts. We definitely wanted to play an ally every turn. All right, we'll pass. No reason to use Mirage now. We'll drop. Ice Blast, so there's only 1 more ice card, I think, in the deck. Team Building. Okay, so now the deck has no ice cards. I think Cryokinetic is doomed. To me, which there's still a beacon there, but there's the beak, and beak is so good because it will clear a lot of thwart. We might have wanted to play around that and let the main scheme or side scheme stay, because when beak enters play, we ready ourselves and remove like 4 threat at once. So this goes to 3 because Dark Beast attacks and we have an amplify, and the villain's going to attack only for 1 with the Frostbite. We won't block that. 1 boost. We take 1 damage. Nowhere is safe, so we just put 1 Pursuit by the Pass counter. All right, 1 counter card. Targeted. I mean, this is what we drew last time on the turn that we're going to win. I don't think we're going to win this turn. We also did that last time we drew this. But this comes in with 3 threat and a, what's it called? A Crisis. So the deck is 2 cards. None of them are Frost cards. So Cryokinetic doesn't really matter. We do not have lethal this turn, I don't think. But we're getting close. There's this funny anti-synergy where Beak is like worse when it has +1 health because it's longer before we find Righteous Purpose. And I think I'd rather use Beak faster. But just so we're on the same page, Snow Clone can attack for 2. We can't do damage to them to make them attack for 4, but 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're short 4 damage. We can ready ourselves 11, 12, 13, 14. No, we have lethal. We just have lethal here. So nothing flashy. We did this before we decked out. So we'll just do, it doesn't really matter. 1, 2. Oh, and we also had more damage with Ice Blast. Yeah, we're fine. So we'll attack for 3 to the villain. Villain takes 3, gets frosted. Cryokinetic draws a card. It's a 50-50, but it doesn't matter, so I won't roll a die. That's it. We'll do a Snow Clone for 2, Snow Clone for 2. In theory, we should attack with the Snow Clones first, put them down on health before all of this. But the villain goes down to 7. Mirage will attack for 1, but with Righteous Purpose, she attacks for 3. She's knocked out. Then we'll just do 1. It's 1. I'm just going to keep counting cards. Beak comes into play. We could remove more threat here. We'll just remove 3 threat from the main scheme, I guess. Oh, yeah, whatever. We'll confuse ourselves. This Ice Slide was fine. We'll use Utopia to ready. We'll attack for 3 into the villain, and then Beak will attack for 1. Cool. That's it. I mean, yeah, that's a Dark Beast. I think Dark Beast doesn't really do that much. I think it's way probably more interesting when it comes to multiplayer, because a lot of Dark Beast flavor is about the encounter deck, and with multiplayer, you just see more of the encounter deck. We didn't see that many cards. I think we drew like no Genosha cards, 1 Genosha card, and we drew like 3 Blue Moon cards. So it was mostly just like generic Dark Beast stuff. We had more damage here. We could have played this more efficiently, like even set up the X-Chat, but before we decked out, we had enough damage, and there wasn't that much to deal with. We drew like, I think 1 minion, so we just went face. I mean, it's good. Was this that good? Honestly, no. It probably shouldn't be in the deck, but it's fun to play with this. The Snow Clones attacking for 4 every turn is like a lot of damage. And it's funny how you want to take them, you want to attack with them aggressively to give them damage, which I don't think I've ever done that before. I forgot to check. Oh, I forgot to track how much damage we're meant to reduce with Frostbites. My guess is this game, we probably reduced, I would say 8 or 9. I think we got 8 or 9 free damage or thwart mitigation. I totally forgot. Sorry, I need to be able to do that better. I will for sure remember for Sabah Nur. And for Sabah Nur, it'll probably be a bit more interesting too, because it's a bigger villain. Cool. That Ice Slide actually was pretty good. I kind of like that. It felt good. Especially because you can ready yourself. So the Ice Slide is way better than like when I play it in Protection, because you're readying yourself aggressively. Okay. Finally, we're on our final boss, Sabah Nur, which is a big one. Very, very big one in a couple ways. There's a bunch of extra activations, which is something that can catch you off guard. So while we've gone this far with never blocking with an ally, this is the most likely scenario today that we'll have to block with an ally, because Sabah Nur can just activate 2 or 3 times on you if you're unlucky. So allies for chump blocking will give us a lot of safety. There's no gene pool. I always think there is a gene pool, but there's not. So we're not going to be punished for blocking if it comes to it. Oh, we haven't drawn Drawing Near yet. That's a fun card. All right, just let me separate the requisite parts. We haven't drawn our obligation. Our obligation is really good. And I like our obligation because it pulls you in the direction, like the solution to the obligation pulls you in 2 opposite directions, right? So hot-headed, and you see Beast there going for a dive. After you attach a Frostbite upgrade to an enemy, take 1 damage. And that's forced. Notably, your response, or sorry, your hero text, I don't know if it's forced. It might not be. Interrupt, no, it's optional. So you don't have to do Iceman's text if you don't want to. But you kind of want to, because obviously they're good texts. And if you're jumping down to Alter Ego, you don't have any confuse in your kit as much as you could freeze something solid. So jumping down to Alter Ego generally wants you to do that sort of thing. But the cool thing with the obligation is after you make a basic recovery, discard this card, but you want to add as many Frostbites as possible before you jump down so you can do your alter ego cool off text. So it forces you in two directions, which is like you want to Frostbite max to jump down, but it's inherently painful to do it when you're going to jump down. Excuse me, do you have a Lord of the Rings LCG channel? No, I don't. I've never played Lord of the Rings online. I haven't played a lot of Lord of the Rings this year. I've only played like maybe 3 or 4 games. My partner and I are technically in playing through the sagas because we got finally all the saga boxes. But no, it's not something I've set up. I think setting up a rig for it probably wouldn't be that difficult. I think the scans are, I don't know if the scans for all the encounter cards. Yeah, they probably exist on like Hall of Bjorn or something. I mean, maybe it's doable. I'll be honest, like it's a really, really cool game. And I got really into it during the pandemic, especially because I can play with my partner and it has a narrative and a story. And she's much more into Lord of the Rings than like Marvel stuff. And arguably maybe sometimes I am too. But yeah, I do think particularly for solo play, I don't find it as interesting as Marvel Champions. It's more like a puzzle game than like a card game, if you know what I mean, kind of. It's an older game and like there's 8 or 9 phases. You draw 1 card a turn, right? Like it has a lot of old card game design fundamentals, which drawing 1 card a turn, if your draw's bad, your turn is bad. It's usually that simple. And so like all the good decks I played in that game usually have like a lot of busted economy stuff. It's like, oh, did you set up with the you know, what's it called? The thing that gives you 2 resources a turn. Did you draw the one upgrade, the lore card that allows you to ready your hero once a turn? Like it is very much compounding value in a very obvious way. I don't know. I need to play more of it. It's been a while. And the thing is like a lot of the later sets that I haven't experienced are way more interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 1. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not there. There you go. All right. Sabah Nur. How many folks who play Marvel Champions play Lord of the Rings? I reckon there's a pretty big overlap, huh? It's Apocalypse. I think for the sake of things, I have to say that his name is Sabah Nur for the setup, but technically the villain's name is Apocalypse. We start on stage 2. No, that didn't work. Huh, hold on. Does my system work for this? Excuse me. 1 second. So I have basically like logs on my computer that have all the names of the cards that they have to pull up. So when I say like advance the main scheme, it knows what the next one is. The issue is it gets a bit tricky when the villains have the same name that I have to like pull up a certain name. Otherwise it will always pull up the first Apocalypse. So I just haven't played on Sabah Nur in a while. What did I store it as? 1 second. I didn't. Okay, so there's no automation for this whatsoever. So we have to do this by hand. Bummer. Okay. So in Sabah Nur, if you don't know, is one of these like 3 forms. So there's the Biomorph form, which does overkill and indirect damage. There is the Retaliate form, the Cyberpath form that places threats on each scheme in play. That is disgusting text. And then of course there's the Big form, which is the one actually I don't mind fighting the worst. It has the most, I think the biggest stats. It's Stalwart, which sucks when you set up a Confuse and it jumps to Stalwart. So this feels, I think, much more interesting than like fighting against Thanos or Loki in terms of like unpredictability. It is a lot of health. Like you have to get through 44 health, which is not the most, but it is a fair bit. But you can't just get on the wrong side at the wrong time and lose to that relatively quickly. Like if you're jumping to the side that adds 2 threat to every scheme and you had like 3 schemes on the table, it feels awful. This side attacks only for 1 and schemes for 3. So if you jump down to all 3 go and it flips, like you have to be prepared for everything, which sometimes that's exciting. But I'm not the biggest Sabah Nur fan. I know a lot of people really like it. I like original Apocalypse, the first Apocalypse way more than this. If it gets enough of my money, but they have been heavily advertising Lord of the Rings card games on Amazon, I've been tempted by the rings. Check out the core set if you can. That game is functionally out of print from my understanding. Hopefully I don't say something that's wrong because I'm not too well versed in it. But from my understanding, it's not really in print. They've just been re-releasing older content. And even that I think has come to an end. But like, if you can just pick up the core set, there's a fair bit in there to enjoy. And the core set is quite difficult. It is really quite difficult. They even mentioned this in the last interview with Tony that Boom Guy did, where like one of the big differences between Lord of the Rings and Arkham Horror, or sorry, Marvel Champions, is in Marvel Champions, they wanted to have it so that you can play any deck versus every villain, right? So if you have your leadership Iceman deck, it should work against every single villain. But that's actually like a really big difference with Lord of the Rings, is a lot of the times you have to deck build for the scenario. For some people, they don't like that. I don't mind it. But yeah, deck building for scenarios is a bigger thing, which is why the game kind of plays more like a puzzle game. And so you don't often like play full campaign mode. You can, in fact, for the what's it called, for the books we are playing it. But a lot of times I'd be like, in this scenario, these are the problems presented to you. And so you have to use your collection to deck build around it, which is neat. And that's why it's like a really good solo game, because it gives you a lot to think about, even between games. But I'm the sort of person who wants to rock up with a deck and play like, kind of like campaign mode in Marvel Champions or Arkham Horror. Okay, so we have Sabah Nur. Let's see if we can find this. Sabah Nur. That worked. Okay. So Sabah Nur. Staggering Strength is wild. There's a bunch of cards that change form. There's a bunch of really bad side schemes that change forms. Celestial Tech is like such a cool encounter set. And speaking of that interview, they talked about making encounter sets a bit too similar when it came to Civil War. And so you miss the weird encounter sets that come alongside this. In fact, two of the encounter sets here are super, super strange. We've never seen anything like them. One of them has this permanent scheme, Ancient Ritual, which starts on the table. And there's a whole bunch of cards that put threat on Ancient Ritual. It's probably a bit worse in multiplayer. But this one, if it hits 10 threat, you remove 5 and give each player a face down encounter card. So it's like a hazard card that shows up intermittently. That's probably way worse in multiplayer because it's each character, not just a single hazard icon. But it's something you can always target for threading, or extra thwart will go there, but it's not a huge priority to clear. But you have to make some decisions. The other thing is Celestial Tech, and Celestial Tech is like 2 of these attachments that attach to Apocalypse that you cannot discard them, and then fire whenever Apocalypse attacks or thwarts. And based off the icon of what you discard from the top of your deck, it will do something. And if you discard the right icon, it discards themselves. Again, they mentioned this, like that was one of the upsides / downsides of Civil War, is a lot of the encounter sets are so samey because they needed to get like, reasonable, repeatable, similar encounters between multiple people playing PvP. So a lot of the sets are like, the same thing, like 3 minions, a side scheme, and a treachery. All the minions have the same health approximately. All the minions have the same when revealed approximately. And so things got a bit samey, as opposed to this, where like every single encounter set of this is like so weird. And I appreciate that a lot more. Okay, Sabah Nur's Pyramid. Oh man, there's so many cards with the same name. So we're going to play with the stock standard, so Celestial Tech and Clan Aqaba. We're going to begin playing in Biomorph form, and we're going to deal each player a face down encounter card, which is pretty easy to forget sometimes. Then we flip this over. There is 2 main schemes, so one of them can go through and has this sort of like kind of inevitability scaling of something like Magneto or even Zola, where after resolving step 1 of the villain phase, place a power counter here. If there are at least 4 power counters here, not then, but if, so no matter how power counters are added, you fire this text. If there are at least 4 power counters here, your first player removes 4 of them, discard cards from the top of the deck until a superpower card is discarded and reveals it. So very similar in some ways to Magneto, except how it fires is, I guess, different than Zola, but it's similar to Magneto. So every couple turns, and there's ways to add more counters to this, I think, through the treacheries. You will just probably get activated on, or a big side scheme will come out. And almost all the superpower cards involve Apocalypse changing form or caring about what form he's in. So this is where, like, when there's 3 counters on there, you have no idea what Apocalypse is going to get up to. Okay, Apocalypse on Sabah Nur. I think I stored these as ESN to search them up quickly. Yeah, apparently I did. That's good. Good for me. We're going to start in Biomorph, and we start with 1 encounter card. We start in Biomorph, right? Yeah. So 3 attack, 1 scheme. So this is why you're incentivized to, like, one of them is even, one of them is 3-1, the other one is 1-3. So you want to be on the right place at the right time. Attacks gain overkill, and after Apocalypse changes this form, deal 2 indirect damage to each player. Not the worst. I don't think that has killed me before. The one that he adds 2 threat to every scheme is way worse, because there's guaranteed to be at least 2 schemes. Yeah. Go watch Odyssey. Jai, I think I should. I don't know if we have an IMAX theater. Did you see it in IMAX? How's it going, by the way? Did Bangoon win in Lille in France? There was like 3 Bangoon decks, I think, in the top 8. I think one of them was in the finals. I just didn't see if Lost Geek took it. That's mostly it. We just have to play clean Marvel Champions. It definitely feels like a boss fight because he hits hard. The thing is, like, our Frostbites do play around the Stalwart that can suddenly show up, but we can't really count on a Confuse. It'd be nice with 1 scheme if we can find a Mirage early, but we'll find out. I think I'm missing some Nolan films. I don't think I watched the last one. Van Gun 1. Oh, it's Pincel. Excuse me. I was pretty brutal. Was it streamed? Or did you just hear about how it went? Okay, so we'll reset our hit points to 11, and we should be off. All right, so nothing too special. Our setups are clunky. we haven't had the worst setup so far, but you know how it is. We want to find our upgrades that give us resources and readies and all that sort of stuff. Getting at least one copy of a Frostbite and Apocalypse would be pretty good. And we're going to count how much we've saved off of Frostbites. Here we go. Ice Blast. We're not going to keep that for sure. It's way too expensive. It does 3 damage. No. Uncanny. I mean, we've opened with this now twice out of 3 games. This is I would say very much keep, maybe not 100%, but it's like one of our most important cards. I watched Odyssey normal mode, but my rewatch IMAX in Malaysia. Tickets are way too expensive here. I have no idea what an IMAX ticket costs. That's actually really good. I don't think I've been to an IMAX theater since like going to the Science Center in Toronto as a kid. Like I don't think I appreciate the difference between an IMAX theater and just like a really big theater. To me, my X-Men, I'm like at the point too where I get annoyed going to movie theaters because every time I go to a movie theater, there's like one asshole who's talking or on their phone. And like that ruins it for me so much. When I watch a movie at home, like I want to sit on the couch in silence. My partner wants to talk and I don't. And I kind of, it's probably not a good look for me, but like I just want to focus on it. And so like when the movie theater, there's so much other stuff going on. Man, last time we went to movie theater, the person that sat in front of us just smelled so bad. Like, I don't know. I'm getting worse and worse at social interaction. We probably don't keep this. 5 is Marrow. We definitely don't keep Marrow. Not an X-Men, so she doesn't become cheaper here. We don't want to rush out damage, but she has a good body if she costs 1. And another 2 Meme X-Men. Okay, let's think about this. Okay, so these are really good. The issue with these cards is we can play both of them and do nothing, which is not uncommon for an X-Men opening. Uncanny X-Men makes our X-Men cheaper, which would be quite nice if we drew an X-Men with this hand, but we don't. Now, Death Focus is also very good. We don't have any superpower we want to hold on to, so I think we'll just discard this 4 and hope to draw something good. The issue is if you draw into some of your better cards and then you're using those like good setup cards to play these, like then you lose the setup cards on the first cycle. People don't know how to behave in public anymore. I mean, like, I don't know if it's getting worse. I think I'm just getting less tolerant about it. This is getting clipped out of context really bad. But as I get older, I just think my patience is less. I think people are always like this. I don't know. I don't know. Movies have been a bit hit and miss. Okay, Beak is not bad for 1 cost. If we can play Beak, we need a double for that to be really good. Okay, that's fine. That's some of our AoE damage, which there's not too many minions. Angel could also cost 1, so kind of Beak pilled. And then Please a double. Weapon X, a card that I don't think should be in the deck. So this is our hand. So we can do our maths here. So we want to do 1, 2, 3. We can play Uncanny. And then we can play Beak, or we can just set up with Death Focus. And it's not uncommon for our setups to be like this. The issue is Apocalypse is attacking us for 3 in a card, which is not a good time to not have allies just in case. But I think the setup here is so good. It's just a bummer to have Beak because you want to draw Beak later because Beak is absurdly good. So I think we'll just do the setup. So we'll play 3 for Uncanny, 1 for Death Focus, and pass. So we didn't get any value off of these cards, but I mean, our next 5 card hand should be good. Definitely becoming old man, shaking fist at Cloud. Yeah, it's a circle of life. You always think you wouldn't. And then the Cloud is like really annoying. Used to work as a projectionist in the cinema for 15 years. Watched nearly everything in theater on my own, previewing the film prints. Can't sit in a movie with other people now. Too distracting. Tell me about it, right? Like that's wild. My family's like really into films. My sister, when she was in university, she would work at a cinema and the money was nice, but it was more so because she could watch everything. And she was definitely the person who watches everything. My partner and I have been trying to do it this year where we buy like a pass that gives us 1 ticket a month to go see more films. I've been way worse at it than her. She goes to see at least like 2, 3 films a month. This year's been really good for horror films too, which has been really good for her. I'm less horror film pilled. We just watched Obsession at home. It was good. It was quite good. All right, Iceman, freeze. Attack for 2 to the villain. Put a Frostbite, pass. I mean, this is good, but like this is what your setup usually looks like. All right, not an X-Men. Not an X-Men. This has an X-Men on it, but it's not an X-Men. X-Men. Nice. I don't want to chump block this turn, but this hand is going to make us chump block. I mean, when we have Prof X, what else do we do? So this goes to 2. We're going to get 1 counter. This is the I guess we'll pull up the text on this one. It's so long to write the name of this. Sabah Nur Pyramid. So this one just says, again, during step 1, you put a counter here. Just a power counter, not a thematic name. That's fine. Very Netrunner coded. And then when it hits 4, we have to do a bad thing. So that's fine. We'll just keep that in mind. Now, Sabah Nur is going to attack us. This is the Biomorph 2. So it's attacking us for 2 in a card. This will be our frost counter of how much we've mitigated. So currently we've mitigated 1 damage on this Apocalypse attack. So it's attacking for 2 in a card. We'll just take it. We're not going to defend here. So 1, 2. I mean, I don't want this to change form because we have a Confuse in our hand. Bummer. After his activation, change the giant form. So our damage is useless. This is like the worst thing that we could have done. So we're only taking 2. So we mitigated 1. But then we changed the giant form. And in giant form, he heals 2. Tiny text, but he heals 2, which means all the damage we've done to him is undone. So he's straight back up at... Wait, why is he on... He should be on 18. We only did 2 damage to him. He should be at 20. What did I mess up? Why is he at 18? He should be at 20. Yeah, because we just attacked for 2. Weird. Okay. Why not stay down after turn 1? Thanks for the gameplays. Hey, Koirora. Actually, that's a good idea. We could have considered staying down for sure because he only had 1 thwart. The thing is, like, it can't be predictable. Like, if he changes into the other form and then thwarts for 3, it's bad. But I could see us jumping down and staying down. The only thing that we lost is we lost 2 damage. Turns out it was useless. And we lost the Frostbite, which was not that useful either. So, like, maybe staying down was fine. It was not something I considered, but it's something I should have considered. Yeah, I think it was actually a pretty reasonable consideration. You just have to watch out, though, because Apocalypse can suddenly change to the form that he thwarts for 3, and it's bad. There wasn't a little stream, but I heard about the nutty openings like Spin, Expend, Eminent. Jesus. And Ice Green Mail, Tucana to Bioac. I want to see that deck in person. It doesn't look like it has enough money. So maybe you are expending a lot. Biomorphic. If Apocalypse is in Biomorph form, he activates against you. That would have happened. Otherwise, change Apocalypse to Bioform and place 1 power counter on the main scheme. I mean, things are bad. So we just do this and he changes to Biomorph form. When he changes to Biomorph form, we have to take 2 damage. So he doesn't activate, which is good, but we just take 2 damage. And this is what I mean. Like, it's very, very not predictable on what form he'll be in and what he activates. Like, he's already changed form twice. If he didn't change form, he would have attacked us again for 3. So that ultimately this is pretty good. And then this is a card that when we clear it, he will change forms or activate. Source of Power. When defeated, if Apocalypse is in Biomorph form, he activates, which will happen. Otherwise, change to Biomorph form and give him a tough status card. It has 5 and an Amplify. These side schemes always have like 5 or 6. Probably just 5, which is a lot for a single side scheme that doesn't scale to player count. So like, I mean, that's a pretty good opening. That was the 2 encounter card opening, so it should be higher on tempo for us. Luckily, he did leave giant form, so at least our Professor X Confused can do something. So, I mean, mixed, not too bad. Mixed, but not too bad. So Prof X can play for a double. We can obviously attack for 2. If we jump down and recover, we full recover, but we don't have a Utopia with this hand. This hand could also play Superpower Training, and we can use Superpower Training and clear it with the Professor. And when Superpower Training is cleared, we go get an upgrade, right? Oh, this is the other version of it, but that's fine. Yeah, when we clear it, we go grab an upgrade. That means we can go get a Cryokinetic right away. That's not awful. We can also do 2 Me My X-Men. It gives us an extra hand size next turn, but we don't have huge reasons to do that, and we don't have a superpower in this hand. I think this is not bad. I think Professor X thwarting for 3 off of the 2 feels a bit rough. But I think getting our Cryokinetic right away is pretty good, because then we can draw a card and actually play To Me My X-Men, and hopefully it hits. I think so far we've hit 1, 2, 3 X-Men. There is, I think, still 8 in the deck. I don't mind this play. We'll play Domino into Superpower Training. We'll spend a double for Professor X. We won't block with Professor X, but we're trying not to chump block today. And after Professor X enters play, we actually do get the Confuse off of Apocalypse, because he's no longer in Stalwart mode. 4 health. We play the Superpower Training, we'll just thwart it. We remove this, and we can search our deck for an upgrade. And so now we can go grab our Cryokinetic, which was on the bottom. And now we can do our thing. So now when we activate, we can draw a card and play To Me My X-Men and hope for the best. So good turn there. We have a lot of hoping this turn, but that's why Cryokinetic and To Me My X-Men is so exciting, because you don't know what's going to happen. It feels bad when you whiff. Of course it does, but... Okay, so now we're going to... I mean, we could thwart for 1, but we want to have our Frostbite so we can fire our attacks when we jump down. So we'll hit the villain for 2. We Frostbite them. Cryokinetic fires, and we draw. I mean, that's both good and bad. It's good because we have our Snow Clone, but that's an X-Men that's out of the deck. So here, if we jump down, there's not too many cards we want to shuffle back that are ice traded. In fact, it's only Ice Blasts. So we could like play the Snow Clone first. We could play the Snow Clone and get guaranteed damage, or we could do To Me My X-Men and hope. I'm not sure which one we want to do. I don't know, chat, if you feel which way. To me, my X-Men, we still have a fair bit of X-Men in the deck, but it's not guaranteed. If it hits, not only do we get an ally cheaply this turn, but we get an ally into our hand next turn. We have a 7-card ally hand, which is really good. If we play Snow Clone, we have a Snow Clone, and that's also pretty good. I could go either way, chat. If you want me to rip it, I'll definitely rip it. I'm kind of inclined to rip it here and just hope for the best. We also could get another Frostbite and jump down, but we don't need to cycle 2 cards in, so I probably will recover for 4 because Apocalypse hits pretty hard. Chat, what are you thinking? Do we rip it? Do we call to me, or do we just play the Snow Clone? Rip it? Yeah, I'm in. Okay, cool. We'll play the Snow Clone for to me, and we're going to rip it. So we look at the top 5, and we're looking for an X-Men. Nope. Nice. Good X-Men too. I like the replay triage for deck cycle. Doesn't do a lot for the board today. Righteous Purpose, the new card. Okay, at least we got something, so not too bad. So it's triage, and triage's text fires here, so we're going to recover 2 from ourselves. So now recovering off the basic activation is less necessary, and at the end of the phase, triage will return to our hand. So we'll have a 7-card hand size. Triage, I think we'll just thwart for 1. Okay, so we can attack for 2. We could recover for 2. I don't want to recover for 2, because we're going to play triage next turn and be at full health. So that means we're just going to do another Frostbite. I shouldn't shuffle the deck right away because we're going to shuffle it in a second. We'll attack the villain for 2 more, another Frostbite. We'll jump down to Alter Ego. And in Alter Ego, we can shuffle up to 2 cards. After you change this form, shuffle 1 card from your discard pile into your deck for each copy of Frostbite in play. Oh, it's not up to, so we have to shuffle in Snow Clone, and we're forced to shuffle in an Ice Blast. I mean, ultimately, we probably would have shuffled 2 in anyways because it makes the Cryokinetic a bit better. But yeah, sometimes you don't want another Ice Blast or on your first cycle. Okay, that's it. It's pretty good. So we both have a Confuse and we have double Frostbite. So even if he manages to activate in big mode, we'll probably not be in a bad spot. This is a bit scary though. And this could get another counter. Okay, that's it. We draw 6, 1. Utopia, perfect. That's our next most important setup card. Arctic Attack for damage. Shadowcat, could ignore and amplify. X-Jet, expensive. Snow Clone is good that we have an ally, but we had Shadowcat. And our 6th card is Arctic Attack. Our 7th card is Triage. So we're guaranteed a Utopia trigger here. All right, this goes to 2, this goes to 3, this goes Confused. We draw 1 encounter card. Oof, oof. We lost our beak already, plugged in. So all these have 5 and they do not scale to player count. This one has a Crisis and it'll force them to change to Cyberpath form. And Cyberpath form is a nightmare. And that's a really scary thing here, is like a lot of these are really bad when they pile up. Because when you change to Cyberpath form, you have to put 2 threat on each scheme in play. Which means the order that you clear these is really important, but this one forces the order to be bad. Like, this is bad. This is genuinely not good for us. Because when we flip, we'll be adding 8 threat. Well, technically this will be cleared. We're adding 6 threat when it flips. Like, it's a nightmare. Now, we could blank this with Shadowcat. We probably will. Mind you, Proth X temporaries his way out of play. But yeah. Okay. So things that we can do. This, mind you, is how much we've mitigated. We have an Arctic Attack cheap with Deft Focus, but it's not really our priority here. Utopia is definitely important because we can activate more. So say that we play Utopia. I don't think we can play the X-Jet here. We already have a pretty good setup. But say that we do X-Jet and Triage. Recover 2 is probably not as good as Snow Clone and Shadowcat. Then we can play Shadowcat for 2. I mean, doesn't line up well. We can play Snow Clone for 1. And we can play Arctic Attack for 4 or for 6. Our choice. The issue is we're not playing any cards that thwart, which kind of means we have to play Shadowcat here. So I think this is a pretty rough turn, despite having 7 cards. Yes, it's a pretty rough turn. I don't think we played a team building exercise yet today, but that really helps because all these cards are team buildable. X-Men, Ice. But I think we need Shadowcat because blanking this is probably worth something. I'm not worried about this, but this is also the turn that Apocalypse is going to activate twice, which means we can't count on a stun or confuse. Not that we have them, but yeah, it's tricky. Okay, we probably flip up and see. Okay, we have 1 more card. I forgot about that. So we probably have to do something with Cryokinetic, which means we're kind of incentivized to send face. So we'll do 2 to the villain. And then we'll draw a card. It's not a nice card, but that's okay. Okay, build support can get us our X-Jet. But I think we just need to play as many cards as we can here. So if we spend 2 for Utopia, we have another ready and another Frost. Apocalypse will change forms first, probably, which means that we don't know if he's attacking for 3. If Apocalypse changes to the one that adds 2 threat to everything, that's really scary. So we have a Utopia though. So then we can play Snow Clone for 1. We can play Shadowcat for 2. I mean, Snow Clone is just damage. Triage is healing and also can thwart. We have 1 more Snow Clone in the deck, so I don't think we need to rush a Snow Clone out. Snow Clone is just damage, and like the damage has been really good. But I wonder if it's better to do like, I mean, we're not using Depth Focus. It might be better to swap these around to play Shadowcat and Triage. Just because these thwart, and the problem on this table is now thwarting. It's not damage. Yeah, I think that's right. So we'll play Triage for 1. Mind you, our X-Men are 1 cheaper. Triage comes in with 3 health and heals us for 2. Triage. So we're at full health, which is good. That can fire Utopia, so we ready? And we'll spend 2 more on Shadowcat. So this is the Shadowcat, which on this board state, Shadowcat is better than White Queen. That's not always the case. And when Shadowcat enters play, from your hand, oh, actually, this is the other from your hand trigger that we have to watch out for on To Me My X-Men. We're going to say that this loses Amplify. Unless we're going to clear this, or the main. I don't think so. We don't mind taking indirect. I think we want to clear this first before we clear this, because clearing this means things cascade. So, mind you, she has 4 health. She'll thwart for 3, or for 2. Triage will thwart for 1. And we'll just attack the villain for 2. 4th Frostbite. So good. Like, status counters are so good with the Stunner, the Confused, or the Frozen Solid, because then you can stack them up, and stacking them up when you jump down just, like, feels so good. Okay. 5 cards. Chill Out is good. We need the threat removal. We did get this down to 2. Maybe we should have played around a Chill Out, because we're wasting some value, especially now that we drew 2 Chill Outs. An Energy, an Ice Blast, no ally in this hand. So, unfortunately, Utopia is probably not going to fire. So, weird hand. Very strange hand. All right. So, on Sabah Nur's Pyramid. Yeah, Joey, I almost forgot the extra card there. We should always just activate first. Okay, so the main scheme here says this goes to 3, this goes to 4. Now, if there are at least 4 power counters, remove 4 first, which they eroded that for Magneto, sort of, and then discard cards until we find a superpower. Not drawing Under Fire, that's good. Celestial Armor. Not drawing Dark Designs is good. Or Obligation. Good discard so far. A minion? Okay. I mean, we're getting hit really hard, so it's good that we have 4 Frostbites, because we're going to reveal Staggering Strength. So at least this is not an extra activation, but it is a rough activation. So attach to Apocalypse and change the Giant form. So Giant form means that he will recover 2, and he has Stalwart. So the villain is going to go to 14 health. Staggering Strength says, when Apocalypse attacks you, you are stunned, which is not good, and discard this card after this activation. This one doesn't care if we put an ally in the way, but currently now Apocalypse is attacking for 5, -4, and a card. So we're stunned. We hate to be stunned, and especially because we don't have a ready, obviously, here with Cryokinetic. So I think we could consider like defending, because the extra Frostbite is probably worth something, and we'll draw a card. If we find an ally, we're really happy. If we just take it to the face, we're not likely to take a lot of damage. But like, this hand can't get rid. We have 3 Chill Outs. That's so funny. So Ice Blast notably is also not an attack, so it does get around the stun. I think we defend here. So we're gonna defend for 2. That means he's only attacking. No, because then we waste the Frostbites. I think we just take it. Yeah, we might lose a card on this hand. This hand probably plays like Frostbite, 1 Chill Out, and then say that we're happy about that. I don't know. 1 more card doesn't really change this hand, because Ice Blast plays off the Death Focus. Chill Out just plays a Chill Out. The other options, we can play Chill Out and another Chill Out, which might be better. It might be better. We blank this too, so it's only for 1 and a card. Defending's not bad, though. How many more attacks do we have? We've seen 2 Arctic attacks, so we have no more attacks. So we're going to be exhausted next turn. I think we just take it. So 3 for 5 -4, 1. Boost. Choose to either place 3 threat on Ancient Ritual or give this card 3 icons. I'm going to put this on 3. The problem is when it changes to the wrong form, this will crack. So that is 1 damage. We take 1. We have now prevented 5 damage from Frostbites. Okay. 1 encounter card. Celestial Tech. This is the fun one. So it says for each Celestial Attachment in play, you have to just do its text. But if there are no, we search the counter deck and discard pile for a Celestial Attachment. There's 2. 1 fires whenever Apocalypse attacks. 1 fires whenever Apocalypse thwarts. I'm assuming he'll be attacking more than thwarting, so I'm kind of incentivized to go for the thwart one. But the problem is the thwart one fires when we're in a bad spot. Yeah, it's in the discard pile already. So I think we're still going to go for that and just hope for the best. Yeah. Okay. We're going to take some indirect damage when this flips in a second. And I do think, yeah, we used triage probably a bit poorly there. We could have planned it a bit better. All right, so we got Celestial Armor. This set is so cool. So Celestial Armor attaches. When the villain schemes, you have to discard the top card of your deck. And based off the icon, you do each part of this tax. Now we have no card that has doubles, and I don't actually think we have any cards that have wilds because we don't have like usually your unique ally has a wild. So either heal 2 damage, you are confused, which is okay. Give the villain a tough status card, fine. Deal all of the above, that can't happen. So ideally we get confused once and discard this. It doesn't actually make him scheme harder, which is neat. All right, that's us. We always just get rid of the stun. And then we have to start thwarting stuff. So I think Shadowcat now just thwarts this. So he's just going to change forms. So Source of Power. Source. So when defeated, if Apocalypse is in Biomorph form, he activates. Otherwise, change the Biomorph and give him a toughness. Biomorph form just says take 2 indirect damage. Okay. So we'll take 2 indirect damage. I think putting 1 on Triage. Oh no, 1 on Triage matters. We'll just take 2. Because Triage probably thwarts or attacks for 1 here and then just like gets gone. This will hit 5 when we clear this, but we have to clear this before we clear that. So slightly awkward here. If that's the case, we're going to just chill out and see what happens. So chill out. Notably, this doesn't do the freeze text, so it doesn't fire cryokinetic. It just says remove 3 threat and then do a frostbite. If this says fire the freeze text, it would be way better. We don't hit a breakpoint on this, so I think we're just going to waste another one here. So we're going to chill out one more time. We're going to waste the death focus, but it doesn't matter. So we're going to clear this one, which changes him to Cyberpath mode and gives him a tough status. So Cyberpath mode, we haven't seen yet. On Sabah Nur Cyberpath. So he has Retaliate 1. Place 2 threat on each scheme in play. That sucks. So we get unlucky. This might go through. At least he only attacks for very little. So we clear 2 side schemes quickly, which is good. We could have used Triage a little bit better that turn. Now Ancient Ritual hits its threat. And when this hits threat, it says when it hits 10, remove 5 and give ourselves an encounter card. So we could have chosen to take 3 damage instead of an encounter card. We'll find out if that was bad for us or not. And then this is Apocalypse. So we'll just use Triage to thwart for 1. We could always panic block with Triage, but we're going to try and avoid it. And we'll pass. So shame that we didn't fire either Cryokinetic or Utopia. So we lost a lot of value on that turn. But ultimately clearing the table was good. All right, Children of the Atom. Maybe we'll have time to set that up. Mirage. Ooh, we're not on the good character to deal with Mirage because Apocalypse has the highest scheme on this side. But we could stun Apocalypse if we get on the right side. Strength for Mirage is good. Team building is also good. We haven't played one yet. And we have an Ice Wall, which could be worth playing. Unfortunately, it's not a superpower. So expensive, a bit of an awkward hand. At least we have a Utopia, but we don't have a superpower. So we'll find out what we do with this. Goes to 5 and gets 1 counter. Apocalypse attacks us for -1. It always feels good. So I think the negative does just hold over. So he's attacking at -1. Attacks us for 1 damage. Which means we have blocked 7 so far. We didn't consider blocking, mind you. And then we draw 2 encounter cards. So maybe a bit of a worse turn. Oh, that's fine. We've drawn all 3 like very quickly. So resolve its effects as if the attached villain just schemed against you. Okay, so let's see what this does. Celestial Armor says we have to discard the top card of our deck. It's an energy. So heal 2 damage from the villain, totally fine. Not a bad encounter card. Scarab, this one has Quick Strike. So Quick Strike, after Scarab attacks, place 1 threat on the Ancient Ritual, 3 threat of the attack, defeat an ally. So it hits pretty hard. If we defend against Scarab, we won't take any damage because we'll do 2 defense and then 1 defense. So it's not going to defeat an ally here. I think we're going to defend against it. That'll put Scarab at 5 health. We can stun the Scarab, which is kind of fun. But our hand doesn't have a lot of damage. I think we're fine on this Apocalypse mode. So we're going to defend against the Scarab, which puts a Frostbite on it. That means we can draw a card. We ready? Sick. And we take no damage. So we've blocked 8 damage with Frostbites. We're still ready, and this goes up to 6. Hey, Ren. I am late for l'espace du crash. I don't know French. Hi. I don't actually know how you translate this. L'espace du crash can't be correct. But it can't be that far off. How you doing? We figured out the technology. My partner just got a printer, so I think we're gonna print the set that you sent my way in the near future. The problem is, Ren, obviously next week the new box comes out, so there's gonna be a lot more attention that way. So it might be a couple weeks. So apologies for that. But Ren sent a custom hero that I find to be very charming, and I'm interested to play it. Okay, So this turn, it's okay. We need to deal with the Scarab sooner than later because it hits pretty hard, but we have a lot of options on this turn. We are ready, so we can attack Apocalypse. It has Retaliate. That's the only downside. So attacking into Apocalypse with minions is not great. I think no matter what, Shadowcat thwarts for 2. We can fire Utopia. We can't fire Depth Focus. We could set up a Children of the Atom. We probably need to set up Team Building, because Team Building means we can play Mirage for 1 resource. We can play Snow Clone for 1 resource and not set up Children of the Atom. Snow Clone plus Iceman drops the Scarab down to 1 and Triage can finish it off. But if we're going to stun Snow Clone, there's no point. All right, I think we'll play Team Building Exercise. We'll commit to this card. Again, a card that I didn't realize that playing more than 1 copy is actually worth something. This is the original art, but it says exhaust this, play a card from your hand. The thing with this is you can't stack it, because Depth Focus says play a card, this says play a card, so you can't like have 2 at a time, as opposed to like real resource generators, which you can. So that means Mirage will only cost us 1, and either we play Children of the Atom or Snow Clone. Children of the Atom is good because we have Uncanny X-Men, so I'm going to commit to it. It probably is wrong. I think like the scenario is hard enough that we have to just like get things done. So I do think spending a 1 cost that won't matter for our next deck cycle, maybe it's okay, but like there's no more X-Forces in our deck, I don't think. Then we'll do Team Building Exercise to play Mirage for 1. Mirage's text is relevant, so we have an enemy whose scheme is less than Mirage's thwart, which is Scarab, so we'll just stun Scarab. Then we have a 3 health thwart for 2. Depth Focus stacks with Team Building, I think. Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, Hero Action. The next card you play is reduced by 1. It does work. Yeah, good catch. Yeah. So Team Building forces the card. Depth Focus is like Helicarrier, the next card you play. The only thing about Depth Focus that catches me is that you can't use this during the villain phase on defense events because you can't take actions. But yeah, good catch. Yeah, you can. Okay, we'll use Mirage to thwart 2 just for safety's sake. Triage will always be our panic blocker, which we haven't done yet, but we might consider doing in the future. And I think we have to attack the Scarab for 2 just to set up a knockout next turn, I think. I mean, I don't want to attack Apocalypse with Retaliate. He will change in a couple turns, right? Right? Oh, we should have done that first. Utopia off Mirage readies us. Then we'll attack again. So these Frostbites will be totally useless, which feels bad. But it stops Scarab putting 1 threat here. But those are actually useless Frostbites, which is not very common. We could use Triage to knock at the Scarab, but we could just do it next turn anyways, so we're fine. We're not decking out just yet. Good board state. 1. Nice. More health is good. Frozen Solid is probably worth playing, actually. Pixie is very cheap. In fact, she's free with Team Building Exercise. That's wild. We can go get Prof back. Frozen Solid. Oh, no, we do just deck out. So our last card is Ice Slide. So now our discard pile has all our allies. Or sorry, deck has all our allies, but we're drawing 2 encounter cards. So Apocalypse will hit us a couple times. Does our hand have an ally? It does. That's 0 cost Pixie if we played off Team Building, which means we should get the Utopia guaranteed. Leadership's good. Leadership, Iceman feels good. Okay, 5 cards in hand. This goes to 2 and 2. Apocalypse attacks us for 1 with Retaliate. That's it, just 1. We'll just take it. 1. Boost. After his activation, change Apocalypse to Cyberpath. He cannot change if he's already in the form, I'm pretty sure. Technically, he has text that says, if you change, do something bad, but I don't think that fires because he's already in Cyberpath. So I don't think he changes to Cyberpath if he's already in Cyberpath. I'm pretty sure you can't change to something you already are. So after this activation, change Apocalypse to Cyberpath. Yeah, so we just take 1 damage. That's fine. Scarab is stunned. Pretty sure you can't change to something you already are. 1 encounter card. Dark Designs. Oh, that's bad. So Dark Design says, place 1 pursuit counter to the villain schemes. Hate to see that. Because this is the one that schemes for the most, and we didn't put any Frostbites on him. So when the villain schemes, Celestial Armor fires, which we discard the top card of the deck first. It's an interrupt. It's an energy, which means we heal 2. I mean, that's okay, but I mean, he used to be injured. He's nearly at full health. And then schemes for 3, 4, 5, 6. Worst case scenario, this goes through. Now it does clear the power counters, so it's not the worst, but just scheming for 6 out of nowhere is like the issue you have with Apocalypse. The first player discards cards from the top of the counter deck until superpower is discarded and reveals it. So this is going to be a pretty rough turn. So 1, keep discarding. Sinister Strike out, Evil Alliance out, Exhaustion out. Wow, a lot of standard cards in a row. So we have to reveal this card. Technically, that happens mid-activation, which is a bit awkward because we're still in the middle of the thwarting activation, I think. But technological interface. If Apocalypse is in Cyberpath form, yes, he activates against you. Okay, that's good. So he attacks us for 1 again. 1 in a card. We won't block. 2/3, place 1 threat on Ancient. Okay. So we take 3 damage. We're down to 3. Then this flips over. We need to jump down to recover. Apocalypse, luckily we can... Oh, we were so excited to play Pixie. We just decked out. I mean, that's on us. This is the rise of Apocalypse. So comes in with 1 threat, gets 1 a turn, has the exact same text. It does clear its counters when it advances though. So we have a bit more breathing room. But yeah, that's brutal. And we still have 1 more encounter card. Ugh. We're going to get activated on so much. If Apocalypse is in giant form, he activates against you. Otherwise, place a power counter and flip him to giant form. So at least if we're counting on the Professor X, we can't because he's Stalwart. He loses Retaliate. He gets Stalwart instead, and he full heals. Back up at 20 health. I mean, we went through a whole deck cycle and we did no damage, but we did set up pretty good. Do you have You Got This in this deck? Love that card for Iceman. You Got This. That's the discard one? I don't. And the thing is, like, we're trying to try out one of the Luke Cage cards that want to keep your allies at 1 health. So I don't want to discard our allies. But you definitely could. And Redding is really, really good in Iceman for sure. So I could see why you want to. I mean, I don't want to retcon this, but in theory, Triage just missed the deck out. I didn't think we were going to deck out. If we knew Triage was going to miss the deck out, which we could have just looked at our deck being 5 cards, we should have knocked the Scarab out for sure. I don't know if you're going to allow me to do that, but like we should have counted the deck out and been like Triage hits the deck out. And I think we need to play as cleanly as possible against Expert and Sabah Nur. So I'm just going to fix that. I mean, we didn't learn anything from this activation, but like no matter what with the deck out, he should have made it back. That means the Scarab stun didn't matter, but yeah, I didn't realize we're decking out. If you think that's not a nice thing to do not hesitate to let me know. I just want to read what people think is an acceptable take back and what isn't. Hey, Albustus, how's it going? I'm going to watch the replay of this later on tonight. Wanted to pop in and say that I love your gameplay. Thank you. Production always looks amazing. That's very kind. Just played solo Kang last night for the first time and loved it. What's your view on Kang solo? Not bad. Like, it's the last time they put out a scenario set that was like specifically made for multiplayer in mind, which if you ask me is Loki, God of Lies. I don't think it was that great solo because it can be gamed, but Kang still holds up for solo pretty well. The only thing with Kang is you have to watch out. It is like a long scenario, which is good for a multiplayer setting. But for a solo setting, you have to deal with 3 villains. So like it is long. It has a fair bit of modularity or like replay value because you don't know what Kang you're going to get. And that's kind of cute. I like Kang a lot. I play Kang solo more than I enjoy playing Kang solo. The counter deck is so big though, which is really goofy that you can't tell what's going to happen. That's the only downside of some of the earlier designs. It's like you can't play around anything because the counter deck is like 30 Kang cards and some of them are unique. No worries if not, but listen, I was mostly gift for y'all for the superb content you put out every day. Thank you, Ren. It was so long, 5 deck passes with Wonder Man. Yeah, it does take a minute. It's like you have to deal with 3 villains functionally, which is not, common. Okay, we're a bit beat up. Apocalypse, we could consider jumping down, no problem. We could freeze Apocalypse, which unfortunately this is not a superpower, but it is an ice card, so team building exercise works. We're just gonna get our activations in. We could use Mirage to poke for 1 or Shadowcat to poke for 1. I think keeping Shadowcat around here is reasonable, but unfortunately, like Pixie now does kind of suck. Like I was so excited to play Pixie because I forgot we were going to deck out. We definitely probably still play Pixie because Pixie is a cheap ready, and the cheap ready means we can shuffle Frost cards back. I mean, missing the deck out was really bad. I thought we were going to jump down and shuffle our Frost cards back in, but we are unfortunately 1 card short. Yeah. Okay, so Power Belt is our good setup card. So we could do 2 for Power Belts. We have no way to make this cheaper. Then we could do team building for Pixie for free, but then we don't play this. I don't think we need this. But the ready's pretty good because it means we can recover and another Frostbite. Pixie can pick up Shadowcat. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. We could get Shadowcat back. We play Shadowcat for 2. Is that better? I mean, no matter what, it's good to use Shadowcat because we can return Shadowcat and it gets +1 card. Yeah, of course. Good catch. So we'll thwart. I mean, we could thwart for 2. I'm going to thwart 2 off this. I think there's a bunch of cards that add 3, and then Shadowcat is knocked. Okay. Then we can do team building for Pixie. Oh, no, hold on, order. We will attack for 2 into the toughness just to get a Frostbite. And we learn what Cryokinetic gets us first. Hopefully ice card. It's an ice card. I mean, that can matter. This hand is still slightly expensive. That was really good. Okay. Then we have to do it one more time. So we're going to attack for 2 more into the villain. So take that, full health Apocalypse. 2 more health and 2 Frostbites. So even if we don't play Frozen Solid, Apocalypse is scheming for 0, so it's okay. He's healed a fair bit off of the armor. I think that's been the thing that's been catching us. We'll use team building to play a Pixie for free. And when Pixie enters play, we can go grab from hand Shadowcat back, which is good. Pixie can thwart for 1 off of the main, which is probably good enough, and then still thwart for 1 more and then attack for 2. So Pixie will clean this up. Okay, cool. Mirage probably won't do anything. We definitely want to use her for the full thwart for 2. And then when she comes into play, we can ready ourselves. And we'll probably just jump down and recover. Okay, so we want to get some ice cards back into the deck so we can shuffle them back in. Unfortunately, Frozen Solid won't do it, but no matter what, we want the ice cards back in. We don't need to play Shadowcat because her text is not that good this turn, but we definitely want to play the ice belt. So we'll do 1-2 for the power belt, excuse me. So 3 more health, and we can generate 1 for an ice card, which means power belt plus depth focus. Oh, it's not a superpower, right? Yeah. So power belt 2-3 plays a Frozen Solid. This is one of the cool cards that does beat Stalwart. So we're going to get another Frostbite counter, and we're going to deal with Apocalypse. Now we can jump down. Man, the Iceman turns are so good. We jump down to Alter Ego. We can shuffle in. We have to shuffle in 2 ice cards if we're going to do this. So we're going to shuffle in with Frozen Solid, and we'll try for the Ice Slide. And then we'll just recover for 4. I mean, that's a turn and a half. Like, that feels so good. There's so many moving parts. Is the Ice Slide playable in Alter Ego? No, I don't think so. I think it says hero form only. No, you can. You can play this in Alter Ego just to get ready. And then the problem is if you jump down, you have to get rid of this. Oh, wow. I don't think I've appreciated that. You can play this in Alter Ego. So like we could have played that with Depth Focus, but I think recovering 4 is just fine. Oh, it's storming out. You see that? The wind is howling, like braying. Really frightening wind sound. All right, we're going to draw 6. Let's just ready everything. 1-2, 1-2. Good thing is we have our Children of the Atom, so our X-Force X-Men are cheaper, as much as 2Me doesn't work. X-Jet, okay? We want to get that out of the deck cycle. Marrow now only cost 1, because after they enter play, they become X-Men, so the cost is cheaper. Triage is cheap recovery. Domino we can play to set up consistent cryokinetics, which is good fun. Energy to play Domino. We just want an ice card. We have a snow clone, so we have a really good setup here. Okay, so things that happen. Firstly, this goes to 1 threat. This goes to 2 counters. Apocalypse would scheme, but Frozen Solid kicks in, doesn't care what the action is. So we discard this, and then we have the 3rd Frostbite. So we're ready for whatever activation comes this way. Next encounter card keeps changing form. Apocalypse is in Biomorph form. He activates, otherwise change to Biomorph form and place a power counter here. So he changes to Biomorph form, which says deal 2 indirect damage. Indirect damage is not super important. We can take 1 on Pixie because she just loses 1 thwart, and we can take 1 to her face. Fine. And that's it. So Apocalypse will attack for 3, has overkill, but that hasn't mattered for us at all. Okay. Let's go game. We can do some cool stuff. We can recover for 4 here. We don't need to. We have a 1 cost little and free triage, so we'll just flip up. We only have 3 more Frostbites, but we might be able to do 6 Frostbites to Apocalypse's turn. I actually think it's very likely. So we're just going to use our basic activation to attack for 2 into Apocalypse. Frostbite. Oh, no, we're not going to do that yet. We're not going to do that yet. Because we want to set up the guaranteed Domino. We'll spend 2 for Domino. Now, from my understanding, she does get cheaper. Actually, I'm not 100% sure. So Uncanny X-Men says each of your X-Men allies gets +1 point. If each of your characters has the X-Men trait, each of your X-Men allies costs 1 fewer resource to play. Okay? Now, Children of the Atom says each X-Factor, X-Force, and X-Men character you control, but you control means on the table. The thing is, I think you play the card into your, like the limbo zone and then you pay the cost. No, it's probably the other way around. Does anybody know if this actually works? I know Utopia works, but I actually don't know if Domino can save a resource on Domino or not. When you look into the costs like chart, it's the ownership and control section. It's not super intuitive to me. I'm going to say that we can't use that text, which is a shame, but she still will have 4 health and she will ready with Utopia. But yeah, maybe worth checking if you have the resources for X-Jet. I think on this hand, we probably won't. I think we're just going to try and get X-Jet in through the superpower side scheme. Because I think we want to play another ally here. The art for Domino is so good. It's really quite fun. You feel lucky, punk. So I'm going to say that doesn't work. And we'll just do what works for us. So we'll have to pay 3 resources. So we do 1, 2. We can do team building, I guess. So that's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so Domino will use her text. So we do 2 to the villain. and says after you use her, swap a card. I do not know if swap is you have to choose the card first. I assume it is. So we're going to put the snow clone on top of our deck and trade it for Professor X. Okay, cool. So that's on top of our deck. Then we can do our basic, which does 2 to the villain, frostbiting the villain. And then this is why you play Domino, because now Cryokinetic draws a snow clone, which is an ice card, so it readies us. We have 1 more ally slot. Triage is probably it, but like, yeah, I think you're right. We probably do play the X-Jet here. We do play the X-Jet here for sure. Snow clone is free, so that's the cheapest ready off Utopia. So we could not play Triage. I like the recovery too, though. So that's fine. I guess we just won't use everything. We'll spend 3 off of the X-Jet. So such a greedy setup. And then we'll use this resource to play Triage. Sorry, we'll activate first, attack for 2. Then we'll play Triage for 1 off of the X-Jet. When Chris enters play, we recover 2, and then we can Utopia to ready ourselves. Surely if X-Men team doesn't work with team building, also doesn't work? Oh my god, yeah, maybe you're right about that. Okay, if that's the case, we'll use team building to play the X-Jet. But yeah, play a card from your hand that shares a trait. It only shares a trait once it's in play. Because there is unfortunately a distinction between you control and control. Because Children of Adam says the cards that you control gain this trait. Apparently we control their deck in our hand, but cards you control are only cards on the table, which make sense. I don't 100% know, but yeah. So regardless, then we'll just use the card that we paid for the X-Jet and we'll use team building on the X-Jet. But yeah, good catch. Like, yeah, that should have been obvious. Okay, we'll attack for 2 more and we have done it. We have fully frosted up an Apocalypse. I want to draw a 3 boost here. We're going to draw something weird, so we don't know what side we're going to get, but we have the 6 Frostbite Apocalypse, which is kind of incredible. Triage will do efficient thwart for 1. Pixie won't do anything. We can leave Pixie. We can leave Mirage. We'll pass. Again, we've not blocked with an ally yet. Setup is so greedy. Beak, when Beak enters, Beak thwarts for 700. Oh my god, Beak is absurd here. Icewall might be at the point that's worth playing, and unfortunately does not have a superpower trait, but we can make it cheaper with team building and X-Jet because it's ice traded. Build support is how we're meant to get the X-Jet in play. At this point, I don't think we have any more supports, so we could just play this to dodge Master Plan, but Ancient Ritual is a problem anyways for Master Plan. Snow Clone. Genius. Good. Good thing we have an ice card, so we can do the Domino setup, which is also sick. 0 degrees Kelvin. Yeah, absolute 0. So this goes to 1. This goes to 4. The Rise of Apocalypse fires, which says that now it hits 4. We remove 4. This is the same text, yeah. If there are at least 4 power counters, remove 4 of them and discard cards from the top of the counter deck. It'd be so weird if they changed like 1 word in this and it was slightly different, but I believe it's the same. We might actually whiff here. Clan Akaba Zealot. Oh, ooh, really good activation to have all the Frostbites. Because we reveal Staggering Strength, which is going to force Apocalypse to be in giant form, so more healing. So recover 2. And Staggering Strength, you know how this works. We do not love to be stunned, but we can get through it. So when Apocalypse attacks you, you are stunned, and he is attacking for 5 minus 6. So he's still attacking for -1. So 3, 4, 5, minus 6 is -1. We're not going to block into a -1 attack. Would love to get a 1 boost. 1 boost, we take no damage against a Staggering Strength. So we saved 6 more. So 8 goes to, this is never intuitive, so we'll do 14. Absurd. Just nonsense, and Staggering Strength gets discarded. We are stunned, which sucks, but we can just ready ourselves, because being stunned was really bad for Cryokinetic. So funny. Hey, Ozymandias. That's the last card. Ozymandias, I think. The deck is decked out, which we haven't been very fast at pushing damage, but this deck does just discard itself kind of aggressively. Toughness Villainous, 6 health. When Ozymandias schemes, place the threat on Ancient Ritual. Okay. 1 attack Villainous is not too bad. 6 health Toughness. Okay, we are fully set up. We should just like keep in mind we have to win. So we have to defeat this Apocalypse, and then we have to defeat next Apocalypse. The next Apocalypse has, I think, 22 health, the same text functionally. So it's just the numbers get bigger on activations. Okay. All right, so we're adding 2 threat a turn, which means 1 big scheme is going to cost us the game, but we should be able to dump out 3 Frostbites a turn, no problem. We don't have a really great beak here besides Ancient Ritual, which like we want to play an ally. There's a chance just dumping out a Snow Clone is better, but I think we can free up. No, we can't free up 2 ally slots. So first thing, we'll take off the toughness. So Triage will just attack for 1. We'll attack for 2 to get rid of the stun. Okay, then we want to play an ally. Triage is... Was Triage knocked out? I don't think so. No, we'd play Triage last turn. So Pixie can attack for 2 into Ozymandias. I think that's not a relevant breakpoint, but we'll take it. And then Domino will attack for 2. And when we use Domino's text off of Leadership Domino, we'll swap the Snow card, the Ice card, with the top of our deck, which is a 2-me my X-Men, which our ally slots are an issue. I do think, again, Nelson was playing a Triskelion, which I kind of see now why you'd want to, especially with all this extra health. That's that. We want to play something cheap. So we can play Beak to clear Ancient Ritual. I mean, that's fine. We actually might just play an Ice Wall here for safety. So we use Team Building Exercise. Actually, yeah, it doesn't really matter. We'll use Team Building Exercise to play a Beak. When Beak enters play, we have 4 X-Men allies, so we can remove 4 threat from this. And we can use Utopia to ready ourselves. Comes in with 3 health. We don't have an obvious defeat against Ozymandias, so we're probably just going to have to attack it and waste a Frostbite. So we're going to attack for 2 to defeat Ozymandias. This says when Iceman makes a basic attack, so even if your attack is going to defeat it, you technically did freeze it. If it was an after response, you wouldn't freeze it because it'd be dead, but we do get a freeze it, which means we fire Cryokinetic, which we know draws a Snow Clone, which we know readies us. Cool. I think we just want to be doing damage now. We'll probably overwrite Triage here. Mirage is worth keeping around because we're adding 2 threat a turn, so that's pretty good. We can reduce the cost of this Ice card by 1. I guess the team building exercise we used anyways. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 for an Ice Wall. Now Ice Wall just has 8 health on it. Technically, if it can take extra damage, it will take extra damage, but I'm just going to track this as if it was an ally that has 8 health that protects us, which is good. Yeah, we will pay 1 resource. Actually, we don't have to pay any resources. We could just power belt this. We were power belt, replace Triage with a Snow Clone. Snow Clone will not attack yet. We don't mind it attacking now, though, because getting it down to 1 health is actually a synergy point. So we're going to choose to get the Snow Clone hurt. So we'll attack the villain for 2. We'll attack the villain for 2, frostbiting it. And then Beak will attack for... Beak will thwart for 1, probably. Just because if this does go through, we lose. And we don't have enough frostbites. And then we'll just pass. Okay, good. The only way we're probably going to lose is by thwarting now. Like if we draw 2 encounter cards that says Apocalypse thwarts. Specifically if he changes to the Cyberpath form, because that adds now, I think, 2 threat and 3 threat when we advance to the next stage. Angel, 1 cost ally. Strength. Chill out, nice. We have, again, superpower, Death Training we're not playing. Arctic Attack is a lot of damage. And we have a Weapon X, which I'm not feeling too much. This goes to 2 in a counter. So, technically, Frostbite does matter for Ice Wall, but we might not have to track this. So now the Giant is going to activate against us. So the Giant attacks for 2 in a card with the Frostbite. So 1, 2, 3. So we lose 3 damage on the Ice Wall. You can decide to count this as Frostbite damage, but if it doesn't hit a breakpoint, it doesn't really count. So I won't count it necessarily. I'll have a second pile of optional Frostbite considerations. 1 encounter card. We're not missing anything, are we? No. The only argument for keeping Snow Clones healthy is to wait for indirect damage. Yeah, that is a reason, but we have enough health, I think, but we don't have to rush it out. All right, we didn't shuffle enough because these were together when we discarded. So we have to just resolve the Celestial Armor as if he schemed. So we discard the top card. It's an energy once again, so he just heals 2, which is not too bad. I'm going to do a better job shuffling this deck because this might be a Celestial. No, it wasn't. Okay. All right, that's us. We should be able to do 10 damage to Apocalypse, no issue. We have a Frost card in our hand for Domino. Yeah, I mean, our board state is really good. It's unlikely Apocalypse will be able to do anything. We have an ally, we have an Ice card. That's what we want to do every turn. And then every turn we generally do attack for 6 with our face because we have 3 readies every turn if we have an ally and an Ice card for Cryokinetic. Okay, so first thing, we will use Domino. Domino will attack for 2 into the villain. The villain takes 2 and we can do a card swap. So we'll take our Arctic Attack and swap it with the top of the deck. Oh, I can tell that's the proxy. Oh, it slipped through a bit. I was like, that card looks strange. But we've just drawn to a Righteous Purpose, which I don't have the art for this, but this will be really good to end the game out. It's also good for our double. But this is an upcoming card that we don't often proxy cards here, but it says, and characters with 1 hit point have +2 thwart and +2 attack, which next turn will be really quite good. Okay, then we'll attack for 2 into the villain. Villain takes 2. Frostbite. Cryokinetic, draws an ice card. We ready? We'll go ahead and attack for 2 again. Oh no, we should attack with the snow clone first. Sorry, to intentionally take damage. Then we'll attack for 2 again. Another Frostbite. Because we want the snow clone to get hurt. Issue is we want to play an ally every turn. And our ally slots are full. Are you going to watch the World Cup final? No, I'm not really a soccer person. I don't even know who's playing. My guess is Argentina and Spain, or Argentina and France. I think it's Argentina, Spain. I'm not a big football person. Yeah. I assume it's on today, huh? Okay, we have 4 damage. Arctic attack we might have wanted to do first. Yeah, we probably needed to do Arctic attack first. Sorry, I got carried away. So we won't do this attack. Because we have a 6 damage attack in our hand. So we're going to do Death Focus and Power Belt for Arctic attack. So this will just advance. So Arctic attack says deal 6 damage to somebody with Frostbite. So we hit the villain advances. That goes to the same Apocalypse. So Big Apocalypse stays against Big Apocalypse. The text is the same. Stalwart. After Apocalypse changes this form, heal 3 damage. We have 24 health. Don't set 24. Oh, I think we didn't set the villain's health properly when we started this turn or started this game, which is why there was the turn where we had 2 less damage than we thought, or 2 more damage. I don't think we reset the health properly. But it's Big Apocalypse. Sabah Nur, Giant 3. So now all their texts are a lot worse. So when we change the Cyberpath, I think it does 3 indirect, or the other one does 3 threat to every scheme, which is probably how we lose. So we want to max up on Frostbite, especially on the turn that this like ops. But yeah, 3/3, just big numbers, still has Stalwart. Okay, now we'll attack for 2 to the villain, and then we'll put the Frostbite. Okay. What else are we gonna do? I mean, we'll play Righteous Purpose. It probably won't matter, but it will matter next turn when we're trying to do 22 damage in a turn. Mirage will thwart for 2. Her 4th thwart also isn't going to matter next turn. Beak probably is the one who gets replaced here. So Beak will attack for 1 into the villain. So the villain takes 1. And then we're going to replace Beak by doing a team building exercise for an Angel. Angel enters play for only 1 cost. Has 4 health. We'll attack the villain for 2. And with Utopia, that will ready us. We'll attack for 2 into the villain. Again, we get 3 Frostbite every turn. And now Apocalypse is attacking for 0. With this hand, I mean, Chill Out is not that good. Weapon X is also not that good. We'll just play Weapon X. It's a card that we can discard. I don't want to jump down to Alter Ego because we probably lose through thwarting, especially behind an ice wall, so we'll pass. I mean, enough research generators, Andre. I mean, this is only our 2nd deck pass, I think, or 3rd deck pass. Ice Blast, Chill Out. We just want damage. Frozen Solid's not bad either. Ice Slide is good, especially because we activate 3 times a turn, and then we have a Chill Out. So for fair ice hand, the bottom of the deck is also an Arctic attack, so we don't have to use Domino if we don't want to. But getting these allies back in the deck for the deck cycle is good, as much as they now attack for massive numbers. This goes to 2. This goes to 2. Big Giant activates against us, so we're getting attacked for 0 in a card. We're not going to block. We're also behind an ice wall. Angel's a billionaire. It would be a shame if Apocalypse wrecked him with a 10+ damage attack. Doesn't have overkill, but so far our minions, we've kept them safe, or excuse me, our allies. So 0, Star, Dark Designs. So we put 2 here. So technically we blocked 4 more, but the ice wall also might not matter. But in theory, it matters. 1 encounter card. I drew 2. Master Plan, okay. So I'll shuffle that back, but Master Plan is totally fine. It just puts 4 threat on Ancient Ritual. So sometimes it's nice to have a side scheme in, because that side scheme eats Master Plan and you don't have to discard for it. It's another reason why sometimes leaving a player side scheme in play is good. Okay, there's a chance we have lethal this turn, because we attack for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, we have super lethal this turn. Righteous Purpose actually does matter this turn. And we have so much damage. I mean, we're set up like this. Of course we should. But yeah, we have super lethal here. Okay, so we're just going to start sending it. We're going to reduce an ice card. This should be ready. And a superpower. And we're going to play Ice Slide, which is really good when you ready as much as we do. So Ice Slide says we have +1 to all our stats, thwart, attack, and defense. And then we're just going to slam it. So first thing first, we're going to attack for 3 into the villain. Cryokinetic Perception. Normally we'd do something first with Domino. We also should like deck these out in the right order, but we're going to win this turn. But in theory, we should activate with them first so they can shuffle back into the deck. But for us, it's fine. So the villain takes 3. We discard the top card of the deck or draw it. It's an Arctic attack. So we're ready. And we should shuffle this into a new deck, but it won't matter here. Actually, no, it could matter because we could get more damage with Domino. Just for the fun of it. Yeah, because we could draw another attack card or another cheap ally. I don't think, yeah, the Children of the Atom does matter because we had to make Domino and X-Men for the sake of making our allies cheaper, but it's like not super important. It's a shame it doesn't work with any of the cool cards you think it works with. Our deck is also really thin, and most of our ice cards are not like permanents besides the ice wall. So you're very likely to hit cryokinetic once you have all your upgrades on the table. Okay, so that's 3 damage. We are still ready. We'll attack for 3 more damage to the villain for another Frost. We'll attack with Mirage, and because of Righteous Purpose, Mirage hits for 3 damage. Snow Clone hits for 4 damage. Angel hits for 2 damage. Mirage is defeated. Now, Domino's text is one of those texts that will fire even if she's defeated, because you do this after. You do the response before you do Consequential. So Domino will attack for 4 into the villain because of Righteous Purpose, and then we can do a card swap. So we just want to get something that does damage. So we'll change, I guess, a Frozen Solid for the top card of the deck. That's a prof. Okay. I mean, that can ready us. And so, in multiplayer, could someone else play the Domino ally? For this deck? You can't use the text, right? Yeah, it's only you. It's not a player, which that would be cool. Okay. Oh, this is the only ally we have, which is worth. It's ugly to play Professor X because Utopia gets wasted because you can use Professor X to ready yourself, but yeah, we don't really need to. Oh, he's already dead. The villain is dead. I did not realize the villain was already dead, but the villain is so hyper dead. It's kind of nonsense because we're gonna do. These should be ready, right? We didn't use these. Yeah, we didn't use these. Power Belt and Death Focus for Arctic Attack. Arctic Attack, so the villain takes 6 more. We want to play an ally. Yeah, we want to play an ally. So we will do 1, 2, 3 for Professor. Issue with Professor is like it loses its value because we can't ready with Utopia and the Professor. Oh no, we can ready Snow Card. Snow Clone. Wait, that's absurdly good. Wait, what am I talking about? That adds so much damage to the turn. So we play Professor X, which readies the Snow Clone. The Snow Clone has a Righteous Purpose, so the Righteous Snow Clone attacks for 4. We attack because we're ready off of Utopia. We attack for 3 into the villain. We ice it. And then I don't think we can play the Ice Blast. We're short some resources. Oh, Ice Slide was played with Belt and Focus. You're right. It was the first thing we played. So we had 2 more cards, which means we can use those to play the card that we didn't play. Yeah, good catch. Yeah, we did use it on this Ice Slide. So we had 2 more cards that we discarded, so we're fine. And Sabah Nur goes down to -15. Yeah, this deck is really good. Leadership is obviously absurdly strong. Like generally is probably, especially in solo play, the best aspect kind of universally. And you can kind of see why to some extent. But why I wanted to play Iceman and why I like Iceman in leadership so much is that you don't have to block with your allies. That does make cards like Righteous Purpose worth playing. And I think with your Snow Clones, which we forced down to 1 health in a very kind way, makes this card so good. Because then every time you ready, this thing attacks for 4. So Professor X was functionally played to do an extra 7 damage this turn, which is, again, pretty nonsense. Anytime we play an ally, it gets us so much value. Even to that point, like you can use Utopia to ready your Snow Clones. Technically, you don't get a Frostbite, but they attack for 4, which is technically slightly more damage on the turn if you want to get towards that. Our Frostbites just blocked 14 damage and or threat, which is for free, kind of ridiculous. This extra 4 didn't technically matter, but you could count it because if we took 4 more damage, the Ice Wall would still be ready. So this honestly didn't matter. But if you want to add that up for the sake of it, we did 18 extra damage and threat mitigation for free, which makes Iceman's text really, really good. And of course, Utopia is really, really good with it. When you're reliably doing 3 Frostbites, he seems so fun. I know it. And like Domino is a good way to make it reliable. You know, on some of the Domino turns, we would hit anyways, but Domino is a nice angle to make it reliable for sure. But if you're jumped down to Alter Ego and shuffling cards back in, it can be more reliable. And that's, again, Utopia, you don't need to play leadership. You don't need to play 11 allies. You can make Utopia good enough. I think you need about 6 to 7 allies, which is still maybe a lot for my taste. But Utopia is just so absurdly good. I'll bid this as soon as I get my FNE. Yeah. Oh, this card is not an FNE for what it's worth. So you have to wait a bit longer. This is in Luke Cage, which will come out in August, I think, maybe September. I'm not sure. I mean, it's fun. It's just like, it shows you all the Iceman cards, and like all the Iceman cards matter in this kit as much as, of course, the research generators. And you saw some of our setup turns where like put down 2, you know, mana rocks, put down 2 research generators and pass. But we got really lucky. We had 2 really good setups. It was only this game that we had a bad setup. And like this gives you so much consistency where you're like, I don't care what happens because we're ready for the activation. Like we still ended up on 11 out of 14 health and we didn't block once with allies this entire game. We definitely could have. And at some point we were down to 3 health, but like I think at that point, if you're on 1 health, that's when you block with an ally. I love the way that you could both confuse and stack Frostbite before flipping down. Again, his alter ego is one of my favorite alter egos in this whole game because he has a more healthy and interesting way of getting pseudo confused. Where you just say Apocalypse, you have 0 threat. I'm gonna jump down, and because you have 0 threat because of Frostbites, I can fix my deck. Like, oh my god, so cool. Just like one of my favorite characters. And I don't think I've honestly realized that Ice Slide just shuffles into your deck, which means it's not a cost. Because it honestly can make your cryokinetic better. And if you just jump down and put this back into your deck, sometimes you dodge a deck out, which can matter if you're trying to win exactly on that turn. We did mess up once where we missed triage for the deck out. That I should pay more attention to. Cards that are probably not worth it. I mean, like Children of the Atom, I think you have to play if you're playing this and you're playing Domino. You don't have to play Marrow, and probably Marrow doesn't make sense for the deck. I think Marrow only made sense for the deck because I thought Marrow could come in off of To Me My X-Men, and she can't, which sucks. You could definitely play Forge. Forge is pretty good, especially when you play Forge super cheaply, and Forge draws a card. It works off of To Me My X-Men, and it just allows you to set up a bit more aggressively, which is good. So you could do that. But yeah, Rage's Purpose is probably worth a slot. It is. This did a lot for 3 resources. Like I think it gave us an extra. Admittedly, we didn't need it because we won, but it did give us a lot of extra damage. Anyways, you can find a link in the description. Okay. Also, Nelson published a list 2 years ago that's super similar to this. It's playing Make the Call as opposed to Me My X-Men. This was before Children of the Atom came out and Domino came out, which I've no doubt Nelson would have maybe considered because that's a fun card and it's consistent. But yeah, I mean, like it's good Iceman. It's good Iceman stuff. Flipping to alter ego is so unique to this game and fun, and X-Men are my favorite anyway, so I love that X-Men generally flip well. Yeah, it's not only X-Men, I think it's just like a later design thing where they realized like, wait, we should make flipping to alter ego more fun, and the modern designers have baked that into more hero kits. Where like, I don't think we've seen a character in a long while that hasn't had a good reason to jump to alter ego, as opposed to the first wave where it's like, do you want to flip down as Hawkeye? No, but imagine they made modern Hawkeye that could shuffle arrows back into his deck. Like, it would be so cool. It'd actually be way more fun. Especially because you have Confused in your kit. That's mostly it. Thanks so much for hanging out. We've been streaming for just about 4 hours, 3 hours and 40 minutes. I trust you're well. Next week is hopefully going to be really exciting. I honestly don't know what to promise, and it always makes me a bit anxious around these times because we don't know if we get this cards on street date. A lot of places in Canada have had the cards already, that stores have been like breaking street date and all that stuff. I hope you're well and you're enjoying it, but none of the stores that have contact have even received the box yet, as much as Asmodee like is in Montreal. So hoping for the best. So there's 2 things that are going to happen. Firstly, on Friday, we're going to show up as early as we can with the box. So we might start streaming as soon as like 9 or 10 in the morning and stream through the whole day and play as much as the box as possible, as much as we don't have all the scans, particularly for encounter cards. We have most of the player card scans, but that will be Friday. Maybe we'll show up later on Friday because I had to go somewhere to pick up the box, and we'll start after our normal noon starting time and then stream later into the night. Or the worst case scenario, we show up on Friday and we don't have Fear No Evil, and then we'll just hang out and commiserate and play something else. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I am busy on Saturday with other stuff, so there will be no stream, but no matter what, we'll be back on Sunday, and hopefully at that point even we'll have Fear No Evil. Hard to tell, but I'm hoping for the best. If you get your box, enjoy it. I just launched that off the table. I haven't seen any of the spoilers in terms of the campaign guide and some of the extra cards. So we're going to have it. So we open it and sleeve it and play the precons and start there. So it'll be a treat for everyone. If you enjoy content like this, if you want to take a second to leave a like on the video, it's super appreciated. If you want to play any of the decks, they're always in the description. But yeah, leaving a like, subscribing, sharing this to someone you think might not like Iceman, all that sort of stuff is like a huge help and helps the channel grow. Thank you for streaming. Thanks, Ren, for hanging out. We'll be back in just 5 days, hopefully, with Daredevil and Echo and 6 new villains and a new campaign mode, which is going to be such a treat. Thanks so much for hanging out. We streamed, mind you, on Friday. We had a whole campaign playthrough where we played, wait, who did we play? This happened 2 days ago. Who did we play? Who did we play on Friday? Oh, we played Tiger, Protection Tiger. Yeah, it was maybe too good. But we'll be back in a bit. Thanks so much for hanging out. Ciao.